Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran and I'm here with River Brown, Angel Velez, and Joe Dehls. That's now episode 395. In this episode, we're going to give our NFL offensive breakout picks: quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. And we're going to start our NFL power rankings going from 32 to 25, 8 teams per episode. And it's going to be a big review who our top 10 is. I can't wait to get to that point.
Shouldn't be too much of a surprise about the top 10. I will say this, Joe, you and I were talking about this. Well, we all were talking about this before the show started. There are a lot of teams that we like. Not necessarily think, hey, that they can be really, really good, but putting them in the 20s, late 20s, 30s, some of these teams, they're actually solid squads.
Even the teams I've put at 32 and 31, I'm like, there's pieces here I like. But yeah, the NFL is just super deep right now.
I feel like when it comes to the NFL, there are so many teams that you can look at with the most hope and you can come up with a case for them to overachieve on their expectations. And I feel like that's a difference because with the NBA, you look at a team like the Hornets. Oh, if everything goes right, no, they're still the Hornets. You know, same thing with the Wizards. Oh my God, Kuzma can be excellent. All this, all that can happen. They're still the Wizards. With the NFL, there are some teams that, oh, listen, it could vie for a wild card spot if all of these things go right.
Out of nowhere, we have the Houston Texans as one of the more respected teams in the National Football League. Meanwhile, in the offseason last year, I was talking about them potentially giving the Cardinals top 2, top 3 pick. So it's anything can happen in the National Football League. It's so crazy to think about. I was like, yo, the Cardinals came up.
Starting up the Cardinals' hypothetical dynasty.
You hit on a quarterback, you hit on a head coach, man. That's all it takes. Like, for example, what if Jaden Daniels is just the best rookie in this class and he breaks out and he's a CJ Stroud-like player? And Dan Quinn, all of a sudden, his second time being a head coach, now he starts to figure things out. Washington's defense goes from the worst in the NFL to like a top 15 unit, and they're in the NFC. That happens, they're making the playoffs. Yep. Like, that is a wild card team.
Dehls, I love the way you're thinking because earlier today when I was researching the Commanders, I went, what if they're this year's Houston Texans? How crazy would that be? But that's exactly what the Texans did last year.
Daniels.
Oh, yeah. If he balls out, I'm wrong about him 100% because right now I'm not the highest on him. But it just goes to show how rare it was for the Texans to do it. Nobody saw them being good to where I don't think that should be the standard because I really do see no world that happens for the Commanders.
But it happens every year. I think it's been 9 straight years or 9 of the last 10 years a team has gone worst to first. So there's going to be a team that was god-awful last year and they turn it around.
It. But, hey, who knows?
This year's a cheat year for that because when you look at the worst to first, the Bengals were the worst in the AFC North.
Fact.
And that's kind of like a team
there are
that
those,
they're not
you're
going
to have injuries and stuff with quarterbacks, so a team that usually wins the division or a playoff caliber team could just be terrible for one season.
Would be nuts if it was the Panthers.
It would be nuts if it was the Panthers.
Early.
So, Riv, you're going to start the show off with some trivia.
Yeah. Since we are taking a different turn, I wanted to do some, first of all, shout out to y'all. Happy I had a good day and whatnot. I want you guys to name me the 25 players with the most receiving yards in the AFC South, which means
25
Titans. Which I'll cut it to like 15.
25 is so many. Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I because I'll be looking at top 50.
Can we do top 10?
Top 15.
Let's do top 10.
Let's just do top 10.
You said you had
number.
like 3 trivias.
I'm sorry.
Top 10.
Okay, so you said top 10.
Top 10, yes, in the AFC South, which means the Titans, the Texans, the Colts, and the Jaguars.
All-time receiving yards leader, AFC South.
Joel, you
top
can
10.
start
I'll give you two chances.
Andre Johnson.
That is number 1 with 14,000 yards.
Reggie Wayne.
That is number 2 with 14,000 yards.
My brother in Christ, Marvin Harrison.
That is number 5 with 7,000 yards.
DeAndre Hopkins.
That is number 4 with 9,000
Okay,
yards.
we're cooking this where things get rough.
Dallas Clark.
Dallas Clark at number 7 with 4,000 yards.
Now I really have to think. Shit.
Hey, you guys could have did 15. You just cooked up and shit, you know?
Let's see if we could go perfect.
I don't feel good. Don't.
Okay,
mind
how many
that.
have we gotten? 7?
You've gotten 1, 2, 4, 5, 7.
Oh, so we've only gotten 1, 2,
5, dude.
5.
We've gotten 5 total.
You said the last dude was 7th. That's what made me think 7.
Okay.
And this is receiving yards only, correct? Yes. What's 10th? What's the last yardage?
4,420.
All right. Do I want to let AJ Brown fly? I feel like that's crazy.
You're missing an easy one.
I am missing.
Because you were just talking about him yesterday.
I was.
That yesterday? Whenever that the whistle thing was.
I'm just looking at the teams because I have to
the Colts,
I have to
the
visualize.
Jaguars.
I have to see
It's
the
Colts.
teams.
Put your phone down. It's the Colts, the Jaguars.
I just have to see the
Titans.
teams.
It's real.
I just have
It's a
to
real
see the
thing.
teams just so I can
sometimes
think.
you want to see
Okay.
the logo.
I just need a visual
uniform. You match a player to it.
Visualization. Visualize.
All right, here we go. Drew 10.
All right.
I'm sorry.
It's no. Deserved. I don't feel good about letting this one go. AJ Brown.
He is not. He is sitting pretty at 18. He only had 2,995.
I really like this answer. I feel good about it.
Yeah,
if I'm wrong, I'm gonna feel bad. Kenny Britt.
Nah, he's not there. He's not in the top 25.
Damn.
Don't know why you said that.
Madden ratings. Fuck me, man.
T.Y. Hilton.
Yes, that's the other easy one.
go.
He's sitting at
I'm
number
an
3,
idiot.
9,000.
I'm an idiot.
So now you need 6, you need 8, 9, and 10. You actually guys might not get these.
God
6,
damn it,
8,
Joel.
9,
I needed
4 of
you
these
to,
dudes don't have a face.
You got T.Y.
I needed you to think about. I needed you to think a little longer.
T.Y. Hilton was a great pull.
It was there.
It was there. It was.
That's what I'm saying. That's, that one's. I thought
But I wouldn't have thought of it unless I saw the Colts fucking logo.
I'm sorry, my
You know
fault.
what I mean?
You know, 4 of these guys don't have faces
They don't have faces.
in the stat news. Yeah.
Oh God.
All right, Derek Mason.
Is it your turn?
Yes, it is.
It is his turn.
Okay. No, he's 15.
Motherfucker.
Have you heard of these guys on the list?
Yes.
Okay.
1. Me. Yeah, I've heard of 1.
Like if
Two.
there's,
No, I've
if
heard
there's
two.
not faces, okay. I'm thinking
Oh
there's
no,
like
I
fucking
regret
80s or
not
70s
saying an
guys.
answer. Okay, we'll see if I get back.
Can you give me a hint with the years?
What the?
Just era wise. You don't have to give me the specific.
2 of
year.
them are error.
Oh my God.
2 of them are error. 1.
Allen Robinson.
Yeah, that's just not it.
I know.
Not a bad
that
guess.
was a thought in my head.
Not
for
a
he's
bad
20
guess.
He's 22.
Okay, if we did top 25, so far we have no strikes.
Now you guys actually be cooking. I give you 1 hint.
No, don't give a hint yet.
Sorry,
Come
you
on.
said 2 in our era and
2 in our era, 1 early 2000s. Actually, all of these are after 2000.
all of them are after
But
2000.
two of them are our era. The other 2 guys I know they played after 2000. I just can't tell you if they were our era or not.
All right, I have an answer. I don't feel good about it, but I have an answer.
You have 1 more strike also.
I know.
Just wanted to let you know that.
Thank you.
I'm trying to think.
Joel, you have 1 strike.
It's one and done.
No, it's 3.
Okay.
He has 2. You're sitting pretty.
Damn,
I'm trying to think
Drew.
of I'm just trying to think of old
Whose turn
So
guys.
I have 2 strikes
Do you have 2?
because I said Kenny Britt and Allen Robinson.
Ah, you fucked up. Yeah, you have 2. You should have never said anything. You could have flied by.
Will Fuller.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
I thought about that, but
Nah,
he
he's
didn't play
17.
long enough. Yeah.
Yeah, he said
That's
he's
crazy.
ahead of AJ
17.
Brown.
Delaney Walker.
There you go.
That's
Number
perfect.
10.
Good
That was a great answer.
shit.
That was the guy from our era.
All right, come on.
So now you have 1 more from our
I'm back, Drew. Let's go. Lock in.
era. Here we go, Joel.
I don't know why I'm getting a feeling that it's the tight end.
Ooh,
It's not a bad. I have an answer too.
that's an amazing guess.
I know.
in
I
my
have an
eyes.
answer. I have an answer, but I don't know if it's right. Top 10's insane.
And I have a feeling he plays for the Jaguars for some odd reason.
Ooh.
I just can't get my
brother, you
mind
might be
to
cooking
answer
with some
this
grease.
question. I don't know the name.
You know the guy though. I had a brain fart like this before too. It's really aggravating when you have the face, but you just can't get the name, and it's like,
That was like Semi Ojale
oh
on
god,
fucking
bro.
Nerd
He was
Section.
there, man. He was there.
Why can't I?
He was.
I
there,
can't
bro.
tell you what team Kellen Winslow played for.
I'm gonna skip on
on the
this.
Bucks, right?
What?
I'm gonna skip on this.
You can't do that.
You can't.
You just
skip
said
it.
I could.
No,
That'd
you
be
get
your third strike.
When the hell did I say that? No, you have to say the name. You can't just let them.
What the
keep
hell was
name.
that about?
He said that earlier, like
Joel,
2 minutes
are you
ago.
serious?
Yes, you did. You said you should have never answered. You should have just skipped.
What?
No,
That's what you said.
No,
There's no skipping.
No, I was saying you should have never said anything. I would have forgot you said Allen Robinson.
Facts.
That's what I'm saying. You would have still had 1 strike.
Julius Thomas.
Nah, I don't know who that
Brother,
is.
what was that?
I don't know.
He's not top 20.
He would play like what? Did he play like? How many
Yeah, I
years
know.
was
But
he
he was only really dominant on the Broncos.
on? Yeah.
All right.
I have an answer,
Dehls,
but I don't feel
here
good
we go.
about it.
You have no strikes, right, Dehls?
So we have
one. Said
I have
Will Fuller.
one. I said Will Fuller.
You did say
facts.
Will.
I'm on it.
You need number 6.
Yeah.
He's a wide receiver. You need number 8, number 9. I know for a fact number 9 is a tight end. Number 8 is giving me the name that he's a tight end. I'm going to double check for you. Yes.
All right. I still feel confident I have an
No,
answer.
yes. So he is a tight end. So 2 tight ends, 1 wide receiver.
I'm standing 10 on what I think.
I'm good at what I do. You know what I'm saying?
Owen Daniels.
No!
Fucking Dehls.
No!
Yes.
Fuck you, Joel.
That was a great
I'm
game.
not
He's
gonna lie.
sitting at number 8. He's sitting at number 8.
You are dirty for that. Oh my god.
The tight ends, you guys. Once you had that out there, that's my mind started going. And we mentioned Owen Daniels on Nerd Sesh too. If not, Owen Daniels would not have came to my head if we didn't just say him on
So
Nerd
now
Sesh.
you
Now I'm
have-
fucked.
you have
Now
one-
I'm fucked.
You
Now
have
I'm
one
fucked.
tight end, one wide receiver, man.
Oh my god, Joel. I can't believe you just
Yeah,
did
that Justin
that to me.
Pugh guy, he has a loud voice. He
does.
projects really well. I'm just thinking about that. He
does.
projects really well.
Wow. I am.
He didn't need a mic.
Wow. Joel, you really just fucked me. Raw. No lube.
Anally.
Are we starting the shot clock? What's the shot clock?
What the fuck? I just got
got on the clock. He's ready to move it. You know,
my
he's ready for next
God.
topic.
You're not gonna get this, bro.
Right. That's crazy. That's your man's. Your brother.
He got
yeah.
sniped. Owen Daniels.
No, he did get sniped pretty bad.
So you said tight end and a wide receiver are left.
Yeah.
My God. I can't believe that.
I feel like the wide receiver plays on the Titans.
I can't think of any Titans wide
Am I right on
receivers
that?
right now.
Or no? Does the wide receiver play on the Titans?
He did. Yes, he did. And the tight end,
And it was our era?
Yeah. I think you know it.
You
Yeah.
should get it.
Oh, I mean, he's giving you all these hints. This makes it easier.
No, I don't feel great about it. Wide receiver, our
I feel like,
era.
I'll be honest, the tight end is much easier. You should know the tight end.
Okay. Interesting.
And you said he plays for the Jaguars.
He did. He did play for the Jaguars.
But like that was a stop. You know, never mind. He's here for a reason. Jaguars tight end.
Yeah, that was a stupid question you were about to ask.
I really don't know. Kellen Winslow. No idea.
I don't know if he played for.
I don't think he did.
Yeah,
Truthfully,
he's not on this list, unfortunately.
don't know what team he played for. Truthfully,
Let me think if I could think of the.
Well, you won already.
Yeah, I'm trying.
I'm sick.
If I could think of the
He
Titans
fucked you.
receiver.
You were chatting
this
too much about
era.
these fucking positions. Yes, I'm blaming you. And
have
I'm
to
yes,
stop.
I'm
It's
displacing
going
it.
now every week you blame me.
Man, that just pissed me off.
Was
He sniped you, bro. It's
He
really his
did.
fault, bro.
Nah, that was crazy.
Because I feel like that's
Titans-
the only name you guys are gonna get.
you have the Titans wide receiver?
Huh?
You have it?
I think so.
Who is it?
I think it's
Well, I mean, I won. I can't really think of it.
I think it's Kendall Wright.
That's just not
Not
right.
fuck.
Kendall Wright.
Kendall
No
Wright was
way.
not like
He
that.
is actually. I saw his name. He's 16.
Okay, he was like
That's
that.
higher than I would have expected.
All right, tell me the fucking names, please.
All right, so Andre Johnson is at 1.
Yep.
Reggie Wayne is at 2. T.Y. Hilton's at 3. D-Hop is at 4. Marvin Harrison's at 5. Nate Washington
Get the
is
fuck
at
out of here.
6.
I'll be honest, I wouldn't have gotten Nate Washington.
Longevity.
Dallas Clark is at 7. Owen Daniels is at 8. And Mercedes Lewis is at 9. That's what I said.
Oh,
that was
man.
that was a pull. That was
And then
pullable.
number
That was
10 is
definitely
Delaney
Delaney
Walker.
Delaney Walker.
Him.
Delaney Walker.
Delaney, yeah.
fucking
9, yeah, I
angry.
should have known.
Yeah. Mercedes Lewis. That's kind of a layup. I'm not gonna lie.
170 games.
Bro, is he still in the league? Did he resign with the Packers?
I think
He is with the Packers
He,
still.
he played 170 games in this division.
I didn't
like
care
40.
about the Jaguars
More
enough.
games than T.Y. Hilton.
That's on me. I'm pissed. Owen Daniels, how the fuck did you get that?
Shout out to Nerd Sesh. Oh, Mark Vientos home run.
No, it was Tyrone. Whatever.
That was a great trivia. I like when you do these all-time wide receiver stuffs or the raw yard stuff.
Do you have another one, Riv, or do you want to say
I'm
that
going
one?
to save that one because
This
this one's a little long.
Ah,
Yeah, I'm going to save that one.
Okay, so we can start off with the episode today.
Okay.
NFL is back. A month from the NFL season, the start of training camp officially started. So I'm excited for this episode. And just to start off, just to get a little warm with this episode, training camp storylines. What do you got?
Riv, let's start with you because your boy right now, it's not looking like they're going to come to a resolution anytime soon. Talking about CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, that was definitely one of my big storylines because I just feel like he's the best receiver in the world outside of my other king.
Calm the hell down.
My bad. But I think that's a huge story because, as you mentioned, like we talked about it yesterday, Dallas is America's team. You know, they have Jerry Jones, Dak Prescott, and not only CeeDee Lamb, but they have to pay Dak. And they have to pay Michael Parsons soon, like next year or the year after. So these are probably 3 of your best players, or have been your best players for the last 2 or 3 seasons. CeeDee Lamb did not report to camp. As we expected, the situation between him and Ayuk have kind of been on a similar path. CeeDee's been more quiet in his regard with his contract situation. Ayuk has been a little bit more loud, but both receivers want to get paid. And then when they saw Jettas get that money, they probably feel in their eyes, we just had a breakout year. we just had a year where we were one of the 5 best receivers in the world. We want to get paid that money too. And organizations are kind of looking at it like, I don't know. Like, y'all may not be. They basically telling y'all not him. Y'all not going to get that type of money. But I do think CeeDee Lamb is just as important to the Cowboys as Jettas is to Minnesota. He's their one guy on offense, their lone wide receiver. You know, he's the one guy that gets the ball at an extreme rate.
Just as.
Listen, for Dallas, brother, he's them.
True. Loki, they have nothing else after
nothing
him.
else.
You're right.
CeeDee Lamb is the guy for them. My other storyline I did want to get into is just Cleveland in general, the Cleveland Browns. They hired Ken Dorsey. I saw in this report that they've been trying to mesh up with Dorsey's, what did it say? Hold on. We're here. Internal optimism in the new offense, which is bridging Dorsey's past concepts with Stefanski's run game roots. But a lot of guys didn't play in minicamp or they haven't played in training camp. Coop is dealing with an injury. Shout out to him. He just got his guarantee money and a bonus, $5 million little bonus. Nick Chubb is another storyline that that is deep within the Cleveland Browns because he's the main X factor. He hasn't played. He's still sidelined with the knee injury. That's still something that we're all waiting to see how he responds to that because he is up there in running back age. He did just have a devastating knee injury, so it's going to be interesting to see if he still has that burst, still has that explosion. And he's also the main piece to this championship year that Cleveland wants to have. They have a talented roster. They have pretty much stacked players at every position. You're kind of going to need Nick Chubb to kind of wield this offense too. Of course, Deshaun Watson at camp also, you need him to improve. You then picked up Jerry Judy. You traded for Jerry Judy. So you're doing the necessary things you need to do. It's just going to come down to, of course, Nick Chubb's health, Ken Dorsey and what he can do in this offense, and then, of course, Deshaun Watson.
The Athletic did a poll to get on your Cowboys topic. They surveyed, I don't know how many people, but it was basically asking who would you re-sign out of the Cowboys 3 who needs contracts. You have Dak, you have Micah, and you have CeeDee Lamb. How do you guys think people voted? Like, what percentage-wise do you think picked Micah, Dak, CeeDee in terms of who you would re-sign?
I'm assuming because people understand what Micah is. Micah was number 1. Out of 100%, I would probably say it was like 40. I'd probably go CeeDee next. CeeDee was probably at like, let me not say 40. 40 is probably low. Let's say like 57. Let's get really specific.
This could be a trick question.
Yeah, no, I still feel confident about it. CeeDee's at like 30-ish, and then Dak is last. So
because
like 15-ish.
CeeDee was at the bottom of the list or at the top.
You know what's the thing? I think that CeeDee Lamb just works, no drama. I think he's a blank check player. You don't even think about paying him. I think he's number 1. I think Dak is number 2 because if he says this is on the Athletic, it's probably Cowboys fans voting on this. Dak Prescott is very meaningful to the Cowboys, and I think a lot of Cowboys fans recognize that. And I think Micah's last because Micah causes a lot of drama. And Micah, even within rivalries in the division, like with the Eagles, he plays very tongue-in-cheek. He's very friendly. And I just think as a competitor, as somebody rooting for a team, you don't want to see that. And I think Micah exudes a lot of that. I'm going to go Micah last.
I think I'll go CeeDee, Parsons, Dak.
Micah was number 1. They would re-sign him at the highest percentage. It was like 55%
let
Micah.
me cook.
Number 2 was CeeDee Lamb. It was he was around 35%, and the last like 10 or 15% went to Dak.
I was damn near perfect.
Dak was also voted as the most overrated player on the Cowboys.
I do think that it makes sense just because they're the 2 youngest players on the team.
Micah's special.
Well, I mean
they all
also
are special.
Respectfully.
Not the tongue-in-cheek.
They're like top 3 in their positions. Dak is not.
I feel like Dak, I don't know. I feel like we've always gone back and forth. Dak is either severely overrated or severely underrated. I thought after the season he just had, people would not be saying he's the most overrated player. I don't know. Because the Cowboys, who else is really going to be claimed as overrated? You can't, like, CeeDee's a top 5 receiver. Micah Parsons a top 3 edge rusher. It's really difficult to overrate those players.
Maybe people overrate Diggs, the cornerback.
Yeah, he was
Dak
probably
was
on that
awesome
list
this season, but in the biggest game of the season,
for sure.
he absolutely dookied them bad.
He was really bad.
I think more than anything,
They were bad.
it's the Kirk Cousins effect with Dak Prescott. I think that's what's happening. Kirk Cousins, I thought was a really good signing by Minnesota, but when you have a quarterback like Kirk that is kind of in the middle, sometimes can have a season where he's a top 10 quarterback like Dak Prescott, you understand that quarterback is not good enough to lead you to a Super Bowl. So would you rather start with a blank slate and get a new quarterback, or would you rather continue to invest in a middling quarterback that's not going to bring you a lot of playoff success, but will have great regular seasons? So I think that's the thing with Dak Prescott, is that I think a lot of Cowboys fans know that they're not going to win the Super Bowl with him. With that being said, I think the Cowboys are one of the worst run organizations in the NFL right now. Every year, Jerry Jones talks big talk and doesn't do anything in free agency to shore up the team. He gives contracts to players he favors. He overpays them, like what happened with Zeke, like what happened with their linebacker, I'm forgetting the name of, Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith a couple years back, and they regress tremendously when all the numbers tell you, if you pay this guy, this is what might happen to your team. And look at this offseason. The only guy they brought of notice was Eric Kendricks. I just don't
Zeke
think...
back.
And Zeke back.
That really is one of their biggest moves.
For a team
He was good last year.
that is trying to contend, it was an embarrassment of an offseason.
Saying they're one of the worst ran organizations, it's a strong statement. I understand the sentiment, but it's strong. They've made the playoffs every year that Dak's been there, aside from the one that he got injured, obviously. Also the one that they went 8-8, and then the Eagles clutched up. So 2 of the seasons Dak has been there. 2 of the seasons of the however many seasons Dak has been there, they've made the playoffs other than that. And on top of it, they draft pretty well, considering. So they have a bunch of talent. They just are unclutch in the biggest situations. And I'm not going to blame the front office. At a point, you got to look at the players and think, hey, what are we doing here? You lose to the Niners 2 years in a row. You lose to Jimmy Garoppolo, then you lose to Brock Purdy. Both of those games were within reach. The offense simply did not step up. And then this past season, the defense was atrocious against a Green Bay offense who was awesome, no doubt. You were supposed to get gashed in the run. You weren't supposed to let up 300 passing against Jordan Love, 3 touchdowns, whatever he had. But the defense was simply terrible. And then on top of it, the offense was also bad. I'm not going to sit here and blame the front office. The players at a certain point, we need to hold them accountable.
Can you name the last 5 head coaches for the Dallas Cowboys?
Mike McCarthy,
Jason
Garrett, Wade Phillips, Parcells. I can't name the last coach after Parcells.
Jimmy Johnson?
Yeah, okay. No.
Not 5th.
Okay, so I got 4.
Parcells is in there. There's one you're missing
I said Wade Phillips.
In the middle of the Parcells-Phillips era, I'm pretty sure.
I thought it went from Parcells to Phillips, and then Garrett, and then McCarthy. All right, why does the 5th coach matter?
Because since the Cowboys dynasty, they haven't. Before Bill Parcells, it was Dave Campo.
Okay.
Then it was Chan Gailey. Then it was Barry Switzer. Since Jimmy Johnson, Jerry Jones has not hired a coach that will really challenge the establishment. Bill Parcells was the only one. Mike McCarthy was not an innovative offensive mind. The Cowboys went really safe with that pick, and while I do think he's a good head coach, it didn't give them the highest possible ceiling. When I look at the Cowboys, I look at somebody in Jerry Jones who's a very compulsive owner, and he plays to his attachments, which is a big reason why Jason Garrett was there for so long. I look at NFL teams right now. If I'm just talking about in this moment, what teams are ran better, the Bills are ran better, the Dolphins. I think the Chiefs are ran better, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Texans as of right now. I think they're ran better. I think the Steelers are ran better.
I think the Steelers and the Cowboys are kind of in similar positions.
Very stubborn.
Except the Cowboys at least have a quarterback. The Steelers haven't had a legit top-tier quarterback in like 5 years.
But there's no doubt in my mind that once the Steelers understand they're in that position, they're going to try to go all in. And that's what the Cowboys failed to do with just the lackluster off seasons. The Eagles are ran better, the 49ers, the Rams. I think there's a legitimate argument with the Seahawks. The Lions are ran better. The Packers are ran better.
Let me say this.
They traded Russell Wilson.
That was a great move by them.
And that was one of the best trades in history.
I mean,
They're most definitely ran better.
Yeah, but those players that they got back, we got to see what they're going to do.
It's the fact that they traded Russ. That was the trade in itself. And they got draft capital to rebuild their teams. One of those picks was Boye Mafe, who's one of the up and coming edge rushers. Amongst all these playoff teams, all of them, the Cowboys are the worst. But
we understand that the Dallas Cowboys didn't make moves this offseason because they have to pay their high caliber guys.
They haven't paid their high caliber
but,
guys, though.
But that's the reason why they haven't gone out there and signed anyone.
I think
because
you
if
can
they
make
went
things happen.
and they didn't sign, or they went and they paid money to go and bring in a wide receiver, or paid money to go and bring in a quarterback, whatever the fuck. That's a disrespect to CeeDee Lamb. It's a disrespect to Dak Prescott. Obviously, we know these guys are going to get paid. Micah Parsons is going to get paid. We understand that that's going to be a record-breaking contract.
It doesn't
It's
matter.
inevitable.
I
To
think
disprove
there's
your
ways to
argument,
figure it out.
the Lions paid Amon Ra. They paid Jared Goff. They still brought in DJ Reader. They still overhauled
Because
their
they
cornerback.
had money to spend. Dallas doesn't have money to spend.
The Cowboys can make things work within the salary cap.
But
That's
what would they
that's
have
what
to
you
do? Like
You-
they do
you-
every single
you
season.
restructure
They go-
contracts, you
like
pay
they
money-
do
you pay
every
money up
year.
front.
That's
They
what you
didn't do
do
it
when
this
you
year.
have a
Agreed,
contending
but they do
roster.
it every single season.
Who have they brought in that's really been
brought in?
I'm saying
No
draft wise, they killed the draft. They have a lot of great
They do.
homegrown talent, but they don't
Yes.
usually add, whether it's trade or free agency. I mean, look, they just traded away Amari Cooper a couple of years ago. Got a 5th-round pick.
That was a
Terrible
bad move.
move.
Absolutely.
For a 5th-round pick.
And even Seattle, I think Seattle now, because they're not on the same caliber as the Cowboys, even though going into next year, that really could be a toss-up. But even Seattle the last 10 years, when you're talking about Legion of Boom, you're talking about Russell Wilson, you're talking about, Pete Carroll
Most
first coming
definitely
over
ran
here.
better than the Cowboys.
You
Most
have
definitely. It's not even an argument.
Yeah, I mean, you have Super Bowls to look back on. So Dallas,
Super Bowl.
I think it's a Super Bowl, multiple appearances. I think it's just a little bit frustrating for Cowboys fans because you're obviously good enough to win. Dak's good enough to be able to go to an NFC championship. He's good enough to go to the Super Bowl. But I think it's just every single year we see them have a great regular season and the playoffs come along. We all kind of look at each other, wink, wink. We know what's going to happen. I think that's the upsetting part. They're able to draft this talent and they always have good enough head coaches. Like you mentioned, Joel, Jason Garrett, Mike McCarthy, Wade Phillips, they were fine head coaches. They weren't bottom 5 coaches in the league, but they're also, you're not taking that swing on a potential Mike McDaniel, on a potential Sean McVay. And of course it could go the other way and you get an Adam Gase. But the fact that you're just trying to really overhaul this team and really say we are making a stride in the right direction, it's hard when you run it back with Dak Prescott every single year, even though great quarterback, top 10, and with Mike McCarthy now for year 3.
Look at the cachet of the Cowboys. They are number 1 in ratings every single year. This is a storied and historic franchise. For the lack of investment they've given the team, it's been a terrible mishap.
Lack of investment. They have spent so much money on their players that they draft. It's not that. It's kind of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like Jerry has done a great job
Who are
of
they
drafting
paying right now?
players.
I'm just
Zach,
thinking-
Zach Martin. They're paying Lawrence. They're paying Dak. Even still, he's on an insane amount.
Their
of
offensive line is there's 3 backups there right now.
But Tyler Smith also was a draft pick. He was just on
He
the
was
All-Pro
great.
team.
Yeah.
Again, Zach Martin is there. This offensive line, although they did just lose Tyron Smith, it was a
the
huge
Cowboys
loss.
have their fair share of good draft picks. They do, as do a lot of teams. I think they have hit-
Trayvon Diggs, that was a hit. They had to
I
give him
understand.
top
Dak
money.
has a $55 million
That's what I know.
cap hit
I
this
thought
year.
so.
That is a big part into it. But just looking ahead, they have $65 million cap in 2025. You could push things behind the
Okay.
books, and you could push that 25, 26 if you wanted
Look
to.
at the Eagles. They managed to pay all their guys. AJ
got
Brown got
Saquon
paid.
and Bryce
Devontae
Hall.
Smith
Oh, no,
got
we
paid. Jalen Hurts got paid. And they brought in Saquon Barkley.
did trade,
I'm not about to give that excuse
our
to
guy.
the Cowboys when we see
Sunrise.
teams, when they're in that window, they go all in. The Rams didn't care about the cap. When they traded for Jalen Ramsey, they said, we're going to get Von Miller too. We're going to try to go all in and win this year. And it worked out for them. The Cowboys have never once have said, you know what, we have the team to win this year. We're going to make one of those blockbuster trades. You know what, we're going to trade for a CMC. We're going to go all in and try to win
They
it all
did
this
trade
year.
for Amari Cooper,
When they had no receiver.
but they
that was
saw
also
they needed
what
to do.
26.
That was a minute
That was a
ago.
while ago. Not 26. Was it? Damn, that long
It might have
ago?
been 2018.
2018. Yeah, that sounds right.
They had no receiver. Everybody was washed. Their offense was like watching paint on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
It was terrible. That was a desperation move. That's what that was. But they let Amari Cooper go when you could have had him. And now look at what their biggest weakness is on offense. They don't got another receiver next to CD that could take the pressure off the defense. This is a team that could have done so many more things, and they haven't. When you have as much cachet as the Cowboys, you got to be better and you got to do better.
It just goes to the statement of saying that they're the worst ran organization. I think that's strong.
amongst all these playoff teams, I think they do.
Yeah.
You know,
The Browns, like if we're just gonna go off history.
Recently, they've just been great.
yeah, they've had a great 2 years.
3 or 4. Because with Baker, they wasn't terrible.
it's a fact.
Fair.
You can't take the politics out of it with the Browns because of them trading for Deshaun. I would say the worst. But if we're just talking about like from a skill and trying to manage your
Got
team
the Jaguars,
perspective,
you got the Panthers.
the Browns have done much more to make Deshaun successful than the Cowboys have done with Dak.
Like we just did the top 10 on Bleacher Report, head coaches and GMs. Where would Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones rank?
In the 20s.
Jerry Jones is pretty damn good at his job.
He's outside. They're outside the top 5-15.
What does Jerry Jones do?
He's one of the best drafters.
He didn't even want Dak Prescott. He wanted Connor Cook.
Who?
Connor Cook. He was a quarterback that Jerry Jones wanted to draft ahead of Dak Prescott.
So who drafted Dak instead?
It was one of the coaches in there who they overrided the decision because they didn't, or I forgot what happened in there, but I know for a fact that Jerry Jones did not want Dak. He wanted to draft Connor Cook. The best decision with the Cowboys hasn't even been Jerry Jones. Come on, man. Jerry Jones has been terrible. He's been
Terrible?
awful. Yes, he has.
I don't know if I'd go that far. Again, they traded back with Philadelphia. Philadelphia drafted a receiver. They still were able to draft probably the best defensive player in that draft in Micah Parsons. You've drafted Trayvon Diggs, drafted Zach Martin, drafted, of course, CeeDee Lamb. Third receiver in that draft.
So you're not going to
taken.
mention none of the misses? They just got all hits?
No, I was just
gonna say,
naming
the
the great players on the team.
The last 3 years hasn't been the prettiest. I mean, including 2024, we don't know.
Well, Tyler
2023
Smith
wasn't great.
was just drafted by
Yeah, that
them.
was 22. 23 was Mozzie Smith, first round. Luke Schoonmaker, Tyler Smith, Sam Williams, Jalen Tolbert, Ferguson the fourth. I guess that's fine. Deron Bland, that's not bad.
Duran just broke the record, even though he's still not the best coverage corner.
What are we watching?
You just rip one?
Oh, my bad. This the sound.
Yeah.
Okay, so I looked at this article. The Cowboys didn't draft Connor Cook because the Raiders drafted him.
Shout out to the Raiders.
But he
Always
was
holding
going,
it down.
to draft Connor Cook over Dak. That was his big brain decision. Listen, I think the Cowboys are terrible, and that's why I don't view them this year as a contender. You know, they should
agree.
have built off of last year, and with their weaknesses, which there were some evident weaknesses, say we want to look to get better here, and they didn't do that. They just didn't.
Let's get some more storylines though. We could talk about the
All right,
Cowboys.
let's
for
get
45
into a more lighthearted
I'm sorry, I should've
storyline. No, it's fine.
That was a good topic. Good topic.
My storylines, there's multiple of them. It's going to be all these quarterback battles. So let's go ahead and let's break it down. Who do you guys believe will win these teams' quarterback battles? First team, the Minnesota Vikings, Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy.
Sam
Darnold's going to win. JJ is going to get a red shirt year.
Darnold already had the 50-yard pass to Jettas. I think it's his time.
It was pretty viral. I think Sam Darnold will win the job also. Giants, Daniel Jones.
This
or
is a
Drew
quarterback
Lock?
battle?
Apparently,
Oh,
Daniel Jones or who?
Daniel
Drew
Jones or Drew Lock. That's exactly the way to think about it.
Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
He's getting paid, what, $40 million? Bro, he started.
This is last year.
He started.
Yeah, I'm agreed.
At first, I think it'll be Daniel Jones, but there will be a point in the season where he gets benched. He will get benched,
You don't
and
have a
Drew
good
Lock
track
will
record
go
of
in and
guys
play.
getting benched, you know?
Brock Purdy
Russell
was a
Wilson
little
got
absurd.
benched last year.
He did.
What do you say?
Russell Wilson.
He,
I do think
he got benched for financial reasons.
He also
Little
just wasn't good.
wishy-washy.
He
I
had
think
26
Daniel wins that job. Although rough first day of practice, hasn't played football in a minute.
I will say he also did just throw a dimer to Malik, and Malik
dropped
just
it.
dropped it. But then, of course, Drew Lock goes and throws a dime to a name I can't remember off the top of my head, and it was a beautiful pass. You know, I will not hate on that. But I think Daniel Jones wins the
Solid
job. I'm
quarterback,
not
man.
thinking about it. The Las Vegas Raiders, Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell?
I think Gardner Minshew is a fine quarterback, so I say him.
Why not just go with Aiden O'Connell? I know what Gardner Minshew is. I think, you know, he brings a sense of swag, but just go with Aiden O'Connell. I just go with him.
I think Aiden O'Connell has the inside track right now. I feel like from minicamp 2, he's going to be the guy. But Gardner Minshew, I think, gives you more upside, although we are talking about Gardner Minshew's upside.
I think they will roll with Aiden O'Connell to start, but then his leash will be very thin. And then there's an opportunity for Gardner Minshew
He just,
to go
AOC
ahead.
just didn't do anything last year that impressed me.
No, he didn't.
He just
didn't.
took care of the
Hold on,
ball.
wait a minute.
And he passed it to Devontae Adams. Like, that was,
If you're
that's
out
a
there,
good
game
recipe.
plan.
Hold on, wait a minute. This dude is, wait a minute.
Who are you looking for?
This guy, Aiden's 25 already.
That's not that old, truthfully.
I just
This
feel
is
like
year
he's been in the
2.
league. He just got here.
This is year 2. It's pretty old for
Yeah,
him.
Burrow was 25 in his second year.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, he's
was.
nice. It doesn't even matter.
Oh,
It
dude.
really
But I'm
does.
just saying, like,
Well,
age
Gardner's
really is
only
not
28. They're right there.
Yeah.
It's like Calvin Ridley's like 30.
It's like, what is like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, okay.
I'm with you. Let's go to the next team. New England Patriots, Jacoby Brissett or Drake May?
that situation is kind of like what Joel said. You want to see what Drake is. But I do think Jacoby, you could see him start for like 4 weeks, but I would start Drake. I hope he starts.
I think when it comes to Drake, man, I really want to see him play as early and often, but I don't want to see him behind what the Patriots have offensively just yet. I feel like the talent's still not there yet. Let Jacoby start. If you see Jalen Polk can really play and these young receivers show out, okay, we'll throw Drake May in there now because he has help. But other than that, I'm starting with Jacoby to start the year.
I think Drake May is going to win the battle. I think he's going to impress in camp. I think he's going to impress teammates and the coaches. Jacoby Brissett is a fine starting quarterback, and I guess for the first few weeks, if you want to ease him in, but put Drake May out there. I think the receivers they have with Jalen Polk, who through day one, good in training camp. Demario Douglas last season, I think, showed some things too. Have Ramondre, so I don't think it's that terrible. It's bad.
I feel the same way as you, Riv. I think that they'll start the season with Jacoby Brissett at the helm. They'll let Drake learn a little bit more, and then inevitably he'll start at some point this season. But I think Jacoby wins the job. Next team, my Denver Broncos. Bo Nix, wait for it, Zach Wilson and or Jarrett Stidham. Who wins the quarterback battle? This one to me is easy.
I think it's Bo Nix.
I think it is Bo Nix also.
Zach Wilson sucks. He's actually not good at all. Like, he's really bad.
Why is there part of me that wants to see him play in the
crazy.
Broncos?
I promise you don't.
I think you want to so you can get the number
You'll
one
see
pick.
him in the preseason.
Do you know why? I think I want to see. Yeah, that's a fact. I want to see what Sean Payton can actually do with a bum, like an objectively bad
He'll make you
quarterback.
lose.
I'll be
Sure.
honest. He's not doing anything.
No, nothing.
He's not doing anything.
I mean, Jets and Denver, two different.
Like
situations.
if Zach Wilson was maybe like with Detroit, you know what I mean? Elite offensive line, great play
Our offensive
caller, all
line's
the
actually
offenses.
good.
It is solid.
Yeah.
But everything needs to be perfect, and maybe Zach can be a below average quarterback who still turns the ball over too much.
I think the best way to talk about this quarterback battle is putting them in order. I think Bo Nix is a locked-in starter. He was handpicked by Sean Payton. I think Stidham wins the QB2 battle. I think he's going to win it. I think Zach will be QB3.
You're a
hurt
big
your
Jarrett
heart.
Stidham fan. I
He'll
agree,
be holding
though.
field goals.
Bo Nix, number 1. Stidham, 2. Zach Wilson, 3.
And the most important, the most interesting quarterback battle, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who wins it, Russell Wilson or Justin Fields?
Oh, this is Russ. I think it's Russ
Do
easily.
the Steelers want Justin Fields as a quarterback?
I doubt it. I think he is. He's deemed the kick returner.
A quarterback.
Oh, was
Okay.
he?
Please show some fucking respect.
Sorry, man.
You were there.
Blame
I
Madden.
was.
You were there. So you
was.
to be that disrespect was nuts.
Well, I'm not
It's
the
over.
one. I'm not the one putting him out there for
Just
kick
give
returns.
it up.
But damn,
Just
he could be
give it
backup.
up. It's done.
I hope
He
so.
could be backup.
I mean,
He could be the backup.
He could be the
He could
best
be
backup in the
yeah.
league.
God willing.
My God.
Chill out, Zach. Pump
Bo
your
Nix,
brakes.
baby.
He's older than Justin.
He is. That's
Embarrassing.
okay.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, Russ is gonna start.
Yeah, I think Russ can start.
Russ ain't getting benched for Fields, man.
Dehls, I wanted to put in a Jets storyline for training camp.
Okay.
Do you have one?
Yeah, so mine works in tandem with the Jets because my biggest storylines are just all the players returned from injury this year. So the biggest one, Aaron Rodgers coming back after his Egypt trip, which I hope went swimmingly for him. He deserves it, deserves some time off. He said he's been interested in Egypt since he was in elementary school. So I think it's fine he went.
Give him a
But outside of Aaron Rodgers, we have Kirk Cousins coming back from his torn Achilles. The Atlanta Falcons right now favorites to win the NFC South. If Kirk can be 85% of what he was in Minnesota, I think they have a really strong chance to win that division. Deshaun Watson coming back from his shoulder surgery. This is a big year for Deshaun. If Deshaun has another season filled with injuries, if he's not performing again, you can't cut him because his cap hit is just going to be way too much. But you're going to have to take some real looks at potential starting level, Tyrod Taylor type dudes, or maybe even drafting somebody in the first round, because at this point, what we've seen for the last 2 years is I don't know if he's a starting level quarterback. Joe Burrow coming back from his wrist injury. Burrow, too, obviously not on the same level as Deshaun, but we've had a lot of years now where he's getting banged up. We know when he's healthy, he could be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Nick Chubb. We just mentioned earlier that he's going to start the season on the PUP. I don't think that's that surprising, but the PUP in the preseason / training camp, you could come off at any time, right? In the regular season, if you're on the PUP, you're missing 4 weeks, 6 weeks, I believe.
4.
6 weeks, IR is 4. But during training camp, he could be on the PUP today. He could come off tomorrow. But to start, he's going to be missing the first few days of practice. And then Mike Williams, torn ACL. The Jets need a wide receiver too desperately. Outside of him, they have Malachi Corley, who they drafted in the 3rd round. Xavier Gibson, who's more like a punt returner type of guy, but showed some flashes just as like shifty out of the backfield slot type of dude. They need a wide receiver too. We know we got Garrett there, but coming off from ACL, another guy who's going to start the list on the PUP.
Man, with the Jets, they're one of the few teams that they're counting on a lot of injured
excited?
players to come in. I'm optimistic. Okay. I'm not excited. I'm not excited.
I'm starting to get thrilled.
Not excited?
No, I'm not excited.
Why
Didn't we
not?
not just have a conversation
optimistic.
about the Jets?
Yeah.
You were down here. He went all the way up here. Now he's back down here.
I think
Stresses himself out.
I'm optimistic because we have a really good team. This team could be
this is the most
number
talented
one in
team
the
we've ever
AFC
had.
East. Yes. But we just saw Aaron Rodgers get hurt on the very first play.
Yep.
It's hard for me to get excited. Right now, I'm optimistic. If we make it through the first couple of weeks with no injuries, my excitement's going over the roof. But heading into week 1, okay, let me tread cautiously. Because last year, I went full blow, head in, head first. And then Rodgers got hurt first play. It demoralized me completely and reshaped how I view the New York Jets. It reshaped it.
But
that was the worst thing that has ever happened to any franchise in NFL history. That never happens to any team.
You grew as a man.
I didn't.
You grew as a man.
I was good not experiencing that
Nah,
situation.
you needed that.
No,
That's
I was
God
okay.
just said we need one more battle for the Jets.
No, I
one
really,
more battle till they give us the chip. That was the last battle.
The
Yeah,
only
it's not great,
moment that
truthfully.
was probably worse in that moment was maybe the Falcons fan base could feel this, blowing a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl.
I'll be honest, 20-3 lead is bigger.
That's number one. That's number one.
How about trading 2 firsts, 2 seconds, signing a guy before he's played a snap for you, 245 M's, and he's dog shit.
Also not great. I would say the Bills going to 4 Super Bowls, never winning. That's
That
pretty
hurt.
terrible.
That probably hurt for them for sure.
That would be
Like next
so
year,
bad.
we're due. They kept saying we're due. Nah.
I'd rather get to see it than never see it at all. If
tripping.
I want Aaron Rodgers to play, if he's bad, he's bad. But I want to see
Do you
it.
want to hear this? Peyton Manning threw for the most touchdowns and yards in a season. We
They
went to the
beat y'all
Super
with
Bowl
lube
and we
and
lost by
cocks.
35. I promise you, it was not worth it. It was not worth it. I
was a
swear
bad-
it
that was
was
a bad
not
day for
worth
you,
it.
bro.
I'm happy
They
that my
started the
GOAT
gate
had the
off
best
with
regular
your ass.
season ever.
So it was worth it.
No.
But eventually,
no.
once he
was
got the
worth it.
chip, it's like, all right, it's fine.
game
Having
was-
the
in the
best
moment-
regular season
in the
ever was
moment-
worth it.
in the
The
moment,
game was
definitely
so
tough.
bad they thought it was rigged.
No, bro.
No, that was
like-
probably the worst Super Bowl I've ever
Yeah,
watched.
like,
It
it was
was
so bad.
I'm
They
telling
thought
you,
the game was rigged.
from the bottom of my heart, it hurts more that we lost because with that Super Bowl, he has the biggest case.
That's true.
For him being the GOAT.
That
Just
doesn't compare
right
to the
there.
Jets,
Reminds
though.
me of Steph, man.
It doesn't compare to the
no,
Jets.
of course not.
No, the Jets
I'm not
is
saying
worse.
that. We don't
The
have
Jets
to do
is worse.
that. I'm
We
just
haven't
talking
been
about
to the
my
playoffs
misery.
since
Like, why does he have to
2010.
say everything about him? What
He's
the hell was
in
that
the mold.
about? Yeah, I respect that.
mold.
I mean,
I'm just
but I
saying, we
also get
haven't
it.
seen the
I'm
Jets
gonna-
make the
I'm gonna
playoffs
have the
since
Jets best
2010.
player he's ever
disgustingly
had.
high in the power rankings. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
so will I.
You did last year.
No, the one we did a few months ago, I had them at like 10. Dude, there's no way.
I had them at 5 last year.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
facts,
okay,
facts.
okay.
I'm
Like
thinking
that
that
last
season.
year,
I put
this-
them at like 2.
I'll be honest, I have
last
the
time.
Texans disgustingly high also. So.
I haven't done anything past.
But even though you guys
today.
lost, that season was worth it. He holds the record for most touchdowns in the season.
Just that game alone.
The fact that
man.
you got the Super Bowl later in hindsight, it's like,
That's really
whatever.
what saves me,
Because-
but it hurts really bad because he would have won that Super Bowl for us. He was the best player on that team. He
Yeah.
was the best player in
Yeah,
the
it's
league.
true because
It was just the case, especially at the time. Brady hadn't won the 4th one,
Yep.
so he really would have had that
or the 5th or the 6th.
or the 7th. But yeah, that was a moment in time where that was a moment in time where Peyton had a strong chance to really put himself in that GOAT conversation. That's why it hurts me on that level.
Because Dehls, the similarity to that is the Jets missing the playoffs in 2015 when we choked Week 17.
Yeah,
but
against the Bills.
I would take that season all day, every day. That season was
Yeah,
fun.
I mean we're deprived over here. You know, we're
but
starving.
we didn't make the playoffs either that
We're-
year.
I know, but I'm saying we're starving on the side of the road looking for a crumb. Drew over here, does he have a filet mignon? No, but he's got a nice, chicken sandwich. You know, like he's not going hungry over there.
No, not at all.
Yeah, but even though y'all lost to the Super Bowl, I feel like that team was special. Offensively, that team was
I mean, it was the
special.
best offense ever. But
I know.
again, it sucks.
That analogy sucked.
That analogy, the chicken sandwich shit, it wasn't.
Did you get it?
I
I didn't
understood
understand it.
I understand. He's saying like I don't have a Lambo.
I was just agreeing. I wanted to move on.
Was really ass.
Okay, I was like, yeah. He's like, you don't have a Lambo,
Nah,
but
Joe's funny for
you
that.
got like a nice
acted like he
BMW.
understood.
Yeah, for sure. He looked at me and nodded his head.
I understood.
That was a smart. I was like, I'm just gonna roll with what he's saying. Okay,
I respect that.
I'll
I
get
was
it.
just saying, I'll take a little piece of anything. You get us a playoff win, I'm cool with that. Make the playoffs.
Something about Aaron Rodgers, it just scares me a little bit this season. You talked about returning from injury, returning from an Achilles injury, and his last season as a starter, 26 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. Yes, the stats look good, but he wasn't good, and that's why
Busted
going
thumb.
going into last season, I said that I wouldn't be surprised if Jordan Love
does.
had a better year than Aaron Rodgers did in 2022 because Aaron Rodgers simply wasn't that good in 2022, but he was hurt. But it kind of goes with the point. Aaron Rodgers is older. He's fragile right now. We don't know if he can sustain a full season and be healthy for the entirety of the season. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I hope he returns to form and he could be an MVP candidate this year. I think we have the offensive pieces to surround him, but I wouldn't be opposed if this is one of those offenses that are just run first and we really play through the run game. Because I think Breece Hall can have an 1,800 rushing yard season if the offensive line holds up in front of him.
18 is a lot.
No, I think he could. Breece Hall can be number one.
You're invited to the party, bro.
Yards.
Don't worry.
18 is a shit ton of yards, man. 18 is a lot.
Just here's a personal invite from us.
I think Breece Hall has that type of potential, but because of the combination of the pass and run game that we have Garrett Wilson to take care of as well.
You told me Garrett Wilson was getting 17.
No,
so
that's
let me
what
ask
I'm
you a question.
saying.
Top
Breece
five
Hall
offensive
and Garrett
football.
Wilson
I tell you what,
could really
18
break out.
How many
18
yards?
to 17.
How many yards is Devon Achane running for? If he's running for 18, Jesus Christ,
He's getting 13 flat.
I don't think Breece Hall is going to run for 1,800. I think he's that good that he can have a season where he can do it. Yeah. But that's why I want to play through our running game. I feel like him getting 12 to 1,300 yards is in the cards. That's very realistic. And we play through him. We establish that running game, and then our passing attack opens up that much more because I think Garrett Wilson is a superstar. He's not just a young star. He's not Chris Olave, with all due respect. He's not Devontae Smith. He's an elite tier receiver. He can be a top 5 receiver in the league one day, and it can happen as soon as this season. He's that good.
I'm with you.
I just think.
Yeah, I love this talk, man.
I think it's set up
Not
perfectly.
Tyreek Hill yet, but he's on his way.
It's set up perfectly, right? I think you play on the backbone of your elite defense, the backbone of a potential elite offensive line, and the backbone of an elite running back, in my opinion. And then at the head of it, you have a quarterback who has been basically the least turnover-prone quarterback in NFL history for a majority of his prime, for basically his entire career, if you take out like the 12 interception season, especially when he was winning MVPs. If you're going to have a team that could run the ball that successfully, not turn the ball over, and have probably, if everyone stays healthy, the best defense in football with multiple guys that can rush the passer, multiple shutdown corners, arguably the best linebacker duo in the NFL with a great defensive mind, Robert Saleh, it is set up to be perfect. And people don't want to hear it. I get it. It's the Jets. It happens every year, and they manage to screw it up. But it's set up if you just look at it objectively. Of course, Rodgers has to stay healthy, but the pieces are there where they can be an elite team.
Objectively looking, the Jets it's very easy to get excited about them this season and last season as well. If I'm going over the course of the last 4 years, the first 2 years it was optimism, but optimism in the unknown that maybe we got a quarterback where we didn't have a quarterback with Zach Wilson. This team is actually really good, and they can make it all the way to the AFC Championship game. And I think we got the defense. We got a Super Bowl level defense.
On paper, you have arguably the best roster in football. And I truly believe that.
But if there was no drama, it wouldn't be the Jets. And there's already drama starting with Hassan Reddick. That's my biggest concern right now because
he's really playing, y'all.
Hassan Reddick is a good player, and we need an edge rusher because we just lost Bryce Huff.
Bryce Huff. You're like, all right, fuck it. We'll take Hassan. We'll swap him.
I'm really not worried.
Yeah, I know. Pay him.
I mean, listen, hopefully the Jets do pay him, but if they don't, what's he going to do? Not show up to all... Like, Chris Jones sat out week 1 of last year, and he was fucking dominating.
And Hassan Reddick's not Chris Jones.
He's not Chris Jones, but he's a high-level player that I don't think sitting out is going to miss time. That's going to miss,
what I'm wondering.
No, I'm saying it doesn't. No, Hassan Reddick doesn't have the cachet to where he could sit out. I hope we find him. We find him every week when he does show up.
He's going to get fined every day. Eventually, he'll show up. Maybe they have an extension. Maybe they don't. But he's going to play this year
because he said he would play without an extension. He said that. Yeah. He got to be a man of his word.
That means he'll leave next year.
No, yeah, flat out lied. Flat out lied.
He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck. He wants his bread. Like, are we?
He is getting his money.
So
just not past this season.
So fuck CeeDee Lamb. Is that what we're saying?
No.
Fuck Brandon Ayuk. Is that what we're doing?
CeeDee Lamb is getting his first payday for real. Hassan Reddick's been a veteran. Come on, bro.
I'll be honest. Hassan, I don't think the Jets want to extend him until they see him play.
Yes,
because you
he's
have to
an
pay
older defensive lineman.
You have to pay Sauce. You have to pay Garrett Wilson. You have 2 record-breaking deals sitting at your hands potentially, and you have potentially 2 Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald to fill out that edge rusher. So if they're both studs, you don't need Hassan Reddick. You don't need to pay him.
We didn't make a fuss about paying Quinnen. Quinnen got his money
Deservedly.
instantly. The same will happen with Garrett. The same will happen with Sauce Gardner. I 100% believe it. We're not going to whiff on those guys. At least I hope and pray to God we don't whiff on them. Hassan Reddick was in Japan playing with swords instead of at mandatory minicamp.
Yeah.
No,
Never do that to
there's
Howie.
always something with the Jets, and we're starting early right now with this drama because he said he was going to play, and he's not showing up yet.
Trouble in paradise.
But it's okay. We'll
Howie-
find him.
no,
He'll
no,
show up eventually. He'll show up
Howie
eventually.
said, "You know what? I see
your vibe.
Something's going on right here.
Hey,
I don't
give us
really
Bryce.
like it."
Well,
Yo, Bryce,
Take a little gamble.
what's
Give him-
up?
Hey, Bryce, a little nice contract.
Calm
Nice,
contract.
calm.
We've been talking about Brandon Ayuk for the last 2 episodes, and he's at camp. He's just not practicing. But Trent Williams now is holding out a 49ers camp
Trouble in
because
paradise.
he wants his
That's
contract
where
restructured.
there's trouble.
Yeah, you're cooking because
There's Trent
Trent
Williams.
is. I was gonna say he's on the
No, they're
team
gonna
for
pay
3
Trent.
more years, but has 0 guaranteed money.
That's crazy.
This
That
is
was
the
nuts.
best left tackle in football comfortably. To me, there is not a close second right now. He is just so overwhelmingly the best. He needs his money. I agree with him. You got to pay him. And now on top of this, like you mentioned, we've been talking about Brandon Ayuk. He wants his money, and deservedly so. But you have this one piece that essentially you've been blessed by having to pay him less than $1 million in Brock Purdy. He's going to get a payday deserved. 50 M's at least,
He should
probably.
not get 50 M's.
He's 2 years. In 2 years, he could get 50 mil. To be fair, 2 years.
You're
50
going to
mil's
have to
gonna be
figure it
like
out if you're
38,
San
40
Fran.
now.
Because if you lose Trent Williams, congratulations, your offensive line's one of the worst in the league. Because it's barely holding on by a thread. It's just because Trent Williams is so goddamn good. And I respect Shanahan too. Because Shanahan does great jobs with his schemes and trying to mask that strong deficiency. But a lot of that also, Brock Purdy does a great job getting outside the pocket. And mostly Trent Williams. Brandon Ayuk, you're going to lose. Now you're really going to mess with your left tackle. You're going to have to pay your quarterback. You're right, Joel. That is trouble in paradise.
And you also have Ricky Pearsall, who's hurt. So you don't have Ayuk here. You don't even have your first round pick to show up and really see what he's been able to do.
Jawan Jennings time.
Ronnie Bell time.
Who?
It's time for Ronnie
Bell.
Bell.
Hey,
to
Ronnie
get
Bell.
in, get some
Chance for him.
PT.
Listen,
This is a chance for
You
him.
got to check in the game.
Jawan Jennings could have been Super Bowl MVP if they fucking won the game last year. I swear to God.
Definitely trouble in paradise over there. But they're going to lock in. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
I have a
Praying to
hard
God.
time seeing the 49ers just not doing everything the right way. I think they will. They have shown the standard to do so at least.
They,
know-
yeah, they already said you ain't going nowhere. So
You know what cracked
figure
me
that shit
up
out.
in the group chat when you sent that message of all the things that the Niners are going through, and it was like, "Oh, they're in trouble." I was just like, "Riv, we know that you like the Niners. Don't say
I
there."
just got to see what's going on. That's
Come
all.
on, you're trying to be slick with
I'm a
that.
Brock Purdy guy, man. That's where
He
I
saw
stand.
the notification and it hit his heart a little bit.
If you think
There was
about
a
it,
Pierce.
low key, Joel likes more people in the Niners than I do.
On the Niners?
Yeah,
I wouldn't
Yeah, we
be
just really like
surprised.
Purdy.
yeah, that's right. Debo, Ayuk, Fred Warner. I'm just thinking
Hufanga.
of Purdy.
Hufanga.
Yeah, he's there. He's low key there. He just hates Brock.
They
He
just
can't
have
be
so
there.
many good players,
I
man.
agree, man.
They're just so
they're one of
talented.
them ones. You know?
You guys are just opposites of each other. In the NFC, you're Philly and San Fran. In the AFC, you're the Chiefs and the Bengals.
Just fried.
Okay, yeah.
There are a lot of
Not
teams
that
that I root for players on the teams, but I don't go
you're
all in on their
cooking.
teams. Like the 49ers, I like their players, but it doesn't matter to me if they succeed or not.
Really? And
And that's-
you want them to fail.
And that's pre-Brock Purdy. That's even with Jimmy G. I don't really care about the Niners.
Who cares
like
about
that.
Jimmy G?
It just
No
became
one.
a Brock.
When it's
thing.
not a quarterback,
Unless you're a
like, it
woman,
doesn't-
you
doesn't
don't care
really
about
matter.
Jimmy G.
If you like a corner, who cares if the team is winning or losing?
Yeah, because
You know
this
what I mean? Like,
quarterbacks are the only position
Yeah.
defined by wins and losses.
cooking because like I don't care if a cornerback's winning or losing.
Who's your favorite cornerback? It used to be J.C. Horn.
No,
That was one of your guys.
He was a guy of mine, but my favorite quarterback used to be
Denzel
Marcus
Ward?
Peters.
Oh.
Okay.
It's so easy for me to say who my favorite corner is. It's a luxury having one of the best in the game on your team.
Sauce Gardner?
I said one of
No,
the
he
best.
said one of we're the best.
Oh, okay.
So
I don't
My
know.
guy
According
now
to
is,
NFL executives,
yeah,
Your guy's
there
third.
there were some quotes in there saying that he's not even a top 10 corner in the league. I'm like,
At first, I was a big Joe Hayden fan. Then
Joe Hayden was good.
Then
Joe
Marcus
Hayden was-
Peters
yeah,
came
he was
in. Now I'm a
elite.
Denzel Ward guy. That's my guy, Denzel Ward.
They're just sticking with the Browns.
So you've been rocking with
corners.
the Browns.
Listen, man, Joe Hayden was a fucking dude, man. Because I used to love AJ Green. I used to love when they go head to head. They were like my favorite
facts.
players. So
My biggest takeaway from training camp so far has just really been 3 takeaways that are big for me. I think
so no.
Joe Burrow's new haircut
What are we doing?
The real Slim Shiesty.
We're supposed to talk about sports.
He doesn't stop.
Why are we talking about a man?
I'll be honest. The long hair was his look. It was his look.
He went from Anakin Skywalker aura on a milli.
That was
Anakin has $1
Photoshop.
million.
No,
That wasn't real. I got bamboozled too.
Damn.
Wait, what?
The Anakin Skywalker Joe Burrow. That was the sexiest Joe Burrow out there.
But he had long hair last year.
Now he looks.
No,
he looked
Anakin
tough.
Skywalker got it to like behind his
Insane, insane. He looked very tough. This now Marshall Mathers' hair. It's not horrible.
Listen, I
not
saw the
great.
Joe Burrow Anakin Skywalker. I started questioning my sexuality. I was like, whoa, okay.
I knew it.
Oh.
I knew he was gonna go that far.
The new Joe Burrow, the new Joe Burrow haircut got me back. I understand who I like and who I don't like.
I knew it.
Would you rather Joe Burrow or Anthony Edwards?
Ooh,
It's a good question.
they're the best of both worlds right there. Sheesh.
Joe Burrow.
You have a
God, I hate
girlfriend.
when that happens.
She doesn't feel threatened by Joe Burrow anymore because he cut his hair.
Did she feel threatened by Mahomes?
No. Mahomes is an average looking guy. You know?
Oh, because the way you fantasize. about
His
it.
playing style.
It makes
Oh
you
yes.
Far from average.
Oh yes.
Okay.
I love watching him play. But yeah, she showed me her haircut. She showed me his haircut. She asked me what I think, and I said I don't think it looks good. I don't like the haircut. I understand what he was going for, the Eminem reference, but I don't like it. He should have kept his longer hair because he looked like more than just your average Joe.
Let me ask you a question. Joe Burrow and Anthony Edwards are hanging off a cliff. Can only save one. Who are you saving?
Sacrificing myself.
Listen, that's not
Saving
an answer
both.
here. You have to.
I gotta
You have
save
to
both.
find a way to
You
save
wouldn't
one.
give up your young life. That's insane.
I know who
For
you're
the
saving.
betterment of Cincinnati and Minnesota. I'm doing it for the people. I can't choose. Yeah, you can't make me choose.
I'm putting you on the spot here.
I can't choose. No, I literally can't choose. I can't bring myself to say one name right now. I'm frozen.
I feel like it's pretty easy.
I think you also like one player more than the
I
other.
think so too.
You think I'm letting Joe Burrow go?
Yes.
It's a hard decision. I can't say it out
You're
loud.
saving it.
I actually think you're looking at Joe Burrow, not moving.
You're gonna
just
go.
going straight
You're gonna go
Andy.
to
Like,
Burrow. Be like,
It's not even a thought.
I'm so sorry. You mean everything to me.
No, he's not even wasting his time.
See you
He's
later.
running to Anthony Edwards and
cooking.
picking him up and backpacking him. Be like, I got you, baby boy. Come on, let's go.
Remember, taking amen over God.
Oh my God, I hate that you just brought that up.
What did you think about Joe Burrow's haircut?
I apologize. You also said you would take Paul George over God.
He said it after me. I
No,
was the
he said that
originator.
before that. Then you said that on the
I
episode
said
with
the A-word.
Yo,
Edwards
you're right.
first, yes.
You're 100% right
And
because
then
that was
he
the
said it.
episode after.
He swag jacked me.
Shit's crazy how you tried to
Damn.
just line me and it was just.
But you
wrong.
did say PG over God. You did say
I'm
that.
trolling though.
So was he.
I don't think you're trolling about that.
You think he's
You
trolling?
love Paul George.
I do,
obviously
but
trolling.
come on, like.
Did you hear his voice when he said it? Of course
No,
he was.
did you see
fucking
the
trolling.
face? I'll take him over
I'm
God.
taking Anthony Edwards over God.
And then he just looked at us. It was just like it was.
I said it with less confidence than you said it. I said it kind of undertone a little bit because I was thinking about it.
No.
undertone
You
means?
said that shit. You said that shit with your chest. You
talk
looked
loud.
at
Like, no, with your
JC.
like that was like a manly like Like
We
this-
can definitely
10
compare
toes.
both of them and we can rate it.
Okay.
No,
was-
Rivers was more confident
was
because when
I was
Riv
probably
said it,
smiling and
I was
laughing.
like, "Fuck! I should have said it like Riv."
Nah,
I was like, mine wasn't as
when
good
I
as
heard
Riv's.
when I heard the both of them, I knew Riv was joking. Yours, I knew you were joking, but you said it in a much more serious way.
What do you think about Joe Burrow's haircut?
It's all right. It looks okay. I really don't
What's
care
this,
too much.
How's his wrist, man? Is he healthy?
Show me,
Is
show me,
he
show me, show me.
playing every day?
You
He
didn't
is
see
healthy.
it?
He's fully healthy.
That's what I care about.
So it's literally Eminem's hair on
Joe
Joe
Burrow.
Burrow.
It's not ideal. Let's see. Oh, that was actually a real picture.
Yes,
That was.
bro.
Yeah,
Cody,
this-
when the one Cody Rhodes posted.
Yes.
This is him.
That was actually
in
the
uniform.
only cool part about it.
Oh,
That Cody
wow.
Rhodes
At
comments.
first I
and it's like,
thought it
go
was
finish your
Cody.
story.
And then I was like, "That's Joe Burrow." I thought it was fake. Yeah, that sucks.
It's terrible
It's awful. Why did
It's
he do
terrible.
that?
because he was
Oh,
injured
brother, they're
last
not
year,
going to the Super Bowl.
and he's back this year. That's
Let me
why.
ask you, does it look good on Cody Rhodes?
It does.
100%.
I
looks
think it
like
looks, considering I know how his hair looked beforehand, like when he went blonde, I was just like, okay, interesting. Doesn't look bad. This, I also don't think it looks bad. I just don't really care.
I don't know what Cody Rhodes looks like without blonde hair, if I'm being honest.
Really? You
I
don't
didn't.
like the Stardust days and all that? Yeah, I'm asking a lot out of
It
you.
doesn't matter that much, honestly.
I just
Everything
think
He had
he's
zero aura at that time, dude. Aura was in the mud.
He literally was Dusty's
Well,
kid.
what are your other two storylines, man?
Okay. My other two
Joe Burrow.
I
storylines.
can't believe we actually just.
No, I can.
You're right.
I can.
Now you can put Cody Rhodes, Joe Burrow, and Homelander in the room, and you can't tell the difference much. The Chiefs' downfield passing offense is back. That's
Okay.
one of my biggest NFL play style storylines. I know it's not a groundbreaking pick, but Mahomes can win an MVP this year. I think he will be right there in the race, and I have a hard time believing he won't win another MVP. And I know he already has two. It's like him getting another one. Oh, damn, how, he shouldn't win another one or whatever. But when I think about this offense, you think about Rasheed and Travis Kelce dominating the intermediate areas of the field. And some speedsters on the outside with Worthy and Hollywood Brown. This is the best offense that Mahomes has had in a while from a talent perspective. And I think playing with the lack of receivers has made Mahomes master the art of the short passing, because he's really turned into Tom Brady these past couple of years. Before he was more Brett Favre-ish, then he became Brady, and I feel like this year could be the combination of those two play styles, and we can get the best quarterback season ever this year.
There's a world where we were talking about this the other day, Drew, that Rashee Rice doesn't get suspended this year. His suspension gets pushed into the 2025 season because this has happened at months at this point.
Yeah.
We have no sort of legal updates, and we're approaching the regular season, we're approaching training camp, and there's no word that this investigation or whatever is going to get done soon. I believe his first court date's not even till December. So there's a chance you're going into week one having all of those weapons you mentioned. And Rasheed last year, I feel like is just very under the radar type of rookie season. I don't know if it's because he broke out in like the second half and he started slow, or that he didn't go to some big time school or some big time prospect, but he's a rock solid wide receiver too to me. I don't know, upside as a one TBD, but he could be a rock solid wide receiver too for this team. And when you add Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown on the outside, this is going to be a team where, yeah, it's not a hot take. Obviously, it's the fucking Chiefs, but it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be last year's offense where we saw some weeks there, 2-3 weeks in a row where it just looked ugly. I think they're going to be a really great offense.
Yeah, pray for my mental health every time the Chiefs play football. It's just not going to be enjoyable.
Yeah, without Tyreek Hill, they were just a meticulous offense. They would move the chains.
Yeah.
I feel like now this is a year where we're getting back to them just throwing the ball down the field with.
Hopefully we see Mahomes throw more interceptions.
Well, we saw
get more
Worthy
touchdowns is good.
first play of training camp, damn near.
The other just take I have is I think the Packers are going to have a top 5 defense this year. Their defensive line has been dominating in training camp so far. They've played an offense with no Jordan Love, and their defense as a whole has been dominating. But that's not that impressive as Sean Clifford taking the snaps. I just look at the talent on the Packers, and I look at the philosophy that their new DC wants to implement. I think it's just fits better to the player's strengths than anything Joe Barry ever ran. And this could be the first time that we see this Packers defense just unlocked on a whole nother level. Rashawn Gary's a superstar. They just paid Kenny Clark. Then you have Preston Smith and some young guys like Van Ness, Wyatt, and Carl Brooks is really good as well. I think they just have so much depth on that defensive line that they have superstars, but they also have just really good players that are coming in to sub in, so they're always having fresh bodies in there. I think their defense is going to be suffocating to play against.
Did I read that Jordan Love's not showing up to camp?
I think I think he's there. He's just not practicing. He's holding out until he gets his contract. And I think that's going to happen soon. I think he's going to get paid.
They talked about it. They said they're working on the deal right now.
Here's the reality. If they can have a top 5, top 10 defense, let's just go safer. Let's say they have a top 10 defense. They have the potential to put together a top 5 offense. If Jordan Love continues to progress, if now on top of a Jaden Reed, now you have Christian Watson get a little bit healthier, we can get a full season out of him. Let's not hold our breaths on that, understanding his first 2 years into the league. Now Dontavian Wicks breaks onto the scene. Romeo Dobbs, still Jordan Love's, let me not say his favorite target, but one of his favorite targets. Josh Jacobs is now in this backfield. You still have a solid offensive line in front of you. What don't you have for the Green Bay Packers? Right? This could be a team that really can go deep into the playoffs. This could be a Super Bowl caliber team. But again, it all relies on if this defense can continue to progress. And again, how much better is Jordan Love going to be in year 2, which we all can assume he's going to be great.
Matt LaFleur had an interesting comment today or yesterday too, just talking about the wide receiver room, because I think that's another big storyline out of Packers camp is Christian Watson has probably the highest draft capital drafted in the second round. He has the upside and the talent and the physical ability to be a number one, but as you mentioned, he can't stay healthy. Dontavian Wicks broke out into the scene last year, had some really flashy games, but overall, it's not like he put together this insane body of work where we can expect that going into year two. And then you have Romeo Doubs, who's probably been their most reliable week-to-week receiver last season. And what LaFleur said was, you don't really know who it's going to be, and that's the beauty of it. And it's probably going to be annoying for us, and we do fantasy reaction because it's like, who do you take? Jaden Reed, Romeo Doubs, all of these guys. But I think what's most likely is just week by week, depending on the matchup, depending on players' health, of course, that it's going to be a different guy. They have the luxury to have 4 to 5 receivers they really like, even if you throw in Bo Melton. They have 2 tight ends who both kind of flashed at different times during the season with Luke Musgrave and with Tucker Kraft. And then you mentioned Josh Jacobs, and they also drafted Marshawn Lloyd in the 3rd round, who has some more burst to Josh Jacobs, some more explosiveness. And they've already talked about him getting on the field. And can't forget about A.J. Dillon, who apparently is in the best shape of his life.
They've rebuilt their team post-Rodgers perfectly.
It's crazy.
Because this is a contender. This is a serious contender. I think they're a top 6 team in the NFL easy.
It's a shame.
Easy. Yeah.
Okay.
I think...
I'll be honest, he's up to something. This team is near perfect.
From a roster perspective, talent top to bottom, I think it's pretty
near
easy.
perfect. I need to see this defense first.
Them or the Niners?
Right now, you got to go.
I think that's a toss-up. I think if they play again, the Packers will win this time around.
Okay.
Lions.
Them are the Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
Lions.
It's really close.
It's a division. Anything can happen.
Well, I'm just saying, who do you think is a better team?
I would go to the Lions. I think they're a more talented roster right now.
Especially the O-line, too.
Baltimore?
I'll go with Baltimore.
Philly?
Packers.
Jets?
Packers.
I'd say Ravens and Packers honestly could be a conversation. If you're going to say Niners and Packers are a conversation, Ravens and Packers have to be a conversation.
I think the Ravens, their defense is just more talented.
But they lost a lot of talent, is why I say that. Just on both sides.
On defense, I think Clowney was a big loss in Queen. But you still have Roquan, Marlon Humphrey.
Picked up Nate Wiggins. That was a come
Nate Wiggins,
on. No
Brandon
one talks
Stevens,
about that.
Marcus Williams, Kyle Hamilton, Matabuke. They still have so much elite talent. I think the Ravens are a better team than the Niners. I do. That's why I would have...
last year.
It did. It's true.
I didn't answer the Lions question, but believe it or not, I think the Lions have a better roster.
Yeah.
Top to bottom, they have a better roster. I think the difference is the quarterback play with those two teams. I think Jordan Love's better, but the Lions have a better roster. There's nothing that the Lions are weak in. There's no weak spot with that team.
Not anymore. After trading for Carlton Davis, bringing in DJ, I mean, really, they have
That's interesting.
no hole.
Very interesting.
I think they're more complete than the Niners. They probably don't have the top and talent like the Niners, but especially defensively. But I feel like they're more complete.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're the best team in the NFC.
As of right now, I do. Yeah, I believe they're the best team in the NFC.
All right, my boy, lock in.
Yeah.
Good
Detroit
luck.
Lions.
Good luck.
So on to breakout NFL offensive picks. I was having a conversation with Dehls the other day, and he was saying there's no quarterback that he feels strongly about this year to break out. Usually we have rookie quarterbacks we're invested in. They go into year 2, and we're expecting to break out. But C.J. Stroud already broke out, so that can't be an answer. I'm curious to know if any of you guys have a quarterback you do feel strongly about that this year can break onto the scene in a similar fashion as C.J. Stroud did and Jordan Love did.
It's tough to say, but two quarterbacks that I'll go to bat for. Anthony Richardson, that's an obvious pick. Everyone that's talking about football and breakouts, Anthony Richardson's name is going to be brought up with Shane Steichen. You saw what Gardner Minshew was able to do last season. Now you have Michael Pittman, you have Jonathan Taylor, a solid offensive line in front of AR. You have Josh Downs. You just drafted A.D. Mitchell. This is a solid foundation for Anthony Richardson to go in there and succeed. Now, last year, he needed to refine his passing a little bit. Hopefully, this offseason, post-shoulder surgery, he was able to work on his mechanics there. But in the small sample size we saw out of AR, there were flashes of what we all anticipated coming in, that he can be an explosive option at the quarterback position. He can have the upside of being the best quarterback in the draft. With CJ being this good, who knows if he'll ever reach those heights. But again, you have to go on upside and talent, and AR has all of that. I think AR is going to have himself a great season. And last guy, I'll go to bat, the number 1 overall pick last year in Bryce Young. Dave Canales is now taking over the helm in Carolina. You have Deontay Johnson. They just drafted Xavier Legette. now he at least has options that he can throw to on a consistent basis that are better than Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen being his only option last year was a disservice to the progression of Bryce Young. And it really got to a point where it was unfair to criticize and really evaluate last season for Bryce Young because of the surrounding pieces around him were so atrociously bad. The front office, you want to talk about dysfunctional organizations, what David Tepper came in and automatically tried to do with the Carolina Panthers was a complete disservice to the players on that squad. And last year, obviously, the end result showed. To me, I think Bryce Young now coming into year 2 with Dave Canales, we saw what he was able to do with Baker Mayfield. I'm anticipating coming in that he's going to be a lot more refined. It's going to be a lot more plays that are just going to be drawing up and scheming up these receivers for him to make easy throws either down the field in the intermediate, hitting the checkdowns. I believe that Bryce Young will have himself a nice breakout season, but I will still go to bat for AR more than Bryce Young at this point in time. I just think AR is in such a much better situation that it's hard not to go AR right now.
Yeah, AR would be my pick as well. I'll go with somebody else just because, Drew, you talked a lot about what I was going to say. I think Drake May is getting overlooked. I really like Drake May coming out of college, coming out of NC. He was the obvious number 2 pick, in my opinion, the entire process when you talked about Caleb, when you talked about Jaden Daniels. And it's hard not to look at this 2024 class and not think about the 2021 class, where you had this generational prospect with Trevor Lawrence and Caleb Williams. The number 2 overall pick in the 2021 class for a majority of the season was going to be Justin Fields. But then, of course, you had Zach Wilson shoot up super high. And then number 3, Jaden Daniels, who kind of bursted onto the scenes. And although Trey Lance had 2 years, or I guess 1 year of productivity, and then his final year he sat out because of the COVID season, there's a lot of similarities there. And we look at the 21 class, most of it didn't work out. But I think Drake May, although the situation isn't great, I think he's further along than what people are giving him credit for. I think there was a lot of questions around his prospect profile, and when you look at 2 seasons ago, he was one of the better quarterbacks. If you put him in that 2021 class with Bryce Young, I think he would have gone number 1 overall. He was that talented to me. This past season, though, you lose some guys on the offensive line, some skill positions. He wasn't the same player. But I think going into New England, I'm higher on these receivers, this receiving core, I think, than most people. I like Demario Douglas. I like Jalen Polk. The other guys, Javon Baker, Kendrick Bourne, just as filler pieces are fine. Of course, we're still talking about one of the bottom of the barrel type of receiver rooms, but I think Drake May has the talent to be able to not overcome it, but to play well enough. And I think Gerard Mayo, for the most part, knows what he's doing. First-time head coach, but learning under Bill Belichick for years, of course, just being in that New England system. I kind of just have some blind faith in that. So I really like Drake May, and I'm a little upset he's on New England.
Anthony Richardson is the pick that everybody's going with, which makes me think there's some caution there. It's kind of like everybody's saying, go this way, go this way. And hey, maybe they're right. But right now, I kind of feel as if something could go wrong here. And not that I think anything will.
That's pessimistic of you.
I'm looking at Anthony Richardson this year as a rookie. I think he's a rookie. Okay. This is his real rookie season. I
agree.
So I don't think there's going to be a breakout to where he really puts himself and cements himself at the top of some quarterback discussions. I actually think this quarterback's going to have a better season. I think Will Levis is in the best position to break out, and he's going to have the best season of any second-year quarterback not named C.J. Stroud. I just look at the way he plays the game, and I'm infatuated by it. He's a gunslinger, 4th highest in percentage of plays that went for 20-plus yards, only behind Brock Purdy, who has a great supporting cast, Matthew Stafford, great offensive supporting cast, and C.J. Stroud, who his offensive supporting cast burst onto the scene this year. So for Will Levis to do that, with lackluster offensive talent around him, I thought was really impressive. He was 5th in big-time throw percentage. He was 1st in ADOT. The bad with him is that he is overly aggressive. So he was 8th in turnover-worthy play percentage, but Will Levis is going to take those risks, and I feel like sometimes you need that in an offense. I think another alarming thing about him is just his pressure-to-sack ratio. He does tend to stay in that pocket. He does tend to take big-time hits because he's looking for plays down the field. But the reason why I'm not taking that stat as a knock on him is because he was number 2 in the NFL, where in offensive line allowed pressure responsibility, he was at 91.5%, which means 91.5% was an offensive line issue, not his issue. Number 1 was Joe Burrow at 94%, and he was 4th in drop percentage. You get J.C. Latham to replace Andre Dillard, who last year, surprisingly, the Titans were number one in allowed pressure from the left tackle position, 43.2%. That was just an astronomical number. Second place was 34.3%. So just getting any upgrade from Andre Dillard is a massive upgrade, and then you upgraded at receiver. So now the drop shouldn't be that much of an issue. I think Will Levis, the way he plays a game, allows for a lot of high variance. I could see a season where maybe he throws for 24 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, and he has the Titans in the mix all year long to be in that wild card hunt. I think Will Levis is going to have a really good year.
You know, everybody has their different definitions of breakouts, right? It could be a rookie that kind of got slept on draft night, and he breaks out into the scene as one of the best in his class. Could be a year one guy who didn't have a good year one like Bryce Young. He burst onto the scene and people start remembering his name. My guy is kind of a guy who's kind of been forgotten about for a couple of years. Now he's in a new situation, a beautiful, splendid situation with, you know, the best receiver in the world. Pretty great tight end that they got last year in a trade. And then Jordan Addison. Hopefully he figures out all that situation. He comes back. But my breakout is probably gonna be Sam Darnold. You know, I just think right now with the situation that he's in, it's damn near a perfect system, a perfect situation just in terms of the coaching and the offensive weapons. Like you have Jettas, you have Jordan Addison. They just got Aaron Jones. If he's healthy, he's another option in the pass game. You have T.J. Hockenson. Like you've just built this damn near perfect situation. And I guess the definition of breakout in this scenario would just be to understand that to make people realize Sam Darnold is a good quarterback, or make people realize he can still play at a high level if given the right situation, if given the right pieces around him. And I know this is the kind of perfect. Not everybody's going to get this situation. You still got to go out there, perform. We've seen guys not perform with still well situations. So for me, my quarterback would just be Sam Darnold.
Okay, I love the Sam Darnold prop. I haven't heard breakout pick Sam Darnold since 2021.
It's been a while.
We're here.
I like that. So what do you think he's going to finish with numbers-wise, if you were to guess?
22-9 with 3,200.
You think he'll play the entire season?
Yes.
There won't be a moment where JJ comes in.
He will if they're not playing well. If they're playing like they're hovering in the playoff hunt and they stick to being competitive, he'll play. And if he's not stinking it up. If
I'll
he's
tell you
playing
what,
like shit,
those
though.
first 3 weeks of, is it the 2021 season?
They have a tough start to the schedule.
No, I mean that in the sense of CMC, when he finally had an opportunity with the Carolina Panthers and CMC was healthy, he was playing some good ball.
He was 2-0. They lost that game that CMC left. I think they were 2-1 at that point.
He had an insane amount of rushing touchdowns for those first couple of weeks.
You got some guys
too.
out there, man. Just throw the ball to Jettas, throw the ball to Addison, TJ, Aaron Jones.
Yeah,
if he's
having
healthy.
Kevin O'Connell as your head coach too should make things a lot more simpler if you're Sam Darnold. And all he has to do is do his job.
Yeah, fun fact about Kevin O'Connell was that Nick Mullins, he's played for various offensive coaches before within the Shanahan tree. His numbers with Kevin O'Connell were better than any of his numbers with Kyle Shanahan or any other coach he had. So Kevin O'Connell, I think it just shows that he's going to get the best out of a certain quarterback. Nick Mullins was actually very efficient. The problem with him is that he threw a boatload of interceptions. He just YOLO'd it, and he did not care.
He did do that sometimes.
If Sam Darnold stays within the rails of the offense and doesn't turn it over like that, I think he can have a really good season.
If Sam Darnold throws under double-digit interceptions, that's a W.
It's a movie.
22-9 is a pretty solid year, truthfully.
Even 22-10. I'm cool.
Yep, I'm fair. I'm
cool with it.
I'm
Just
fine
show
with
you
that.
can play in the NFL.
Exactly.
You can start somewhere. That's the bar right now.
Sam
I hope he
has
gets it.
moments where he shows that he belongs in the NFL.
Yeah, versus the Packers, 348 yards, 3 touchdowns versus Aaron Rodgers.
Remember, like yesterday.
That game versus the Cowboys too.
It might have been 2 touchdowns, but 300 yards definitely. Oh man, I thought we had the future right there.
Can you believe Sam Darnold's first play in the NFL was a pick six?
And
One of
That
the
is
worst
so
pick
funny.
sixes, too, bro. Oh, my God.
and one of the best wins ever.
Yeah, facts.
We dominated lines. Breakout running back picks now, Drew. You're going with a familiar face.
Easily. I got 2 names. One name, very familiar. It's going to be your boy, Breece Hall. That's the obvious selection. Hopefully it should be to everyone. Last year was kind of a mini breakout. Led running backs in receptions at 92. He was unbelievable, but was forced into that role because really, what other option did you guys have, especially when the quarterback play was at such a low level? What do they need to do? Oh, when in doubt, throw it to Breece Hall. And of course, as a rusher, obviously uber efficient. This is the best offense that Breece Hall has been a part of. This now he's coming in finally with a full bill of health, a solid offensive a solid offensive line. You do have, of course, Aaron Rodgers, God willing, 100% healthy, and that's going to make the run game a lot more free-flowing. It's going to be a lot more explosive. But with that option of Breece Hall being a great receiving back, we can see him put up a season where the ceiling is 2,000 scrimmage yards. I really do believe that. He can have that type of impact for the New York Jets. And like you said, you guys should be building a foundation that you guys are a run-first team. And then, of course, with Garrett Wilson, God willing, Mike Williams comes back and he stays healthy for the remainder of the season, you can have a very nice balanced attack as the season progresses. But very early on, you should lean on Breece and allow that to continue to grow your offense. But that's going to be my breakout. But then, of course, on top of it, I'm going with Devon Achane. Last season, I don't know the last time I saw a player be this explosive with such a few amount of touches. I think the last time that it comes to mind, comes to the head. That makes sense. That's still valid.
Come to head, you said.
That comes to mind would be Tyreek Hill that first year with the Kansas City Chiefs, where he was on punt return, he was doing kick returns, he was in the backfield, he was a wide receiver. He broke out against my Denver Broncos, had 3 touchdowns, one as a punt returner, one as a rush, and then one as a receiver. That's the last time I saw a player like this explosive, like Devon Achane. A great receiving back, obviously an insanely efficient rusher where he averaged over 7 yards per carry. That's going to come back down to earth this season, but he was doing this with under 50% of snaps. He had around 800 rushing with less than 50% of snaps. He had 8 touchdowns in 11 games. He was absolutely phenomenal last season. He just struggled with injuries. If he can stay healthy, he gets a little bit more opportunity. We're talking about one of the best running backs in football.
I just hope that he stays healthy because
fingers crossed.
Injury risk with him is very high, just given how frail he is and just the guys he's getting tackled by in the NFL. But we haven't seen these efficiency numbers, I think, in NFL history. There's nobody that comes close to the season that Devon Achane had, at least in recent memory. 7.8 yards per carry. He was first in breakaway run percentage at 53.4%. Number 2 was Breece Hall, your other breakout pick, at 40%. So Devon Achane was better than second place by 13 percentage points. First in yards after contact, 4 100-yard rushing games. He was phenomenal. And if he could stay healthy for a full season, we could be talking about the best running back season in the NFL.
Yeah, no, he's super electric. You just, like you guys said, he's got to stay healthy. I got 3 at the running back position. I'll run through all 3 because I don't think you guys would have at least 2 of these. Number 1 is actually going to be your guy, Joel. I think Isaiah Pacheco is in line for his biggest season yet. We talked about this a bit on Fantasy Reaction already, but losing Jerick McKinnon and the only other running back there right now is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think he's in line to be the workhorse. And we look at last season, the first couple of weeks, they were still trying to figure out how to use him. But after those first 2 weeks, he was one of the best running backs in football. So I think this season, it's just going to be even more work for him. And when we talked about the Chiefs offense before, we were thinking this is going to be a top 5 type of offense. They're not going to have the same struggles as last year. So I think he's in line for a workhorse type of season where he could get 200, 250 carries, still be efficient, still be explosive because he's not seeing those stacked boxes. The other 2 I have one rookie and one, I believe, second-year player. I'm looking forward to see what Trey Benson can do this year with the Arizona Cardinals. Of course, you have James Conner. He's going to be the guy. He's going to be the number 1. And I respect him. He is on the last year of his contract, though. Yeah. And he's someone who every single season you could pencil him in to miss a few games, right? I think he's missed 2 or 3 games almost every single season.
14 and 14 the last 2 respective seasons.
Yeah, so he's always banged up. He's always nicked up. And he set the PFF's broken tackle record in 2022. He has workhorse type size. He is a 4.4 speed type of guy. I think he gives you a bit more juice than James Conner. Now, I think for first 4, 8 weeks, 10 weeks of the season, it can be Conner's job. But if he gets banged up and you see Benson is able to, show out in 1 week where he's the guy, I think he get worked in more as the season goes on. And the other one who I wasn't expecting to add to this list, I had him yesterday, is going to be Chase Brown. The Cincinnati Bengals, they brought in Zach Moss. I think he has as good a chance as anybody. We're talking about him and Chase Brown to be the guy there. But the GM had some interesting comments about him, talking about Chase Brown, saying he's going to have the opportunity to be the guy or the second guy or in tandem with Zach Moss. So I know we're expecting Moss to be that guy because he's more of the just physical build, and Chase Brown was primarily used as a receiver last year in the backfield on third downs. But I think he's super explosive. He is super fast. He actually ran with the ones he got the first snaps today at training camp. So he's someone that I'm just looking for in that backfield. We don't really know who it's going to be. I think we're expecting to be Zach Moss, but going into training camp, it's not his job.
Chase Brown, I think that's a great pick. I'm in alignment with you. He was my third pick.
Oh, okay.
And he's super explosive. Zach Taylor actually said he earned a lot of the workload he's going to get this season. And there's an account on Twitter called Coach Speak. And they kind of measure the coach speak of certain coaches. So if this coach is talking up a player, how much can you trust them? Is the trust meter high or is it low? It's high with Zach Taylor. And Zach Taylor said that Chase Brown will get more of a workload. I have two guys here that I think are the best running backs on their team, yet they don't get treated as such. I think the second guy I'm going to name has a better chance of the first guy. The first one, Jaylen Warren, I think is a top 10 running back in the NFL.
Top 10?
He just doesn't get the workload to really show himself. 784 yards. I think he's top 10. 5.3 yards per carry, 4 touchdowns, 61 receptions, 370 yards. Jaylen Warren was third in average yards per. He was third in average yards after contact. He leads the NFL in missed tackles forced per carry since 2021. He only gets 31% of the running back usage for Pittsburgh, and that's why he doesn't have 1,200 yards. That's why he doesn't have 1,300 yards. He is 11th in rushes of 10 plus yards or more with 26. He is 4th in breakaway run percentage. This guy is an explosive player, and last year, the Steelers' offensive line wasn't good. But whenever you gave Jaylen Warren the ball, he's making something happen with it. He is a better player than Najee. Najee is not bad. I think Najee is actually a really good player. He's solid. But Jaylen Warren is an actual star.
Solid.
Yeah, no, he's fine. He's like a top 20 running back.
All right, top 10. I'm sorry. Strong statement. So strong. We have to see.
I also had Jaylen Warren on my list.
Nice.
Rightfully so. Jaylen Warren deserves respect and acknowledgement. CMC, no way.
No.
Okay, Bijan?
No.
Brees.
That's a conversation, though.
Bijan?
It is. Jaylen Warren is that good. But keep on going. I'll give you Bijan. We don't got to get wrapped up in this.
Okay.
Bijan just had a more inefficient season than Tyler Algier.
Relax.
I told you about him.
Relax.
Saquon
You didn't even
Barkley.
know who he was.
Saquon.
Okay, Derrick Henry.
Derek.
Jonathan Taylor.
JT.
Jameer Gibbs. That's easy.
That's a close one.
Because
But I'm
Jameer
gonna-
Gibbs is better than Bijan,
That's
in
not
my
close.
opinion.
I'm going to go with Jameer.
Cooking.
Okay, Rashad White.
No.
James Cook.
No. I mean, no.
I got
Rashad's not.
names.
Rashad's not better than Jaylen Warren.
Right now we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I meant to
6,
say
7.
Rashad's not better than Jaylen Warren.
Okay, I
Jaylen
got you.
Warren's better.
I'm fine with
So we're at 7 so far.
Not moving on.
Kyron Williams.
I think Warren's better.
Kyron was crazy last year.
But what?
He's also in an offense that features him the most of any
I agree,
back.
but he was one of the most productive backs when healthy in the NFL.
Yeah,
He's
so was
second team All-Pro.
Jaylen Warren, 784 yards, only gets 31% of
Now,
his
I get
team's
it.
usage.
I get it, bro, but you also got to
5 yards
It's
per
not
carry.
always you're the more efficient back, because I remember back in the day with Devonta Freeman and Tevin Coleman. Tevin Coleman was the number 2. I thought when he was going to be the number 1, he would be that dude, and he wasn't. Jaylen Warren could just be exceptional in his role, but you give him 70, 80. Kyron Williams is getting 80+% of snaps almost every week. That's tough to do.
What is there that Kyron Williams does that Jaylen Warren can't in the same offense?
I just think he's a better runner.
If we flip these situations, if Jaylen Warren was on the Rams and Kyron was on the Steelers, are you saying Kyron's better than Jaylen Warren?
Kyron is a pretty great receiving back.
You're not saying that.
He's a very efficient goal line back also.
So is Jaylen Warren. He had 370 receiving yards.
Again, but this guy was just second team All-Pro and missed 4 games. Kyron Williams was
he
godly.
plays in a run-first offense
Again,
that is actually good and can scheme up.
You can't minimize
Players.
a player's result just because of the team that he's on.
No, you're not minimizing his results, but
he was amazing.
It's really difficult for me to have Jaylen Warren.
I'm not
over
saying
Kyron,
I'm
bro.
not saying we can't discredit
Yeah,
it, but I'm saying
15 scrimmage yards, 14.
Yeah,
Jaylen
1,400,
Warren
15
and
touchdowns.
Jaylen Warren in the Rams offense is not an easy 1,000-yard receiver. I mean, rusher. Yes, he is. He is.
He's probably 1,000, but Kyron, if he played 17 games, he would have been like 1,800 yards.
Yeah, but Jalen Warren could be better than that. He could be
That's
better than
15,
just
but-
1,000. He could be better than in that offense. I think that's a closer one than you're
hypothetical,
leading
though.
on.
I don't know, because I think Kyron, like, I don't think Rachaad White is a good runner of the football. He's always been inefficient. Kyron Williams is a great runner of the
Correct.
football.
So
I
is
gave you
Jalen
no.
Warren.
I give you
He
no
is.
strong
He is.
pushback with Rachaad White. Kyron Williams.
for sure.
I'm going to stand here and say no.
with
I'm
Kyron.
not gonna. I'm not gonna hear that. Nick Chubb,
Is Nick Chubb.
Isaiah Pacheco.
Jalen Warren is a better running back than him.
Okay. Alvin Kamara.
Jalen Warren is way better right now. Right now, he's way better.
Still got a little bit.
Alvin
in the tank.
Alvin Kamara had over 150 rush attempts. He only ran. His longest run was 17 yards.
He's more of a passing.
He's one of the worst
That's why, as a
explosive
rusher,
backs in
as
the
a
league.
rusher, I'm
He
not
had
mad at that.
75 receptions last season.
Yeah, because
As
he
a
gets
rusher,
force
he's not.
fed.
He's never.
That's
been-
why.
rightfully so.
But no, he gets force fed because Derek Carr doesn't scan in the field. He's
So
not
do we
aggressive.
minimize Brees having 92 receptions last year because of that too?
I don't
Brees
minimize
is
him,
way
but
more explosive than AK right now.
Of course. Well, I mean, in the same
Kamara's
time,
always been a
92
passing
receptions.
running back. He's always
yeah,
been a
but
passing.
That's really what
look
it's
at
been.
every running back Carr has played with. He peppers his running backs with targets. All that's
AK, I mean, AK
common
had
theme
the
with him.
most though, even those Jacobs.
No, he
years.
did. He did. Kamara's he's a great receiving back.
We're ready.
He's not a great running back.
Devon Achane.
HN.
We're definitely over 10. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we should count Kyron, truthfully. Aaron Jones.
Healthy.
Jalen Warren right now.
Aaron Jones.
You can't count on Aaron Jones to stay healthy right now. You
If
can't.
Doesn't mean he's
If he
better. He's
was
just
healthy.
unavailable.
in a vacuum.
But he's also a running back that's 30 years old. They could drop off a cliff at any time.
Good. That's. I mean, if
But
that's
you-
the
are you
argument.
projecting
In a
that?
now, correct. In a vacuum, because Raheem Mostert I could put in this conversation too, but I'm not going to do
Well,
that.
Raheem Mostert is not better than Jalen Warren. He just plays in an explosive run offense like the Dolphins.
So then why is Devon Achane better?
because Devon Achane is just he was
See,
more
like,
explosive
that's
than
just
Raheem
tough
Mostert.
to say.
No,
But
HN was.
Achane was,
He
on a
was,
different
but
level
again,
of
Mostert had
efficiency.
20 touchdowns last year.
Yeah, but
That's Tony's crazy.
but
is
a
nuts.
chain took that to a different level.
I
Raheem Mostert was
know.
great. He was great. But he took.
Yeah.
But Achane
Pretty
was
fucking awesome.
a monster. Like he took it to a different level.
Is nuts.
Yeah,
No, it did. He did.
20's fucking insane.
It was a good year, but he's not better in
Joe
a vacuum
Mixon?
than Jalen Warren. I think
Mixon?
Jalen Warren's better than Joe Mixon right now. Yeah,
David Montgomery.
Jalen Warren's better.
David Montgomery's pretty
a
damn
great
good too.
rusher.
Travis Etienne.
Jalen Warren is better. That's a toss up though. I think Travis Etienne's really good, but he's also another running back who's in a terrible situation and he's inefficient. Jalen Warren last year was in a terrible situation and was efficient. He had a terrible play caller, terrible quarterback play, terrible offensive line. That's all the makings to be an inefficient back, and he still led the league. Well, was second behind Achane in yards per carry.
Is Jalen Warren better than James Cook?
Yeah.
Even though James Cook was one of the more efficient rushers also.
The thing that separates the two
The
is
hands.
one, ball security. The hands, of course, Jalen Warren's better, but also Jalen Warren at his size, he's able to break off so much tackles. He was third in yards after contact. He doesn't go down easily. James Cook doesn't have the same level of contact balance as Jalen Warren. Jalen Warren's better
boy
in that
shifty,
area.
though.
James
I
Cook's
like Warren a
he's
lot.
shifty and his vision's very good.
I just don't see top 10 with Warren.
But this is
That's
why
what I'll do.
But this is why I say Jalen Warren's one of my breakout running backs, because if the Steelers actually use this guy like he should be used, he's no question in this conversation. You thinking it's crazy is the reason why I feel like he's disrespected.
Wait, thinking that it's crazy that he's top 10?
Yes.
There's so many
Yes.
great running backs.
No, after this year, I think depending on the workload, because it's not the fact that he's not better than Najee. Everybody that has odds knows he's
I
better
think
than
he's
Najee.
better than Najee also.
It's the fact that they keep on going with Najee. I mean, 30.6% of the team's RB usage is through Jalen Warren, and he had 784 yards. You're getting 30% of the workload, and you almost have 1,000 yards?
Najee's going to get the workload there. Like, he's just going to be the ground and pound guy that's going to get all the carries. I don't think, unless Najee gets hurt, I don't see a world, no matter how efficient Warren is, that he just takes over. Although I agree, he probably should, because he is that damn good. I just think the Steelers, what they've shown us since they've drafted Najee, is you're going to be our workhorse, and Jalen Warren, you could come in on these third downs, you could come in on these, second and longs, and we'll work you in.
Yeah, I think he's that. I think he's a special runner. I do.
He is really good.
Jaleel McLaughlin is my other
Talk
pick.
your shit.
Good pick.
Javonte Williams,
He's got reps with the first team. Be careful.
He's back.
but he's not the
Skin in
best
his
running
teeth.
back. Sean Payne has to make the right decision here. Jaleel McLaughlin is by far easily the best running back. It's unfortunate Javonte got hurt, but
Breaks my
now
heart
you have
every
to
day.
take that into account moving forward. Even then, McLaughlin, 410 yards last year, 5.4 yards per carry, 160 yards receiving, 9th in yards after contact, 6th in yards run per route. He was a do-it-all back, and every time the Broncos gave him the ball, it felt like great things happened. He is, to me, a breakout candidate, and he has some level of explosiveness that is rare in a runner. He's truly amazing. I love watching his game.
Javonte once had that, man.
No, Javonte pre-ACL
Not the
tier
explosiveness.
was special.
No.
Pre-ACL tier,
I
he
don't
was
know,
pretty
man.
explosive.
That explosiveness have run versus Baltimore.
That
At
might be
least
a
we have
fault.
that. Shout out to Charles. At least we have that.
The
My
mighty
God.
have
I just
fallen.
the only
Don't
question,
say the mighty have fallen. I mean, God unfortunately took his ACL, his MCL, his PCL.
We're having him in like top 5 talks.
He
was
was
so good.
How the
unbelievable.
mighty have fallen? Is that
He
not a
wasn't
mighty
Top five is crazy.
I
That
had him
was
in
a
top
crazy
10.
projection.
I had him top 10.
But project-
You
Mighty
definitely said
projection's
top 5
valid.
before.
I had him top 10.
definitely. No, I remember him.
I know the
said top
clip.
five.
It was Najee and then Javonte Williams at 10.
Is that not a mighty have falling thing though? He was
I mean, he
top
was-
five.
he just
got
never
hurt.
was really, unfortunately, mighty.
Ah,
It was like a flash in the pan.
damn.
type
See,
of
that's
deal.
worse.
That's okay.
Jaleel gets to
hurt.
his top speed faster than Javonte when he was healthy. Jaleel,
He's just a smaller bag. This is a dude that's
He
like
is.
5'7", 180.
Javonte Williams was running through
I don't know
people.
is he 5'7"?
He was running through them and carrying them yards.
Yeah, they haven't listed at 5'7" on Sleeper.
No, he's a small
wow.
guy.
I just think I don't know if he'll ever evolve, which is fine, into anything more than like a scat type of back, where he's not a workhorse, and that's fine. You need guys that and Jalen Warren S. Mole, where you could get like 30-40% of snaps, just be super efficient.
He's 5'8". We'll give him that extra
5'8".
inch.
Every inch matters.
He's so explosive though.
Every
like
inch
I
does
think
matter.
he could get to his top speed
get it in there.
so fast. His acceleration, like if I were to rate it, it's like a 98.
No, eye test wise, he pops more than any of the running backs they have.
You saw that last year when you were watching them, and they never really fully gave him the opportunity. They were giving it to P. Ryan. Javonte was
What was the injury he
constantly
had?
getting the ball.
Javonte?
Javonte,
ACL?
Tore his knee.
ACL, PCL, MCL, everything in his knee.
So bad.
Gone.
What's with all these young? That happened to Brees. I mean, it just feel like all these young running backs.
The biggest difference with Jalen Warren to where I don't feel like I could pencil him in or shoe him into a specific role is because while he's short, he's only 5'8". He's the same height as Jaleel McLaughlin. He's only 1 inch shorter than Devon Achane. It's the fact that he's built. He's 217 pounds.
He's got
at
some meat on him
5'8".
for sure.
So he's able
Beefy.
to handle that contact instead of like McLaughlin or Achane. If they get touched, they're gonna probably go down.
Yeah. But A-Chan could just run by.
He can. He's just so fast.
You have to touch him first.
When you touch him, it's
hard to touch him.
Finish that?
I wonder how the races be at practice. Him, Waddle, Reek. Let's have a little race.
I really feel like A-Chan's the fastest, bro.
You think Reek wins every time?
I don't know, man. I
chance
don't
is
know a player
crazy.
faster than Tyreek.
I know, but I don't know. Last
know
year, I felt
Waddle
like
never
A-Chan
wins.
was just moving different,
He
bro.
was moving different.
Like, he really looked like just not a human.
His breakout really came against the Broncos.
Yeah, OD.
That's tough.
OD.
Yeah, if it had to be you.
I'm fine with that.
Is there no love for Blake Corum? You think he got a chance to?
If
be a breakout rookie?
Kyron's healthy, no, I don't think he cuts into that where we can call him a breakout rookie. But with that opportunity, with the idea that Kyron last year did get banged up, not once but twice, middle of the season, and then of course in that first round of the playoffs versus the Detroit Lions, it's in that realm of possibility. But if Kyron's healthy, I'm not thinking about Blake Corum, truthfully.
Rev, breakout wide receivers. Who's
I
your
didn't
first
even
pick?
say my running backs.
Oh, you didn't. Oh, no,
No.
sorry.
You went on the spiel. I respect it. You were doing your thing. You did say you were locked in. I'm sipping a little bit of the Carolina juice. I'm definitely over
Jonathan
there.
Brooks,
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that.
In a sense of
he's on the pup right now too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's gonna start slow, but I think what Riv's gonna say is he's gonna finish.
Absolutely, I
season
agree
strong.
with this.
And I'm glad you finished my sentence, Dehls. I would have rather Drew finish my sentence because he's more my brother. But nonetheless,
Why can't we all just be brothers here?
unfortunately we can't. But you're my homie. My friend.
Mike Crow.
But they traded up for this guy. They traded up for this guy, and as I was reading a little bit about it, Canellis is really high on him. He talked about him. He said, I got it all. He's got it all. Bigger back. He's got range. And if you look at Carolina's running back room, I mean, there's not a guy who you're looking like I can't beat him.
You're not a Chuba Hubbard guy?
He's all right. But like if I'm Jonathan Brooks, I'm walking in and like, I think I can be better than every single one of these guys by week 6 or week 8. There's nobody that really moves you. Miles Sanders, unfortunately, was a flop for them last year. Great for us the year before, but was a flop for Carolina. Raheem Blackshear, Rashad Penny, unfortunately, not the best running back. So this is a room Brooks is looking in, and by week 6, week 7, I can have the starting spot. And for a team that's looking for directions in the youth department, they got their quarterback. You know, they're trying to get their receivers in line. Kind of need a running back, and Brooks is probably looking at this position like this is probably a spot I can take. Another running back that I did have, we were just talking about him, is James Cook. I think James Cook.
Another level.
Yeah.
After being a 55 overall,
I think
now we're going to the moon.
Yeah, I think he can have a similar, like saying how you were hyping up Jalen Warren, I think James Cook can really have that. This is a dude that had 1,500 scrimmage yards. He was amazing.
He's a daddy.
In the passing game. He was amazing in the run game. His only problem is cleaning up the drops. And his drops are very just, it's not even like anybody's bothering him. These are, I beat somebody, it's a big play, shit, I dropped the ball. Like, it's some really bad
Some
ones.
Joel shit.
Yeah, like, it's really just some honest, I'm looking at the ball too hard or it's just dropped the ball. Because Cook has had some really big moments. And I think with the shift in Joe Brady, the shift in Garrett Moore into the run game, they're going to rely on Cook a lot more. They were already doing that, I feel like. You know, he did have 1,100 yards this year, a sneaky 1,100 yards.
Top 5 in rushing.
Cooker, but he had 6 drops. You know, he has to clean that up a little bit. And with them not having any more weapons, Josh Allen is going to rely a lot on James Cook. This is a guy who he probably outside of Khalil Shakir has the most love with or has the best relationship with on the field. So shout out to James Cook, but I think he's gonna be the one that he may not be top 10, but when you're thinking of 10, 11, 12 spots, hey, James Cook, let's talk about him. You know, he might
as
be
a pure rusher. He's gonna be top 10, baby.
Running backs, you can't just say pure rusher,
unfortunately. Even though Derrick Henry, that's him. He's just the GOAT.
He's one of them.
And Nick Chubb, too.
One of them ones.
Goats.
These are one of them one guys. But
Agreed.
for these other guys, you do a little bit of everything.
This your second time believing in a Panthers rookie. Last year was Jonathan Mingo.
Hate
not
that.
ideal. They just drafted a receiver. What's his name?
Yes,
Xavier Leggett.
We're here. We're back. No, we're back.
He's also
No, Xavier Leggett has aura.
Yeah, we're back.
You're going to
He
lock in and realize that.
I watched his,
Have you seen it?
His college highlights.
Oh, because you're South Carolina. I know that.
Yes.
Yes, you've been locked in.
I've been.
Now, he's tough.
Oh, he's daddy.
He's
We're here. I'm locked in. Carolina, I'm locked in. I see the vision. I see it. I'm going to just wait a little bit.
And you know what low-key you're forced into this season? Deontay Johnson. You have to.
Xavier Leggett has more aura than Keon Coleman.
Yes.
It's 1A, 1B.
Keon Coleman,
1A, 1B.
Keon Coleman lost me yesterday with that
When he
video.
didn't know how to sign?
Oh my God, lost the
Yeah.
shit.
I
out
thought it
of
was a
me.
pretty valid question.
Really?
Do you sign
Do
or
I
print your name?
He said, "Do I sign or print my name?"
It literally most
it
of the time
says
it tells
sign
you.
here-
Most of the time it
it's gonna
tells
say
you.
signature. Like there's
It
no way to
tells
say
you what you
signature.
do. Like it literally.
He's got
Like
read.
At the end there,
read.
He was
the
dead
Bills
serious.
guy told him to just print your name. He didn't even say sign.
because he didn't want to make it complicated for bro. It just wasn't given.
this guy know his signature.
Yeah, like he was just. But
then-
Keon Coleman is nice. I like Keon.
I was
Coleman.
gonna say
Keon
Josh and
Coleman,
Keon just
I think
connected.
he's just funny. I think Xavier Leggett is just like. Just
like his
kinda just
accent.
Like, yeah, like the
what you like.
accent, the
He's built
super
different.
southern.
Yeah.
He's just
a
like
southern dude.
he's just a
Give me
different
that aura.
character.
We're here though.
Debo was talking about him in the receiver. Talking about Xavier Leggett. That's why
get
he
to that
pulled up to
episode
South
yet.
Carolina. Oh, I'll be quiet.
Thank you. Please.
You're welcome.
But yeah, on Deontay Johnson, I guess I'm a fan now.
You have to.
I like the Jonathan Brooks pick a lot though. I like it a lot.
I got him in
Second half of
fantasy.
the year, I think
You
he'd
do?
be that dude.
Deontay, I'm not too big on, but I guess we're here. You know, that's his guy.
You could piggyback off that with your breakout wide receivers.
All right, dope. I guess I'll start. So the first name I have is another Buffalo Bill. Actually, I have 3 Buffalo Bills on the list. So yeah,
I'm gonna get one of these right.
Yeah. Let me just go. I feel like the next one is easy, but for me, this one is Khalil Shakir. I do think he has a breakout year. For him, it could just be solidify himself as one of the best solidify himself as a primetime player. Because I think last year, towards the back end of the year, you saw Diggs have his issues with the offense. Who stepped up for them? It was the tight end, which I'm not going to say his name yet because I'm going to use him later. And it was Khalil Shakir. He's a guy who, in space, you just cannot tackle this guy. He can break tackles. He can get out and run. His rack yards is nuts. And he's a pretty clean route runner. And I really do like Khalil Shakir. He became kind of a safety blanket for Josh Allen. I love the connection that they had towards the end of the year. My number 2 guy is sort of a star guy who kind of, had a bad year last year is Devontae Smith. You guys know how I feel about his talents. You guys know how.
So he's breaking out.
I think he's going to break out in a sense of where his peers get talked about. I think he can get into that room. Maybe not like top 5. I'm not talking about top 5, but I feel like when we talk about the end of the top 10,
Like Nico Collins and him are going to be a conversation after this year.
Sure, I think for sure.
Yeah, it's
for
a no.
sure. For sure. I think it'll be a conversation because I think Smitty has the talent. I think he has all the talent in the world to
he's
pair
tough.
with these
He's
guys.
tough. He's tough.
It just unfortunately last year was a bad year for the offense in general, and AJ was having his breakout moments, so he was getting force fed the ball. But I think Smitty has legit tools to really be one of the best receivers in the league. He's a great route runner. His hands are underrated. Like he is one of the best contested catch receivers in the league by being that frame and that size, which is ridiculous because he's probably a buck.
He's like you out there.
No, literally, he's literally me out there. Like if I was an NFL player, he's one of the ones. So shout out to Smitty. My third guy is JSN. I think he was another guy I was looking at in Seattle because I'm trying, man. I'm trying to lock back in. Tyler Lockett is getting up there in age, and is DK a true number one? Maybe yes, maybe no. On some games he can be, and plus I feel like they're changing their offense over there. And why can't JSN bounce back and have a breakout year? Why can't he be the guy that maybe not gets to that number one immediately, but definitely uplifts as a number 2 guy for that offense? Tyler Lockett, we know he's still really good, but he'll be turning 32, 33 years old. The age is going to start hitting him soon. So those are my breakouts: Khalil Shakir, Devontae Smith, and JSN.
I think when it comes to Devontae Smith, that mold of receiver, it happens with Jalen Waddle as well. They sacrifice so much for their given offense to make things easier for the best receiver on that team, A.J. Brown being on the Eagles, Tyreek Hill being on the Dolphins, that they don't get their true shine and they don't get the opportunity to be the main target holder of their offense because they do so much. Like Jalen Waddle, he's not an X receiver. He can play it, but that's not his strength. That's where he lined up as, on the line of scrimmage, so Tyreek Hill could get all the favorable matchups. With A.J. Brown, they lined him up all over, and they kind of used Devontae as a decoy. And it sucks because I think they're better than their given role, and if they were on another team, they could thrive. I think those are the 2 guys, really, that are wide receiver 2s, but I think are really wide receiver 1s. Like T. Higgins is a wide receiver 2 to me. I don't think he's a 1. I think Devontae and Jalen Waddle, they're true number 1s. They just don't got the opportunity.
Yeah, sure.
You want to start us off with receivers?
It's Garrett Wilson. It's piggybacking off of last season.
How far are we going with this one?
Garrett Wilson.
Better than Tyreek Hill this season, yes or no?
He won't have the yards of him. Tyreek Hill will be better. This is the thing with Garrett. Garrett Wilson, there's no way around it. He's in a historic company.
He's him.
When it comes to all the data points. The regular stats, 1,000 yards with terrible quarterback play back-to-back seasons, that's amazing. But what people don't understand is how often he wins. He's 96th percentile against man coverage, 93rd percentile against press, and 79th percentile against zone. Reception perception does an amazing job charting wide receivers. The only players in reception perception history to clear 95th percentile against man coverage, which Garrett Wilson did, were Stephon Diggs, Michael Thomas, Odell Beckham, Antonio Brown, Devontae Adams, A.J. Brown, Allen Robinson, Justin Jefferson, Tyler Lockett, and Terry McLaurin. Half of these guys are true elite level wide receivers.
Yeah, not Terry.
Terry,
Not Allen Robinson.
let him get a quarterback, man. Let him get a quarterback.
But no, I mean 60% of that list are like all-time legend type dudes.
Yeah.
At their peak.
This is the company that Garrett Wilson has put himself in. And the toughest thing that I have when it comes to Garrett Wilson and just him not getting appreciated is that people don't understand the offense does not put him in positions to be successful. He's one of the best players after the catch. He rarely gets the ball in space, and he's doing things with the ball. 38.6% of his routes came on the toughest routes to get open as a receiver against man coverage. 9 routes, out routes, corner routes, and post routes. Those are all the big boy X receiver routes. Mm-hmm. Garrett Wilson runs them almost at 40%, and you're talking about a quarterback to throw the ball into those areas that are the toughest areas to throw the football. So Garrett Wilson has all the data points that point to him being an elite receiver. He just needs a good quarterback to get him the ball consistently. And I think if it's Aaron Rodgers, even if Tyrod Taylor got to play a couple games, we saw Garrett Wilson's numbers in comparison versus Zach Wilson when Mike White was out there, when Joe Flacco was out there. It was night and day. Garrett Wilson was on pace for like 1,500 with those other quarterbacks. He's truly an elite level receiver, and I think he's going to start getting recognized as a superstar receiver if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy and he plays the entire season or most of the season.
Garrett was going to be one of mine. I think more than anything, he deserves it. He deserves it because the advanced numbers, the reception perception, all of the film shows that he is locked top 10 receiver in the NFL. But when you play for the Jets and you play with Zach Wilson for 2 years, it's difficult to put up numbers that people are going to respect, even in the top 10, even though his talent is so high. I have a few breakout wide receivers. Garrett would be one of mine. Another one that I won't go in depth, but I think Nico Collins takes another step this year or keeps up what he did last year, having 1,400 yards, being this Texans' number one wide receiver. But I also think Tank Dell is going to just build on what he did last season. You know, coming off the broken leg is a bit concerning at his size, but right before he went down to injury, 6 catches, 114 yards, and 2 touchdowns. 6 catches, 56 yards, and a touchdown. 8 catches, 150 yards, and a touchdown. 5 catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown. And he gets hurt the very next game, only plays like 13% of snaps. He was on his way, when you're talking about Nico and Tank Dell, to be one of the best up-and-coming wide receiver duos in the NFL. I love his ability to win down the field, but I also think he's an exceptional route runner that could win in the intermediate and the short route. Just being 165 is a bit concerning in terms of long-term outlook at the receiver position. The other name I have, though, and Riv actually mentioned this player, I think DK Metcalf's going to have a big year. I think Ryan Grubb coming over from Washington is going to have a big impact on just their play style and their overall aggressiveness. I think they're going to be a more pass-heavy team. Geno Smith has been one of the more underrated quarterbacks. 2 years ago has a big breakout year, 30-10. Last year, not as pleasing in terms of what his total numbers were, but as a quarterback, he was still more than capable to have a great offense. I think JSN could still eat. I think Tyler Lockett could still eat, but I do think that DK Metcalf can really take over and be the wide receiver one we were expecting. It wasn't like that long ago, right? 2-3 seasons ago when he's coming off his second year in the league and you're thinking about what receivers would you take going forward when he's 23 years old. DK Metcalf is at the top of the list. I think he's just been honestly so consistent, but it's just so consistently above average that we're not really taking him serious to be a potential wide receiver one. But he's still 25 years old. He has all the physical talent in the world to be one of the best receivers in the NFL. And then the last one I'll go with is going to be George Pickens. This is similar to an Isaiah Pacheco-like breakout because I just don't think there's competition there for George Pickens not to break out. There's not another receiver. Roman Wilson. Who else do they even have?
John put up the tweet.
Calvin Wilson, Calvin Austin, Pat Freiermuth. Like, there is just not enough wide receiver talent there that George Pickens doesn't break out and have 1,300 plus yards. He's a big play guy. He's someone that could get 150, 200 receiving yards any given week. He was one of my favorite receivers coming out of this draft as well. And I think last year, coming off a 1,100-yard season where he kind of had a mini breakout, but since it's with Pittsburgh and for a lot of the times the offense was really ugly, it kind of went under the rug. But he has the physical talent to be one of the better receivers in the league. And he's already physically one of the best, in terms of one-on-one, go up and get the ball. He's already one of the best in the league at that.
My wide receiver breakouts should be no surprise. One of them is going to be Jameson Williams. He's been working hard in camp, and the Detroit Lions staff has already given him that acknowledgement. It's already being reported that he's just working different right now. He's moving different. And I fully believe that this will finally be his opportunity. No more Josh Reynolds. We don't have to worry about him anymore now that he's actually on my Denver Broncos. But of course, he now has a specific role that he can thrive in. If they want to use him as a gadget guy, we kind of saw that in glimpses against the Niners, a little bit in that playoff run. The one thing that he just needs to get better at, allegedly, is tracking. But I think that he's fine as long as they continue to get him the ball down the field and just get him the ball to create. One of his great traits is being speedy, is being able to make people miss, just needs to get the ball into his hands. Understanding that Amon-Ra's area is obviously anything short, but in that intermediate range. If he can be that, again, let me not say Deebo Samuel because that's a very specific type of player because he has that size to him. But again, being that level of a gadget player, being that guy that's able to take the top off, where you already know in that intermediate, you have a Moran, you have Sam Laporta. That guy over the top that can win on these deep routes consistently can be Jameson Williams. Obviously, we know he has the speed to do it. This is going to be his last opportunity to show it, where can you solidify you being that number one, that first round pick. I think this is the year that he puts it all together. There's finally a for sure role for him. And the last player I'm going to have is going to be Brian Thomas out of the Jaguars. Drafted in the first round in the 20s by Jacksonville. Christian Kirk should be their wide receiver 1, but for everything they lost in Ridley, they should kind of gain that back with Brian Thomas. Has the elusiveness, has the speed, has the size, has the hands, has that type of athleticism to him. And Trevor Lawrence needs that, especially understanding that Brian Thomas is young. It's unfortunate that he's kind of being forced into a position where they need him to be successful. In Jacksonville, I find it very hard for him to fail. Understanding that with his skill set, with Trevor Lawrence, these two are going to be a great match, and we're going to see it very early and often. So those are going to be my 2 breakout guys.
I feel like with Jameson, the goal for the Lions offense should just be get this guy an explosive play a game. Yep. Get him an opportunity to get out in space, and let's create an explosive with his skill set. Over the back half of the season, I felt like more times than not, they were able to do that with him. Every game, there was a play that was specifically designed for him to just do what he does best, and he made some big-time plays to end the season.
He has a lot of strong athletic tools. It's just a matter of putting it all together and also being partnered with the opportunity. We saw that late in the season. He was able to score multiple touchdowns in their playoff run. But again, he just needs the ball in his hands. And Joel, I'm 100% with you. Get him. It's tough because his frame is so... It's not one that you feel comfortable with him being in the backfield and trying to run those kind of trick plays. Again, he's not small, but he's definitely not stocky. But the speed that he has, it just makes it hard to not want to see that kind of opportunity because he's so quick, he's so explosive in that regard.
Before we move on, I'll be remiss if I didn't mention Dontavian Wicks.
You have to.
I just think that with this offseason, anybody that is looking at wide receivers, talking about breakout picks, he's the common guy thrown in there. And it kind of makes me sad a little bit because people are coming to the party. You know, I wanted to invite people after it's already been set in stone that he's this type of guy. But everybody's noticing that really he popped off on screen with the Packers. The combination of size, route running, ability after the catch are just what makes him special. He was 4th in slot separation grade, 2nd in yak grade in the slot. He can get open at all 3 levels. I think what he's missing is that layer of big-time plays down the field. That's really like on 9 routes, but on posts and corners, he's really exceptional. So with Dontavian Wicks, I think a lot of his breakout campaign stats are going to come from an opportunity being taken away from somebody. I don't think it's going to be Jaden Reed. Romeo Doubs plays in a fine line to where he's not great enough to where you could build around him, but he's not bad enough to where he should be off the field. Mm-hmm. So he's kind of like that happy medium. He's just good enough that he got to be on the field. I think it's Christian Watson. I think Christian Watson is a specific type of player that has a role on the offense. That role is just creating an explosive or making like being a decoy in a play. But there were some interesting stats that when Christian Watson and Dontavian Wicks shared the field, more than any other 2 receiver combination, Christian Watson's targets dropped off a cliff. When Wicks is on the field and Watson is on the field together, Wicks is the main guy that gets most of those targets. So I think he's going to be unfortunately sacrificed within this offense, but I don't think there's going to be any Packer outside of maybe Jaden Reed that really plays a dominant share of snaps at their receiver position.
It's definitely hard to pick one outside of a Jaden Reed. I feel like I naturally gravitate to Christian Watson because of what I saw with him in his time with Aaron Rodgers. And, of course, this past season, he's finally starting to heat up and then has the hamstring that essentially keeps him out for the remainder or really, really hampered his season. But right as he really started to get hot, of course, getting the injury, I feel like naturally I see his athletic ability, his big play ability, and I find myself gravitating towards Christian Watson. But Romeo Doubs was so reliable for Jordan Love. You saw Dontavian Wicks towards that middle part to the end of the season really gain a connection with Jordan. So again, it's such a crapshoot that they're in a great position. It's a luxury to have 4 receiving options that you really trust. Last guy I actually want to mention is going to be Michael Wilson out of the Arizona Cardinals. Was a rookie last season, put up just over 500 yards. But you look at his reception perception. Shout out to Matt Harmon. It's nothing that pops off the charts. His dig route was poor. His comeback route was poor. Everything else was amazing. I really anticipate in this Arizona offense with Trey McBride, with Marvin Harrison now coming in. And of course, I'm glad none of us said Marvin Harrison. We all understand he's going to come in. There's a strong chance that we could be talking about Marvin Harrison in the top 10 conversation at the end of this season. Just has every wide receiver tool that you would want and is paired with Kyler Murray. But again, you have Trey McBride. You have Marvin Harrison now. Michael Wilson has so little attention put on him that he is not a slouch by any stretch of the imagination. And with Kyler Murray, he's just going to hit the wide open guy. We know that that's what Kyler can do. He's going to have himself a successful breakout season. I do firmly believe
One
that.
note just on Jaden Reed. He was not used in 2 or 1 wide receiver sets at all last season. He was only used in 3 wide receiver sets. The Packers do it a ton. You know, they're amongst the league leaders, but only 15 times throughout all of last year was Jaden Reed in 2 and 1 wide receiver set. So when Christian Watson is healthy and Dobbs and everyone's together, primarily Reed's going to be off the field.
That'd be good. You know, Watson, Wicks, I think is a really good combination because they bring the best of both worlds. Just Watson threatening the field vertically and Wicks just being able to win those one-on-ones. I'm really interested to see that. Do we all have Dalton Kincaid as a breakout tight end?
I do.
He was one of mine.
We definitely have.
He was one of mine.
Does anybody else have Brock Bowers?
I had a different rookie.
Really? Who?
Ben Sennett.
Interesting. Washington?
Commanders,
Facts.
yeah, Commanders rookie tight end. It's just the athleticism that jumps off the screen. If you're a second-round pick and you're athletic, you have a great chance to break out. We saw it with Sam Laporta last year. Dalton Kincaid was a first-round pick, but athletic. Athleticism is the number one trait when you look at all of these great tight ends in the NFL today, and he was one of the most athletic tight ends when it comes to the RRS scores, which is one of the most popular ones in terms of NFL scouting. He was a 9.76. This is due to 6'4", 250, ran a sub 4.7 40, 40-inch vertical. The athleticism jumps off the page. The only concern I have is Zach Ertz is there. Cliff Kingsbury's there. They have a connection with their days in Arizona. He's fighting a bit of a Jonathan Brooks battle where I think it's going to be the second half of the year because I don't think Washington's going to be a great team. I think they'll be competitive, but second half of the year, out of the playoff race, you want to see what these young players have. I think Ben Sennett could show something.
The only other guy I had was Greg Dulcich.
I want to say Greg Dulcich is my breakout, but again, you can't trust he's going to stay on the field. Anytime I have that hope and that belief that he's going to be ready to go, he's a talented player. He has a lot of the traits to be a strong to great tight end option in this league. He just can't stay on the field. But like we spoke about already, I don't know if it was before the show or right at the beginning of the show. He's having a great camp. He's having a great showing so far.
One day in.
You know what I mean? Like this offseason. But that's my fear. Can he stay on the field?
Yeah.
Brock Bowers, on the other hand, you know,
Michael Mayer, man.
he's cooked.
Yeah, he's done.
Michael Mayer is cooked.
Bowers can play more slot, but I think he's just a better prospect than Mayer was.
And with Devontae, with Jacoby, again, Brock is too good for you to forget about him. And early on, we could see Brock Bowers really incorporated into that offense and really starting to show a dynamic that, of course, Michael Mayer doesn't have to his game. Brock Bowers simply is just more athletic than he is, better hands, better route runner, faster, everything you want in a tight end, Brock Bowers is.
He led Georgia in receiving as a freshman.
No, he's one of
Pretty
the.
nuts.
He's a freak of nature.
He's one of the best tight end prospects ever.
He's really good.
He's going to be a dog.
NFL power rankings 32 to 25. I think we're all going to have the same variation of these teams.
I agree.
It's just a matter of where we rank them.
32 round table. Patriots.
I had New England.
I got the Commanders.
Okay. Not against
Patriots.
that. Okay. 31.
Broncos.
Denver.
Broncos.
Yes.
The Patriots.
Same thing.
Okay.
Broncos at 30.
They're high.
Okay. I was going to say, my 30 is Commanders.
I have the
Panthers.
Giants at 30.
30 is the Panthers.
I have the Panthers.
Okay. Interesting. 29.
I have the Commanders.
I have the Broncos.
I have the Saints.
Okay.
I think the Saints are going to be really bad this season.
They're in this range, 32 to 25 for me,
28
for
for me.
sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
my 28 is Carolina.
I also have Carolina 28.
I have the Saints. They're terrible.
Okay.
28 for me is Arizona.
This one hurts. 27, New York Football Giants.
27 also have
That
the
is
Giants.
super high. I have the Raiders at 27.
What's super high? The Giants?
Yeah.
Oh,
At
brother,
27,
it's
I
all
feel like
the-
that's
it's all
right
the
where they
same
should
thing,
be.
I'll be honest. The last
I have them
four.
at 30.
Who, the Giants? Oh, you had the Giants at 30. I didn't hear that. Okay, that's
I have
fine.
the Giants at
I
27.
had the Giants at 27.
Their defense is
27
going to
too.
be solid this season. It's just the
Giants?
offense is
Yeah,
always the question. That's why I couldn't put them any lower. Or, I felt like putting them at 30 is nuts. Let me see. Okay, I mean, it's not crazy. Panthers, the Commanders
I think
could
the
probably
Panthers
be
could be
better.
better than the Giants.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that either.
Not a hot take.
So 27, you said?
I have the Giants.
Okay, and you said?
It's the Giants.
Oh, okay, all right, we're on a similar track right now. Maybe this is a hot one. 26. This is where I have the Chargers.
Okay. I have the Cardinals at 26.
I think that's really low. I got the Raiders at 26.
We're here.
Yeah.
I have the Chargers at 26.
The Chargers were in consideration, but
They're so bad.
having Justin Herbert, I just feel like your floor
It's
is
not
good
fair.
enough.
I mean, it's not. But he was there last year. Did get hurt.
He was
Easton
hurt.
Stick played a lot.
Yeah.
But they still weren't
But
good with Herbert.
I think they got a massive coaching upgrade,
They did.
and
They-
they're improving the
yes.
offensive
But
line.
is it going to be immediate 1 year?
think the
Jim
Raiders are
Harbaugh
better
is just
than
like
It has been.
They
playoff
just have
team.
the quarterback.
The thing with the Chargers
And the
have
coach.
talent. The
I like
Chargers
Pierce.
are just always hurt, but they have talent.
Yeah.
Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, that's a
leaders.
great edge
Offense,
rushing
they don't
duo.
have no talent.
Offensive line, they'll be really good. I
Yeah.
think
You
Greg
ain't got nobody to throw
Roman.
the damn ball to.
You're right, but Greg Roman has never had a bad rushing offense. He's always been within the top 10, even with limited receiver personnel.
I wanted J.K. Dobbins in my breakout list so bad, man. But
I just trust.
You can't
He's
trust his
healthy.
health.
He's here.
I'm spoiler alert, but 25 is Arizona. I trust them more in the NFC than the Chargers in the AFC.
25th, I have the Saints.
I also have the Saints 25.
25. I have the Minnesota
guys are high.
Vikings.
So I think the only one that stood out was I had the Raiders at 27. Did anyone else have the Raiders in this
I
list?
think the
have-
Raiders are probably like 2 or 3 spots.
I'm just going to be quiet, but I'll just show you.
I don't know what I'm reading.
Yeah, he can't
there's like
fucking
15
see.
numbers here.
Okay,
Okay.
This guy's an idiot.
I had the Raiders
Not really.
26.
Why
They
were
made
there
it.
numbers on the left and the right?
Because when I
I'm not bugging Rib. I saw at first Raiders were number 9. I was like,
when I
this can't
did
be
when I
right.
did my indent, it automatically gave them the
I
numbers
hear
that
you, I
way,
hear
so
you.
I had
That's
to.
aggravating as shit.
What are you going to do?
The
But
Raiders wouldn't be. They'd be like probably 2 or 3
so
spots.
just so we can go one by one, so we can all hear ours and maybe talk about them. I have Patriots 32, Broncos 31, Commanders 30, Saints 29, Panthers 28, Giants 27, Chargers 26, Minnesota 25.
I have the Patriots 32, Denver 31, Panthers 30, Commanders 29. Start over. I have the Patriots 32, Denver 31, Panthers 30, Washington 29, Saints 28, Giants 27, Chargers 26, Arizona 25.
I have the Commanders 32, Patriots 31, Panthers at 30, 29 the Broncos, 28 the Cardinals, 27 the Giants, 26 the Saints, and 25 the Raiders.
Okay. I have the Pats 32, Broncos 31, Giants 30, Commanders 29, Panthers 28, Raiders 27, Cardinals 26, and Saints 25.
Did you say the Cards?
I did say the Cardinals.
What number?
They are 28.
28. Are they
think-
that bad?
For most
It can be.
Yes.
for most of this list, outside of, to me, the Cardinals and the Commanders, I just see really low ceilings for offenses. Even the Commanders, the ceiling can be low, but it's just, what if Jaden Daniels breaks out? And part of me looks at Cliff Kingsbury with his rookie year with Kyler Murray, and it gives me some hope. But I also think Kyler Murray is just Kyler Murray, and a lot of the times he's just in the backfield making shit happen. And Jaden Daniels has the type of elusiveness and athleticism to make that happen, but it's really difficult when you compare him to the rookie year Kyler had. That's what it has to be to have a stable
I think
offense.
the Giants. I have them so high because I just think they have the best defense at all these teams we named. Like I
That's
think
fair.
they'll have a. I think they'll have a. If you watch them play, you'll think top 10 defense. But because their offense is gonna be, bad, they're gonna kind of be like the Jets. Where you got your offense is so bad, your
How do
defense
we know
is on
that?
the field. Maybe it's not. The
personnel
Malik
isn't
Neighbors is like
encouraging.
that.
He is, but we'll see from Daniel Jones
Yeah,
and
Daniel
Jets
everybody
have
else.
Garrett.
Let's
Didn't
be
matter.
serious.
Yeah, we'll see. But I think their defense is really gonna play gonna keep them in
That's
a
a
lot
good
of
point.
games.
That's a good point.
What do you think Daniel Jones is?
You saw that
It's
pass
what we
today.
think Malik Neighbors is.
It was a fucking check down that he missed. Who cares?
There are very few teams in this power ranking starting off that I feel strongly about. Just in terms of like either bad or good.
I'm surprised the Panthers were 30th for you just because we've had so many conversations about them this offseason.
And that's the one I want to talk about. The Commanders, we know, void of talent. Patriots, void of talent. The Panthers, if you look at them through rose-colored glasses, which I did, you could find a lot of good things about them and maybe buy into them. Here's why, after initially drinking the Panthers juice, I'm out on the Panthers. It really ties in to number one. I think Dave Canales, as a personality, whenever I've watched his interviews, he's spoken really well. And his personality is great, but I have to remove that from the football stuff. And as an offensive coordinator, I thought he was underwhelming. I know he gets credited for turning around Baker and turning around Geno Smith, but Geno Smith was nice. He was going to turn around with or without Dave Canales.
Okay.
Shane Waldron was a really good OC.
That's okay.
Baker too.
Okay.
But Shane Waldron was the OC.
Baker would have done that too.
Baker, here's the thing about Baker.
Okay.
Last year,
Baker guy.
the Buccaneers offense on early downs, first and second down, they were terrible. They could not get efficient plays. Where they really excelled, and Baker specifically, was on third down. The money down, Baker Mayfield just made a ton of throws. I'm talking about he was 25th or worse in early downs. On third down, he was 10th in EPA. So this guy just really was otherworldly on third down, and I think that's going to drop for him this season. But I think it showed that Dave Canales doesn't have an actual efficient down-to-down offense. He relied a lot on Baker to get them out of bad third down situations. And he's somebody who his philosophy is to really run the football. He said that the way he's going to fix the Buccaneers rushing attack from 2022 to 2023 was to just run the ball more. Now, Rachaad White did have a good season, so you're like, oh, they had a decent running game. They were 32nd in yards per carry this past season. They were 32nd in 2022 as well. They just ran the ball at a stubborn rate. And I think Canales is probably not going to be able to get away with that in Carolina with worse backs and a worse offensive line. So that makes me believe, okay, you're going to put Bryce Young in those third down situations. And that's a hard life to live for a quarterback. So to me, Dave Canales, the process about how he went about things with the Bucs was flawed. Their offense wasn't even efficient. They were just able to scrape by. And like I mentioned, he was 32nd in yards per carry. They ran runs at the second highest rate on first downs. So this guy's coaching, I just think it's not a way to get sustainable results. And then my second point for the Panthers is that last year I told you I'm not high on Bryce Young. And I think Bryce Young, the numbers prove that he's more in line with some all-time quarterback busts and just some bad quarterback play.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence was after year one as well.
You look at, but Bryce Young is not Trevor Lawrence.
I don't disagree.
That's just the most unfair thing to say, though.
We
know they're different, but we cannot remove the fact Trevor Lawrence was piss water his rookie
Bryce's situation
season.
was also very, very bad.
It was as bad as Trevor's was.
Here's the thing.
Somehow Bryce's was worse.
Bryce Young had a bad situation, there's no doubt. There are some stable quarterback metrics that you can transfer from situation to situation. Your accuracy, despite the situation, it will remain somewhat the same everywhere. When he was kept clean in the pocket, he was 44th in accuracy amongst 45 quarterbacks, 41st in EPA for attempt, 39th in success rate. When he had a clean pocket, he just didn't play well. And I know situation goes into it, receivers not getting open. I understand that. But this is where the alarming stuff comes.
Fucking DJ Chark, Jonathan Mingo.
Going back to 2000, when you look at all the rookie quarterbacks with 100 attempts from a clean pocket out of 17 rookie quarterbacks, Bryce Young ranked last in EPA per attempt and yards per attempt and was 15th in accuracy. A lot of these rookie quarterbacks don't come into good situations either, and Bryce Young was one of the worst.
15th in accuracy, you said?
Out of 17 quarterbacks. Here's where the sample size gets bigger. If you go back to 2000, there are 50 rookie quarterbacks with at least 300 total attempts. Of the 50, Bryce Young ranks 49th in EPA per attempt, 46th in success rate, and 44th in yards per attempt. The quarterbacks that have ranked worse than 40 or worse in all three metrics, Zach Wilson, Josh Rosen, Deshaun Kaiser, Blake Bortles,
is
Blaine
not a good list to be a
Gabbert,
part
Kyle Orton, Bruce Gradkowski, and David Carr. If you're telling me Bryce Young is going to be the outlier in all of these guys, I'm saying you're shooting for the stars.
Blake Bortles went to the AFC Championship.
These guys suck. He can't be better than these guys.
So I will say I think he could be better.
These
The
guys are
situation
bad.
was bad.
Situation was I really can't
But
think
all
of a
these
worse
rookie
one.
quarterback situations were bad
Like
too.
Deshaun Kaiser.
I don't know if all of
Josh
them.
Rosen's situation was bad. Zach Wilson's situation as rookie was bad. Blake Bortles' situation as rookie was bad. Blaine Gabbert's situation as rookie was bad.
They're all bad.
David Carr's situation was arguably the worst. I understand situation goes into it.
Jonathan Mingo, DJ Chark, a 33-year-old Adam Thielen.
But all these situations are bad. I think that's
offensive
the
line was
point.
shitty.
If you're telling me Bryce Young is the exception to the rule, more power to him. But I'm saying it's a long ladder to climb for a guy that doesn't have the innate physical traits of a true star quarterback. I think it's going to be tough.
So
and
Trevor,
all data
for as
points,
bad as he was, is nowhere near on this
no,
list.
he's not here.
That's interesting.
He's not. No, he's not.
And
here.
he was terrible.
Yeah, but Bryce Young was terrible bowler. He was
Worse.
so much more
Yeah,
worse.
just say worse.
Trevor Lawrence, there was flashes of his high level play. There was, and within the tape, there was a lot with Bryce Young.
Yeah,
Bryce
you
had
gotta
some
really.
throws.
He has some moments, but you got to really look for them. I think all data
Like
points,
watch a full game of the
Yes.
Panthers type shit.
all arrows just point to Bryce Young not being that good of an NFL quarterback. And I think not so much when you point at his individual skill, but when you point at the reality of the Panthers and trading that much to go get him and selecting the wrong quarterback, it can go down as one of the biggest trade/busts in NFL history with that combination because the Bears built their entire team off that trade.
I think Bryce needs kind of a Tua type bump where I think Bryce lost a lot of confidence last year too. When you're the number one overall pick, you're winning at Alabama constantly. Now you go into this team and you're just basically dog shit the entire season, you personally and the team. I think some confidence was lost. So it is difficult to see the number one overall pick type of ceiling from him. But I do think if you have a coach that believes in him, if you have an offense that can create separation, he can sit in the pocket and he can deliver timely throws. And I also think he could be more mobile than a guy like Tua, for example, since we were using that comparison before. But when you compare him to CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson and you see how they're built and you see how they move and you see how the ball comes out of their hands, it does look like two different quarterbacks for sure.
That's the only team I really feel strongly about within the top 32. Arizona, I just found an interesting stat with them and Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray within 10 yards, he ranks 4th in EPA. And beyond 10 yards, he ranks 44th in EPA per
I'm
attempt.
not surprised. Every receiver they have is 5'9".
Yeah, like his throwing down the field, 2022 and 2023 combined, has been really terrible. He's been one of the worst quarterbacks.
I'm
What about
excited to see what it looks like
2021
this
when
year.
he actually had a receiver that
This year with
consistently
Marvin,
won?
with Trey McBride going into kind of his second full year and having Michael Wilson, a bigger body, I think those numbers.
Because I remember
I'm
his
excited
completion
by Arizona,
percentage
man.
down the field at a point in 2021 was like 70-something%.
I think Kyler Murray has massively regressed. There's no way around it. I think you can attribute some of that to the receiver stuff. And this year we'll see it because they have better talent.
They have a weapons room for
So
sure.
if these
Last
numbers,
year he was bad to you?
throwing down the field, yeah. I mean, Kyler Murray as a rusher was great. As a
he was coming back
quarterback,
from injury.
he wasn't that good. He was mediocre coming back.
yeah, he has real weapons now.
So I think we'll see with the real weapons if that will get a bump. It should, but his accuracy ranked 25th out of 44 quarterbacks.
Sorry, man. Stay on that side.
Kyler Murray, listen, I think they're a fun offense that's going to be held back by their defense. And their
It's gonna
schedule,
be a fun team.
Hopefully Gannon figures some shit out this year.
They were dog shit last year.
That's another team that could sneakily. Whoa, what the fuck, Cardinals? They're nice.
Yeah,
and
that's
here-
why I had them high on the bad teams list because just the upside when you have Kyler is there.
here's how their schedule is, though. Cardinals record prediction, week 1 at the Bills.
It's an L.
So no.
Week 2 versus the Rams. They're playing
a loss.
the Rams at home.
They're home?
They're home, yes.
It really doesn't matter, truthfully.
0-2.
Ooh, that's winnable, though.
In a way.
It's
In a
winnable,
way.
but early in the season, you tell me the Rams are going to be healthy.
That's true. All right.
First game, second game, no Donald.
I'll give
No Aaron
this to
Donald.
one. True. I'm going to say 1-1.
changer.
Versus the Lions.
Lost.
1-2.
Versus the Commanders.
It's a winnable game.
2-2.
Yep.
At the 49ers.
2-3.
At the Packers.
2-4.
Versus the Chargers.
Winnable game.
3-4.
At the Dolphins.
3-5.
Versus the Bears.
Winnable game, but I would take
That is
the
a
Bears.
Winnable.
I think
Let's come back to it.
I think Chicago might be better.
They
I
should
think they're
be.
better.
They should be. But who's home?
Arizona's home, but they don't
If
got a home
Chicago,
field
if
advantage.
Chicago
You're
was
right.
home, it'd be different. But they do have a road field disadvantage going from a dome to potentially Chicago outdoors. You know, Chicago.
Versus the Jets
Loss.
Jets should win.
Oh god.
Should win.
at the Seahawks.
Cardinals can win that.
They can split.
At Seattle, though,
At
I think
Seattle?
split
Seattle, they lose. They probably win
Seattle is
Arizona.
not that same home field that it once was.
still.
People
At-
come in there and win now.
At the Vikings.
That's
It's a winnable
that could be a
game. It
win.
depends on how Darnold looks at that.
It's definitely a
that
toss-up, though.
That could be
depends.
McCarthy playing. To be fair, we're like 9 weeks in. What's our record?
Joel, you
You
were
guys
keeping
all
track.
had different ones.
This guy was saying
No, we
3
all had
and 4.
different one. That's
4
why I
and
stopped
4.
keeping
You were
Okay.
keeping count, so I thought we were
But then
going
he
with
said
your
2 and 4, and then I was like, all right, Joel
I'll be
got
honest,
it
I haven't
now.
said 2 and I never said 2 and 4.
Okay,
Are
so
you- after the Packers game, calm down.
I think I stopped at
So at
1
the
and
Packers
0 and
game,
2,
I
and you
stopped
said
when we
1
all
and 2.
said no and somebody said yeah. And it
Me
was
too.
Like,
Yep.
It was the Bears game.
I
What-
stopped after week 3. I'll be honest.
Is the Bears game week 7? If the Bears game is week 7, we're fine.
it's week 8
Eight?
or 9.
we're fine.
What do you mean 8?
It's
Start it
depending on-
over.
This
Here
is not
we
the bye
go.
week. Yeah, so who's
Just
gonna
go to
keep-
the Packers 2 and
who's
4.
gonna- who-
After the Packers, we're 2 and 4.
versus the Chargers
Okay, yes, 3 and 4,
at the Dolphins
3 and 5.
3 and 5.
versus the Bears.
What do you guys think?
3 and 6.
Give him the L.
Yeah, 3 and 6.
That's a winnable game.
I agree.
I'm feeling 4 and 5,
I give them the win at home.
Okay, I'll vote.
Versus the Jets
4 and 6.
at the Seahawks.
4 and 7.
I'm feeling,
I think they split.
They're not a
Okay.
better team than Seattle.
I don't think so either.
but they can win. Seattle's
But on the
win
road,
in
they
Arizona.
face them again. You can
again
pick
the
the home
road.
game.
Okay, fair enough. So what is this now?
4 and 7.
4 and 7. Okay,
At the Vikings
5 and 7.
This was the one I was going to do.
Yeah, I like that.
versus the Seahawks
That's
6
a win.
and 7.
versus the Patriots
That's a win.
7 and 7.
We're getting places. Let's,
at the Panthers
8 and 7.
at the Rams.
We gave them the L early in the season.
This is tough though. Fuck.
this
we
is
think
probably
AZ
the make or
goes
break
9 and
game
7?
if they could get into the playoffs, kind of wild card type of deal.
they have to be really fucking good at this point.
The thing with the Cardinals is the beginning to their schedule is gruesome.
Yeah.
They're going to start off bad. My reservation with them is that the back end we can tell is much easier, but it's also where historically Kyler Murray is hurt. He's had a nagging injury every year
Fingers
at the
crossed.
second half of the season. So if you're going into these games, they look like they're winnable games, but if Kyler Murray's not 100% or he's not playing, it could sway their season entirely.
I mean, obviously, without Kyler Murray, this team goes nowhere. We don't care about the Cardinals without Kyler Murray.
I think I said the Rams sweep them.
I agree, honestly. And honestly, 9 and 7. That's
Little rich.
crazy.
You were
But
being
in a
generous.
great way.
You were being generous.
I only gave them the win versus the Bears.
They
That
lose
was-
against the Bears.
That
They're
was
not
my,
against the Bears.
but that was my only generous win.
Chargers win.
They
I
can lose
think
to
that's
the
a
Vi-
toss.
They can lose to the
give a
Vikings.
fuck about
I'll be
the
honest. There's no
Chargers.
game where they are the clear favorite.
Yeah, facts.
Arizona
I
Cardinals.
think
They're
Panthers.
they're going to have
At the Panthers,
probably the
I
worst
don't know.
defense in the
There we
NFL.
go. I mean, that's a
That wouldn't
dome.
I don't know.
No, it's not.
Carolina's on a dome?
Outside.
Oof. God
Like
bless.
pretty easily, Arizona has the worst front seven in the league to me. There's no talent on that front seven.
I don't see a world where this defense is even average. It'd be difficult.
fact.
Even against an offense like the Chargers are gonna light it up against them.
Yeah.
Like, so you know,
Did
I
Philly
just don't
light it
trust
up
them.
against Arizona last year?
Offensively, we had a good game.
Yeah, it was like
Defensively, we let up
28,
everything.
24
Facts.
something. God, that was such a bad
like
game.
30
James Conner put up like
K1
200
was
on
a
y'all.
different
Arizona
vibe.
was 32nd in EPA, so they were the worst defense last year. That's why I think their offense will be fun, but their defense, they're not gonna get any stops to end games.
I'm with you. So right now we're at 8 and 8.
So then
God willing.
last game
Last
against
game.
the 49ers.
8-9.
Yeah, 8-9.
Well, Niners can sit their players. That could be a first
could.
round
They still
bye
might win.
type deal. There's no Sam Darnold to back up. Who's the backup now for?
But 8 wins seems
Why
fair.
the fuck would I care who's the backup?
Who's the Niners backup now?
I don't care about the starter.
I don't even know.
Because if he sits, I won't watch.
I don't even know who's their backup. Let me check. It's Joshua Dobbs.
Okay.
You're sitting, or you're still gonna watch them play?
He's
I'll
got
watch
to.
Joshua
He's got to play 2 games. It's not the end of the world.
Nah, and Joshua Dobbs is
Anything
cool.
more
really
than that?
not.
It's like 5. It's like we're pushing like badly.
Yeah,
Rock
outside
doesn't
of-
get hurt though.
Outside of Arizona and Carolina, I don't feel strongly about any team. Arizona, I have them finishing with the record of 6-11 because I think the beginning to their schedule is really tough, but the second half portion it lightens up. But historically, Kyler Murray's not healthy during that portion, and I got to take that into account.
I don't disagree. That's fair.
Are there any teams that you guys feel passionate about?
Any thoughts about the New York Giants?
I don't. I told you they're not my Giants anymore.
Oh,
They're mine.
oh.
I moved off from them. I no longer.
But
I
Daniel
locked in.
Jones.
In terms of agendas, I'm done with the New York Football Giants.
This is my agenda.
Damn.
I just only
bro.
wish the best for Daniel Jones. That's all I can say. And Malik Neighbors, of course, we're here. And lastly, Andrew Thomas, because that's my brother in Christ, till death do us part.
It's my new agenda. We're
Giants,
building something.
Who are you rocking with over there? Like who's
Burns, Malik,
Jalen Hyatt,
Hyatt.
Yep.
It's my new agenda. They're
like
building
that.
something.
Wandell.
I like Wandale.
I like
They're
Wandale,
building
too.
something special there.
I like that.
Out of all the teams in this bottom 8 right here, what is the team that has the biggest chance to be the Texans of this year?
It would be probably the Commanders for me. We talked about this earlier, but Jaden Daniels has the potential to be a top quarterback. I mean, he has the physical traits. He has the athleticism. Cliff Kingsbury, I'm not in love with, but I don't think it would be a disaster to have him be the OC for this rookie season. And then Dan Quinn, I think he just got something to prove. This is his second time being a head coach in the NFL. The defense for the Commanders last year was just terrible. The only way they can go is up. Did lose some players in free agency, of course, traded Chase Young last year as well. But Jaden Daniels with those weapons, Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, maybe there's still some world. His perception numbers aren't terrible. I talked about Ben Sennett already. So there's something there where they can be the Texans, but of course, it's a really high bar to go from the worst team in the division to
Who's
the
going to
best.
say the Broncos?
Yeah.
I won't, but I'll try my best to make an argument
No,
for
please
it.
don't. Please
Let's say Bo Nix comes in and carries over the trait of being the most accurate quarterback that we've seen in college football history. We also pair that with the fact that our offensive line is actually really good. Sean Payton wants a quarterback that can sit and win in the pocket. That is Bo Nix. Now, our questions become our skill position players. Cortland Sutton, he's been having an issue because he wants his money, but he says that he will be there. We have Josh Reynolds, Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin. Hopefully Greg Dulcich can be healthy. Jalen McLaughlin. It's not great, but again, if Bo Nix can come in and just be the quarterback that Sean Payton wants him to be this year's Texans. Honestly, I don't see that happening for a couple more years. That's been one of the crazier journeys that we've seen an NFL team go through overnight. But it also comes with the fact that you have a top 10 to potentially top 5 quarterback like CJ Stroud is. Bo Nix, I doubt that will probably be a possibility, but I think that he can play well this season. Being this year's Texans, I don't know if there's any team that can do that, but hopefully my Broncos could do that.
You're just shooting at the dark there with just picking any team to be the Texans, because really all these teams are pretty ass. But I thought the Texans were pretty ass last year too. The Broncos are an all right pick. I think Bo Nix would be fine.
I think so too.
And I think they have some young talent. It's just a rebuild year for them, though. Yeah. Just trying to see who's going to stick around long term. One thing with Bo Nix, and I think he has one of the highest floors of the quarterbacks drafted.
You love Bo Nix.
I do like Bo Nix a lot.
No, you love him.
It's all right to say you love him.
28% of his third and long pass attempts went beyond the sticks, which is a pretty terrible number.
Say it again.
On third down situations, 28% of those passes Bo Nix threw at the first down marker or beyond.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was the whole offense, though, was a lot of underneath stuff, a lot of screen game. He was, highest completion percentage in college history, but it wasn't like they were taking a bunch of deep shots.
That's why I think he'll be fine within the structure, but the area of growth you want to see from him is he going to be aggressive? If we need a third down pass completion to the sticks to first down, is he going to be able to pull that trigger? I think that's just the biggest reservation with him right now. But in terms of just processing and running an offense, he does that.
Sean Payton says this is his guy. Who am I not to go into war with Sean Payton?
Pick. And Mike McCarthy said Trey Lance was his guy.
And
he's actually never said
a fourth
that.
for him.
You never know.
That's not nothing.
I think for me, the team would be the Giants. I am definitely sipping the Giants juice. I think they're going to have one of the best front sevens in the NFC. I think getting Brian Burns was dope to pair him with Dexter Lawrence and Kayvon. I do think they have they did lose Xavier, but I think they have a nice young core in their secondary. I do think they have some nice young talent. And offensively, it may not be great. It may not look pretty at times, but I think Daniel Jones, when you have Malik Neighbors, you have Wandale, you have Jalen Hyatt, you have something. It's not everything, but I think it's better than what Bryce had his rookie year. I do think the talent is there to a degree. And if Daniel Jones is just average and can keep them, could just not turn the ball over, I think this Giants team can win some games.
Riv? Fuck it.
We're back.
Just because I want an agenda with you.
We're
We're fucking back. We already have one with the Cardinals, but it's
We have
just so
Chicago together.
we have so many actually.
We're locked in this year.
We are locked in. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe
We're
that's a
locked-
bad
we're
thing.
locked in this year,
We'll
man.
find out. But you know what? Let's fucking go down with the ship. I hope the best for New York.
The only team I see, and it's really hard to pick between these teams. I'm just gonna go with the Saints, just because of the weaker division.
They're ass.
They are bad,
So terrible.
They're ass.
but they made one change. Last year, they were terrible to begin a year. In the red zone, they got better because they started using Taysom Hill more, and I feel like that's what they'll do going into this year. They replaced Pete Carmichael, their offensive coordinator, with Clint Kubiak, who's kind of going around teams, but he had this 1 year in Minnesota as an OC, and it was arguably Kirk Cousins' best year in Minnesota from a statistic perspective.
2022.
Let me check if that's accurate. I don't think it might have been 2022.
I only say it because 2022 to
33
me-
and 7.
Yeah.
Let me see.
He was like that.
2022, it was Wes Phillips, and 2021 it was Clint Kubiak. So the year that Kirk had 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. So it was 2021.
Got it.
That's when Kirk had his best year, and I feel like Kirk, similar to like Derek Carr, is just an easy buttons quarterback. If you give Carr the easy buttons in an offense, he will play at a really high level.
Don't disrespect Kirk like that, please.
Kirk is better than Derek Carr.
Clears
but
him.
Kirk still falls in line with, you don't want to make things too tough on him. You got to play within a certain structure. And I think if you can get a better year from Carr, like just more consistency, then maybe it can happen because their defense is still filled with veterans and they have a great secondary. So maybe, it can happen and they can sneak up and just win the division.
No, Kirk and the Vikings were playing some of their best ball without Jettis. And he was at the forefront of why they were winning so many football games.
Yeah, I think Kirk is really good.
Slinging that shit.
I only say that with the idea, like, you didn't really need to simplify things for him. He knows how to handle and read defenses.
I mean, he does, but he's still not those top end guys. Like for most, like you have to simply.
Like people think that Jared Goff's a high end guy. Not saying you, and I know I like to say forget about the outside. People like to think Jared Goff's this high end guy. I think Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback than he is.
Jared Goff is an easy buttons quarterback too. I think Kirk Cousins
Like far more than Kirk, in my opinion.
I know. I think
Okay.
Kirk is a little better than Jared Goff, but I think he's still an easy buttons quarterback. Not that that's his entire game. He can do more.
Solely for the fact that he's not a scrambler, or is that what you mean?
It's not for that. It's just we've seen his back against the wall. He doesn't perform that well. And when defenses get better, when they get tighter, he
Like
had
when?
a really good. I mean, the playoffs, every
But against the
primetime
Giants,
game,
he was
there's
amazing. He's
that's
kind of
the
cut
one-
that narrative with the Vikings, though.
The Giants had a terrible defense before the year before, or the years when he made the playoffs. He beat the Saints on the road, but then the 49ers, they plastered him. It's a reason why Kirk has bad records on prime time. Whenever he's been on prime time, when it's a big game, he doesn't really
This
show
past
up
season,
that
though,
consistently.
didn't he beat the Niners on prime time, or
Well, this past season they were 4-4 when he got hurt, so they weren't that good. They started off 1-3, and every game they were behind, and it's because he couldn't move the sticks. I'm just saying.
and then
Kirk,
the year before that they won 13 games.
Kirk is a good quarterback, but the high end of his season, he will only ever be ranked as maybe the 10th best, 11th best guy. Derek Carr is completely capable of that season and has done that before. And nowhere are you ever pushing Kirk Cousins into one of the top echelons. And for those guys in that tier, you do have to make it easy. Tua is an easy buttons quarterback. So you think Tua's better than Kirk Cousins, or you think Kirk's better than Tua?
I have Tua better. I don't think easy
Okay.
buttons I would automatically associate that with
You know,
Tua, though.
you think Tua's not an easy buttons quarterback?
I mean, Tua has to make quick reads all the time.
I think there's some easy buttons worked in. But I
Again,
also
does
think
that
there's
also
some
go hand in
non-easy
hand
buttons
with
worked in.
not being mobile? So
to an extent, but Matt Stafford's not mobile. He's not easy button quarterback.
fair enough.
Zach, Joe Burrow, he's a playmaker. He could
He gets outside
do
the pocket.
some things,
That's
but
like
he's
the main,
not a real
Peyton Manning
mobile
wasn't
quarterback.
mobile.
That's true.
I mean, in this modern day NFL, most of those guys that can't create are easy button guys.
But I don't know. I've seen Kirk throw some fucking insane throws.
I mean, you could throw insane throws. I mean, he's a starting quarterback in the NFL, for God's sakes. It doesn't mean he's not an easy buttons quarterback.
No, but before he went
Because
down
Tua
to
is an
injury, he was
easy
leading
buttons
the league in
quarterback, 'cause
yards.
We see Tua in every big time game does not perform. It's only when he's facing
Against
the
the
worst
Cowboys.
defenses in the NFL. When he's facing the worst
That
defense in the
damn
NFL,
Cowboys game, man.
that's when he actually shows that he's an MVP guy.
Against
You
your
fall for
Super
it
Bowl
every year.
champion, Dallas Cowboys, He came back on the road and had a game-winning drive.
The Cowboys against teams over 500 wet the bed all year long. They should have lost to Seattle in primetime. They should have. I mean, they were not good. Their defense was not good against any good offense last year.
Should have slept on it, man.
I mean, I should have, but I mean, still, I think Derek Carr falls in line with that. And
I agree.
Clint Kubiak comes from the Shanahan system and tree.
does.
So if he makes things easy for Derek Carr, which means play action is a easy buttons quarterback type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk Cousins uses a lot of play action. Yes, you simplify the game for your quarterbacks, and some quarterbacks need that simplification. Some others don't.
I've lost all faith in Derek Carr. Last year was really ugly. OC change is big. Just getting new ideas in there, because the Saints, they're just always hiring internally. Dennis Allen was the DC, becomes the head coach, but I don't know. I think you have a quarterback problem. I think the weapons there are below average. Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and Alvin Kamara.
They're good. Rashid Shaheed and Olave are really
Below
good. That's not below average.
I think
That's not
fucking
below
bad
average.
statement.
That's crazy.
That's a bad statement.
Olave and Shaheed are not
that's
below
like an
average.
objectively bad
that
statement.
wide receiver
Joel.
core, where does that rank?
Olave is still one of the
That's crazy.
top
Olave
20
and
wide
Rashid Shaheed,
receivers.
is that top 15?
I'm not gonna lie. Olave
Top
and Rashid
15 might be a
Shaheed
little
might
crazy.
push top 15. They could push top 15.
Olave is great though.
In the league or in the NFC?
Like
No, in the
Drake
league.
London and Darnell Mooney, Olave and Rashid Shaheed.
It's
One's
close.
cheating, one's
wouldn't be
harassment,
top
one's
15
flirting.
Let's go through it. Let's go through it. The Dolphins,
Clear.
Yeah.
the Bills,
No.
No.
Give me the Saints.
the Jets, Garrett and Mike Will,
They give me
I
the
would take
Jets.
the Jets.
It's because Garrett Wilson's a dog.
the Patriots.
Mike Williams is better
Yeah.
than Rashid Shaheed.
Saints.
But you can't count on Mike. But agreed. Healthy agreed.
Who'd you say?
I said the Patriots next.
Yeah, it's
we
not
got
even a
two: the
question.
Jets and the Dolphins.
Yes, Saints.
The Chiefs,
No.
Chiefs now.
the Raiders.
I think Chiefs now got it.
I'm not gonna lie. The Chiefs. You're telling me I get Kelsey?
No, you're not.
No,
getting
no,
Kelsey.
wide receiver.
Oh,
Dehls.
okay,
you get,
okay,
you
my
get
bad, my bad.
Hollywood.
No,
you get
that's
Rashid
not Olave.
Shaheed.
That's not a whole lot.
You get
Rasheed
Xavier
Rice,
Worthy.
excuse me. Not
That's not
Rasheed.
Olave.
Rasheed Rice is
Nice. I love Rashid.
and
Olave.
Hollywood Brown.
I'm not gonna lie.
Olave.
I'll take those three weapons over the two.
But we
and
just
New
rank. We
Orleans.
thought we
doing
did
the
two.
duos. We doing the duos. That's
Duo?
what we
Okay,
doing.
okay. My apologies.
no,
Duos,
Hollywood
Rashid
Brown and
Shaheed
Rasheed
and
Rice.
Hollywood.
No,
Olave
Rasheed
is
Rice.
different.
Rasheed Rice or
What'd I say?
you said Rasheed Shaheed like I did also.
Oh.
So Rashid Shaheed and Olave
Rice and
versus Rice
Hollywood.
and Hollywood.
I would
I'm
take
going
Olave.
with Hollywood and Rice.
I'm
Wow, I'm going-
taking Olave.
I'm taking Olave and Shaheed.
Like
as
Shaheed
well.
is fine, but I'm taking Olave. That's the real kicker here.
The Raiders,
Raiders.
Raiders.
Easy.
You take Tay.
It's not even a question.
the Broncos,
No.
No, we go with the Saints.
the Chargers,
No.
We're going with the Saints.
the Ravens,
No.
No. Not yet.
Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman, essentially.
No.
Give me the Saints.
The Browns,
Yes.
Amari Cooper and
Oh.
Jerry Judy.
Give me the Saints.
Jerry Judy's ass.
I think I lean. It's
He's just
close.
a guy?
I would probably.
it's
I
just
just
like,
lean the
I lean the
Browns.
Saints.
Is
slightly.
Amari carrying that much? Is he that significantly
better than-
better?
I don't know if he's
Olave?
carrying that much. I
No,
think
he's
Olave
better,
and him
he's
are
better than
similar.
Chris right now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He is.
Rashid Shaheed has just up to this point in his career has just been a big play down the field receiver.
Jerry Jeudy
Maybe he
just-
could turn into something more, but anything beyond that, you're projecting.
Shaheed was really good last
He
year.
was.
really
I
good
know
last
he
year.
was.
Okay, so the four that we have definitive.
But then
are,
you said, wait, I'm sorry. You said underwhelming weapons, but then proceeded to name Chris Olave and Alvin Kamara.
I mean, I think Kamara, in terms of if you compare him to other running backs, is like an average running back.
Still a top
think he's
13
overrated.
running back.
He's overrated.
Solely because he's
He's
not
like-
a great
yes, he's
rusher?
like
Is that
15.
why?
well, that's the biggest. That's
I
your
just
running back.
He's not
But
a
he
great
also
rusher.
is one of the best.
Yes, but he's not that explosive. He's not making a ton of guys miss. Like
We're
he's
taking-
getting a lot of catches and yards, but
That's a
he's
50-50. We can throw that into the
like I
50.
think he's like the 15th, 16th best running back.
yeah,
Josh Jacobs is
Kamara.
better than him.
Toss up,
Joe Mixon's better than him.
toss up. Like all of the like none of these guys really move the needle.
Just
for me,
do
though.
finish the receivers.
So far, the first surefire ones are the Dolphins, are the Jets, are the Raiders, and I think
I like the Chiefs more personally.
you guys said the Chiefs.
No, I only said the Chiefs,
okay.
it seems.
Didn't you say the
said-
Chiefs too? You
It's
said
a
the Hollywood and
toss-up.
Chiefs.
I would go there just
Okay.
for agenda purpose. Fuck it.
So the Raiders, Dolphins, Jets.
Philly.
Did you say the
them.
Browns or no? You didn't
I
say the
took the
Browns.
Saints, honestly.
That's fine. I think it's close.
Okay, so really the four. We'll just add the Chiefs in there. Okay,
You say the Bengals,
the Bengals are next.
for sure.
Eagles,
Bengals.
Adam.
Oh, I'll get there.
division by division.
The Texans,
We're going to get
Easily.
15 so fast.
the Jaguars,
No. Oh, wait.
No.
No.
Give me the Saints.
the Colts.
Give me the Saints.
Pittman and Downs
I'm
is
not
really
going,
good.
Pittman and AD Mitchell. I think
We don't have
Pittman,
to see on
Pittman and
AD.
Olave are really close. I like A.D. Mitchell's long-term upside over Rashid Shaheed.
I'm gonna need to see him play a snap before.
That's fair.
I like Josh over Rashid Shaheed.
Downs.
Yeah, call me crazy.
I want
That's
to be
not
mad.
insane.
I think Colts is a toss-up.
That is a toss-up. I can hear toss-up.
The Titans.
Titans.
Ridley and Hopkins.
Still
Yes,
take
that's
yeah,
why
yeah,
it's
yeah,
Titans.
yeah.
What are we at now? 7?
Yes. The Cowboys.
CD and whoever,
carries.
it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Is he
Okay.
carrying that much?
He is definitely
Okay.
carrying.
Deadass.
But Brandon Cooks is not a bum.
That's 8. Philadelphia Eagles.
Philly.
Eagles,
The Giants.
Saints,
The Commanders.
Commanders might have it. I
love
don't know.
Dotson.
Nah, it's the
Are we,
Saints.
we walking over
It's
the
the
Giants
Saints.
like that?
Yeah,
Malik
it's
and
neighbors and
nobody.
and,
Well, they're
and
unproven.
Wandell. We gotta wait.
You gotta- you're-
Wandell, Rashid.
You're projecting a lot with the Giants one.
How crazy can Malik not be better than Olave? Like that's crazy to think.
Year one, I have to wait. Can we wait and see how he
Okay.
looks?
He could be, but you go into the year
Shit,
with
you a
Olave.
top 10 pick. I think I can believe that. But okay, we'll wait.
We're at 9. 49ers.
Niners.
Niners for
The
sure.
Rams.
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 The Seahawks.
Yes.
Seahawks.
Yep.
Okay, we're at 12. The Cardinals.
Projecting.
Yeah, I was gonna say can't do that. Can't do that.
Okay.
Can't do
Marvin
that. But
Harrison's not
Marvin and
projecting,
Michael,
I don't care.
Marvin and
Okay.
Michael
All right.
Wilson,
Whatever.
because people may not know who Michael is. Michael Wilson and Marvin Harrison. They're
think-
going to be really
I
fucking
think
good
they'll
this
be
year.
better, I'm not gonna lie, bro.
But that's a wait and see.
Marvin
So we
Harrison's
have to
special.
take the Saints.
I'm taking the Cardinals.
Okay, I don't blame you.
The Lions.
Lions.
Give me the Lions for sure.
The
We're at
Packers.
13, 14?
Give me the
We're at
Packers.
13?
I'll take the
Are
Packers.
the Packers the top 2 over the Saints top 2?
Jaden and Christian Watson. Assuming
whoever
those
you
are the
want.
top 2.
Christian Watson's the top 2?
I like Christian Watson a lot.
I'd
Watson
probably
might
take,
not be better than Shaheed.
I'd probably take the Saints.
Watson's better than Shaheed.
Because Olave, I think, is a high-end 2, low-end 1 type of dude.
Olave and
I would
Shaheed
take
are
the
better than
Saints,
Watson
but
and
the
Reed.
Packers is
The depth
Yeah.
they have, though, at 3 and 4.
that's really what I did. But we're talking duos.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Saints,
The Vikings.
Vikings.
Vikings. Come on,
14. The Bears.
Bears.
Bears, easy.
The Bucks.
Bucks, easy.
And
You're
the
cooked.
Falcons.
Toss-up.
That's
Again,
that
toss
is
up.
literally that is the
They're
same
50-50.
thing. That's the same thing.
They're like an average receiving.
I just
core.
think
What
Drake
say, below
London's better
average?
than
They're
all-
just like they're fine.
I said they're pushing top 15. Respect, Dehls. Respect. No, to your Alvin Kamara point. From week 8 onward, 41st in explosive run rate, 3.9 yards per carry, 2.7 yards after contact, one of the worst in the NFL. 180 total rushing attempts. His longest run was 17
the
yards.
Saints line is also dog shit.
He's just also like 29.
He's not as explosive.
Not as explosive
The
as
Saints
he used to
offensive
be.
line's actually dog shit.
I feel like if you're good, it's going to show. Like
So
Brees Hall.
what's
showed.
Derek's? I'm curious.
Derek's wasn't as bad as his.
I'm not saying it's as bad, of course.
I don't know where Derrick Henry ranked, but I know that Kamara, he's lost a step in explosiveness for sure, and just breaking tackles. He just doesn't have the same juice. I feel like he's entering his age 30 season, which is when running backs really fall off a cliff. I feel like he's more in line to like a Dalvin Cook type trajectory than anything else.
Pain.
This week in the NBA, NFL, Ray, have you got a would you rather for us?
Of course I do. You know, unlike people at this desk, I tend to do my job. You know, you do your job.
You gotta stop.
And I love to see it. But this is
Wait, did he just take a shot at us?
I don't know. Every week I
Drew.
come with something.
Never you. No, of course
He
not.
used to take shots at Drew when it came
Yeah, I
to that.
stopped for sure. Now I'm directly, solely at that man over there in the corner.
When's the last time I came into this week in the NFL without some
I don't
sort
really
of
care.
trivia?
It doesn't fit
or
my
would you
agenda.
rather?
I just don't care. But would you rather Scotty Barnes, man? This one.
This
Started
was
some
this was
uproar.
the can't miss. Would you rather?
I'm gonna
Scotty
start
fucking
this
Barnes,
off by
bro.
saying, "Fuck you, Jokic, Joe Star. We have beef." Go ahead.
You know what? I'm gonna let him.
Tune in. Scotty Barnes, would you rather?
I really want to do the
This
other
is so
thing, but
random.
it's so long. No, because I started an uproar the other day on Twitter. You know.
Oh, it's
Franz,
him
it's
and
Franz or
Paulo
Scotty?
Franz?
Yeah, no good God. It's Poncaro. Nobody. would ever-
That's why I said, "Fuck you, Jokic, Joe Star." He said that
The real
Scotty's
question,
better than
facts,
Paolo.
Yeah. Scotty Barnes or Anthony Simons.
Scotty.
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 Zach LaVine.
Scotty.
Jesus Christ.
Respect Zach, you fucking casual.
I like the name.
Casual. He's such a
You guys
casual.
are just bad guys, bro. What else
He
is
doesn't
he
even
giving?
really
you?
have a
doesn't have a bag.
He's
He
just
doesn't.
Excuse me. He's
really
just
gets
bucket
it.
guy.
He's a bucket. He's a phone booth
But
bucket.
50, 40, 85. We can't forget.
When was the last time that happened?
When he was healthy.
2 years ago, 3 years ago.
He was healthy, man.
Take me back.
He's a phone booth.
Scotty's a better playmaker. He's a better defender. He's a better
You're
rebounder.
talking to him. He's the one struggling.
Scotty. But, my heart. I love Zach.
Evan Mobley.
Evan Mobley.
I'm going Scotty.
I like Mobley's defensive upside plus with the potential to have a 3-point shot.
Until that happens,
Correct.
I'm going Scotty.
Exactly.
Lost me. Keegan Murray.
Scotty.
Cade Cunningham. I'm really waiting for you to hate.
Oh,
this is more for you. This is too much thought.
I think Cade is the better player.
Oh, thank God.
Wow.
I'm shocked.
I'm shocked.
I think Cade is the better player.
I'm going to go
Stand
with
10.
Scotty.
I want you to stand 10. You have to.
It's close, though. I like Cade. You know I don't have anything against Cade.
I mean, Scotty's shown us more up to this point.
What?
He has.
Scotty's
What do you
shown
mean
us more
what?
up to this point.
Shut the fuck up.
It's not Cade's fault, I don't
Is
think.
Cade an all-star, Riv? Scotty was.
Who was the rookie of the year?
He did.
Oh,
he shouldn't have won
shit.
it. He shouldn't
You know,
have won
I'm tired of you
Cade was
saying.
top 3 player.
I'm tired of saying he was a replacement because Scotty actually got the
I'll take Scotty.
replacement spot. Cade didn't get the replacement spot.
Oh, shit.
Cade last year didn't play.
You're diminishing
This
the
past
replacement
season,
spot.
he did play.
Oh no! Oh, he got it this year.
Yeah.
Scotty's
Yeah.
replacement.
Yes.
Cade was averaging 23 and 7. That was.
Empty stats.
I mean, shit. When you have 5
All right, I'm lying.
non-shooters
Sorry.
out there,
That was disrespectful.
You taking Scotty, huh?
Sure. Just to piss you off, actually.
No, I know you're idiot. Next name up, Desmond Bain,
Desmond Bain.
Sengun.
Alperen Sengun.
This is a thought.
This is a thought, because defensively, Şengün is probably going to be a liability most of his career.
Cry.
Probably Scotty.
I'm going with Scotty
Not
also.
feeling that, Joel.
Come on, let's respect
He
Alperen.
cooked.
It's just hard if he's going to be your 5 and you're not getting much rim protection.
He dropped 45 on 1D, man.
Andrew Nemhart.
Scotty Barnes.
Scotty Barnes.
Scotty.
This was disrespectful.
Who are you taking?
Loki, though, Nemhard?
We're here.
He could.
Nah, I would take Scotty, but
You have
for
a
oral
couple
purposes,
good games.
Andrew Nemhart. France.
Play better than
France.
Luka.
Bro said France.
Yeah, fucked up.
What?
France, my fault.
Scotty.
Scotty.
I would take Scotty.
Calmly.
So this was easy, but Cade was a. Jaden McDaniels.
Scotty.
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 What?
Jeez.
I'm asking you, Jalen Brown.
We got a lot of
It's that ceiling. Right now, he's not that yet.
Ceiling.
Jada's not that yet.
When-
Just
what-
watch.
Brother,
I
you got to
no,
hope Jaden McDaniel's ceiling is
Honest
Josh
question.
Hart.
Honest question.
Damn.
When is Jaden McDaniels going to reach that ceiling then? When?
When Cat
When the
leaves.
time is right.
When?
When the time is right. When he needs his number to be called upon to do that, he'll do it.
When is that?
That's what I'm
Who
wondering.
knows? We gotta wait for the
Brother,
call.
we're not going to wait till he's
Can you
30.
believe it? Yo, the Timberwolves just gave up 2 first-round picks because they don't believe Jaden McDaniels can be there too. Can you believe that?
Well, they needed a scoring guard.
He needed another score.
Damn.
They,
They
they
need another
gave,
scorer.
they gave
need another
up.
scorer.
They gave up
Another
2
scorer.
8th graders. We're fine.
That's crying.
We're
What if
fine.
those 8th graders
Anyhow.
could easily be better than Jaden McDaniels, and I'm not even trolling.
Wait, who you said?
That's them, I said them 8th graders could easily be better than Jaden McDaniels.
No, they can't.
Like no, for real. Like
You're
there's
mad
high school-
disrespectful.
No, there's
Nah,
high schoolers now
you're
that you
gassing.
might think. All right,
Now you're gassing it.
all right.
No name? That's it? That was the last name?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't think so?
What an interesting list. of
No.
players.
I think Jaden's a really
would you
good
take Jaden or
NBA player.
AJ?
AJ who?
DePonsa. I'm saying his
I don't know
last
who the
name
hell
right.
you're talking about.
He's like the best
But-
17-year-old in the world.
But I'm taking Jaden still.
Would you take
Until that happens.
Jaden or Cooper Flag? Be honest.
Cooper
Cooper
Flag?
Flag.
Cooper Flag's a
We
once in
can
a
get
lifetime
another
type of
Cooper
talent.
Flag. Listen, we can get another.
Cooper
one.
Flag's not a regular as 8th grader.
So
What
would you
about
take-
VJ Edgecombe?
underclassman? VJ Edgecombe. He's really
He's
good.
tough.
He is tough.
But the
Listen, man,
Timberwolves are going to be nice in 2030. So you're talking about a late first round pick.
we actually don't know.
No,
that.
because Anthony Edwards will be in his prime, the smack dab middle of his prime.
Is that the SmackDown?
Unless
business
you're
is probably-
questioning-
2030,
5
6 years from now?
Wouldn't it be a
He'd
shame
be
if you're
28 years
questioning
old.
trade?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
What if you just like get me off the team?
It will never happen.
I mean, you're an ant guy. Who
Unless he goes to
cares?
the Knicks, then I'm here. Yeah. Hey,
Let's
wants to go to the
move.
Mecca.
You don't
Why-
think,
why-
you don't think Carmelo's son could be better than Jaden McDaniels?
I mean, there's a possibility, but Kyan also is very inefficient. He can only score. He doesn't do
Jaden
anything
can't,
else
so,
good.
you
But
know.
Jaden is one of the best defenders in the world.
Yeah, that's cool.
What do you mean that's cool?
Riv,
That's
you are
cool.
getting a bit
Jaden's-
disrespectful.
Oh,
Jaden McDaniels is an all
Bro
NBA
said
level
Kai and
defender,
Anthony.
and he's not. He wasn't a terrible shooter last year. by
Maxine,
any means.
questions.
Trivia?
Yeah. You don't think an 8th grader in 2030 can be better than Jaden?
As of right now, it's extremely unlikely given an 8th grader's chance of making an NBA is .0000001%.
That depends on the 8th grader. The talent influx is insane.
Maybe. There's still a low chance that he's as
What's
good as
Jaden?
Jaden.
Like a top 95 player in the league?
Top 100 for sure.
Oh, that's easy.
One of the 100 best basketball players in the
But
world
he's
is easy.
an all NBA level defender. That's tough to.
All
that's
NBA
tough
is
to
cool.
get.
It's a media thing. Who cares? You know?
It's not. No, it's an eye test thing when it comes to
Really?
Jaden. He was an elite defender.
I agree.
Why'd you look him up and down like that?
I agree. He looked great in the WCF. He looked amazing.
Disrespectful.
He looked amazing.
Yeah,
guarding
against Luka, right? That's all right.
Braxton,
Okay,
you know?
okay.
They're just
Stop being disrespectful.
disrespectful.
You would love to have him on the Bulls.
No, because
Yes,
it
you
wouldn't
would.
do anything.
Warriors?
If you were competing.
Hey
with him.
now,
You would
now
love
we're
him on the
talking.
Warriors.
We need a scorer.
True. You also, I mean,
You need
a
a
perimeter
defender,
defender
too.
wouldn't hurt.
A perimeter defender.
I think we were like a top 12 defense last year.
Draymond Carey.
I'll be honest, you need talent. Jaden McDaniels is
Offensive talent.
Both. Both.
You need everything, brother.
Nah, we need a bucket.
You
Jaden
just
McDaniels,
need
'cause
you
it-
just need a number 2 and a number 3 offensively.
my
And
God.
probably a high level
Jaden-
defender defensively.
Jaden
And then you're
isn't
there.
a better offensive player than than Potts.
Say it again.
He isn't a better offensive player than Potts.
Jaden.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
No, Pod's
Oh, no,
better.
yeah.
Like easy.
He's actually
just
he's
got
a good
here.
offensive player.
he just got here. He just got here. Like,
He's also really good.
Huh?
He's also
I agree.
And Jaden's better than him in a vacuum.
Who's
Really?
better? Who's
Yes.
better, Jonathan Kuminga or Jaden McDaniels?
Jaden?
Really?
Jaden
think
is
so?
better. Yes.
But how much?
I'll say right now a good amount.
What's the good? The defense part, right?
It's
What about offense?
It's not a question for who I want on my team if I'm a contending team. It's not a question.
Okay,
Between
that's
him
fair.
and Kuminga, it's not.
That's fair.
I agree.
I agree. I agree.
Wholeheartedly,
I agree. In a vacuum, though, you like vacuums.
In a vacuum, Kuminga's
still
upside is
Jaden.
higher.
Really?
Yeah,
What's
Kuminga-
Jaden's upside? Like the real one. Not the
He said Jaylen Brown.
No, we're off that. Let's get to the real one. Let's
That was such a lie.
But that was 2 years ago. To be fair, a lot can happen in 2
last
years. A
season.
lot can happen in 2
It was
years.
literally last season. It was literally
No,
last.
not
last
going into
summer.
this season. Hell no, it
Last
wasn't.
summer.
You're capping.
Yo,
Bro,
stop.
going into
Joel,
last
stop.
season, you're capping.
No,
it
we're
happened.
not.
It happened 2 seasons ago. That's when it happened.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
That's all I
that's
have to
a
say.
fact.
I'm just trolling Jaden McDaniels. She is a good player.
What's this trivia we got?
Do you want me to do mine, Riv?
I'm not doing mine. I'm going to save it.
Oh, okay, sweet. So mine is going to be naming the 2023 NFL All-Pro roster. Only the first team, though. You can do defense and offense. You guys get 2 strikes. Can you guys name me the guys?
I'll go first.
Sure.
CMC.
Yes,
I don't
of
know why
course.
you let him go first.
Lamar Jackson.
Yes,
2023.
correct. Offense and or defense.
CeeDee Lamb.
Correct.
Sauce.
Correct.
Tyreek Hill.
Correct.
Myles Garrett.
Correct.
Trent Williams.
Correct. We're doing only first team, by the way. So if it's second
Offense
team,
and defense.
offense and defense. Correct.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Correct. You're welcome.
Lane Johnson.
That is strike 1.
Oh, he didn't make it? That sucks.
Jason Kelsey.
Bang.
Puka Nacua.
Somebody had to make it, right?
He was second team, brother. That's strike 1.
How many receivers do we have left on the list?
No more.
No more? Okay. Can you name me the tight end, the positions we have left?
Okay.
It's almost all of them.
Essentially.
like we named
So no quarterback, no running back.
No
You
receiver.
still have tight end. You still have fullback.
Okay, I'm not getting that.
You have right tackle, left guard. You have right guard. You
Was
have.
Deion Dawkins first team?
He was.
I was asking. I asked. What the fuck? No, that's not. That's what I asked.
What do you mean?
Here's
you
the
asked?
thing.
You could say, did we say Deion Dawkins?
Can I change up? Did we say Deion Dawkins?
You didn't say Deion Dawkins.
That's not saying I'm picking. I'm just.
Oh my god.
I need to take a second to call you an idiot. I'm sorry.
You said Jason Kelsey already, right?
Someone
did.
said it
I did,
already.
yeah.
Yes,
It was right, or was it?
it was right. You have defense also. There's defense you can name.
You're right. TJ Watt.
All right, bang, good shit. Edge rushers are done.
Okay. Interior Chris Jones.
You got it.
How many quarterbacks did we name?
There's only one for the first team.
Oh, there's only one.
Mm-hmm.
Is there's only one interior defensive lineman too?
There are 2.
Aaron Donald.
Bang,
Roquan Smith.
bang.
There should be 2 linebackers. No.
There are.
Yeah. Fred Warner.
Yeah, you just gave me an answer.
Good luck.
I wasn't even thinking that. I was Trent McDuffie.
Bang.
Penei Sewell.
What's a French ass name?
You got it.
I fucking hear that. I didn't know how to say his name.
Penei Sewell.
Zach Martin.
Yes,
Quinn Nelson.
that is strike 2, my
Damn.
brother.
What was your strike one?
He said Puka Nacua, who was second team.
Yes.
We're only doing first team.
All right, can you roll me off what we got left? Just like that.
You have a
just to be-
fullback. You have a tight end. You have the left guard. You have one more linebacker. Sorry, so there's 3 linebackers. You have one more linebacker. You have one more corner.
Jalen Johnson.
He was second team. Strike 2.
Motherfucker!
Yeah.
Y'all suck, man.
Shut your pie hole.
Last one. Wrap it up.
Pie
then.
hole. Kyle Juszczyk.
Yeah, Juszczyk was the fullback.
I knew it, but I didn't want to like.
So
Yeah, 2
tight
for 2 on the
ends-
day. Yeah, go crazy. Go
I
ahead.
had no strikes, by the way.
No.
So what do we have? We have tight end.
Correct.
You have one more
linebacker.
corner for sure.
Tight end, you have one more corner. You have the safeties,
Listen, my goal in this is coming in second.
and honestly, you
Kyle
could,
Hamilton.
yes. Who's the other safety?
Come on, Ballner. You swear you know shit. Lock in. Use that big ass brain of yours. Come on. The glasses make you seem smart.
Oh,
are you?
Dehls, this.
Yeah, you
should
got
get
it.
this
You
one.
got it. You got
But
it.
are you smart?
Yeah,
It's the question of the day.
he's the best strong safety in football.
Thanks for helping.
Minka.
Bang.
No, Minka's free.
X.
Low key. Minka's free though. This guy's strong.
I have to look at the teams.
All right, name me the tight end.
I'm between like 2 or 3 names.
I wouldn't overthink it.
Travis Kelce.
Okay, see, that's my fault. That's my fault. I'll accept responsibility. That's
It
on-
really is. Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't Laporta.
See how,
Kittle.
well, when I
It was
did
Kittle.
it, you see what I'm saying?
I accept
That shit
responsibility.
just,
you
know?
didn't.
Listen, man.
It is Kittle. Who was the left guard?
You said Quentin Nelson already, right?
Yeah, that was wrong.
It was wrong.
I
Shit.
asked.
No, you said, is Brian Dawkins first team? Deion Dawkins, excuse me.
Shout out to Brian Dawkins, though.
There's part of me that wants to spoil it for you.
Just say it.
Okay, it was Antoine Winfield.
He's a free
okay.
safety though.
Is he?
Yeah.
I thought he was a strong safety. Well, then they don't have a strong safety here. They only just
Right,
did
it's just
safety.
safety?
Yeah.
Apologize. I thought they did free safety because I know that Kyle Hamilton is.
Did you name the last corner
So,
yet or
who
no?
was the?
Oh, and the last corner was
Jalen Ramsey.
Duron Bland.
Oh wow.
Oh.
He
And who was
broke the
guard?
record for. The guard was Joe Tooney.
That's valid.
Yeah.
That's valid.
I'm going to save second team for next episode.
That's good.
Don't look it up, you cheaters.
I was never gonna do that. Do we want to do my trivia / game, or do you want to save it for next week?
Sure.
What is it?
What do you want to know? The trivia or the game?
Trivia.
What's the trivia?
Oh, the game is interesting. Wait a minute. Game.
It's so much fun.
Pick one.
Game.
Okay.
I need to know what the two are.
It's a new game. Something we haven't done before.
Let's go.
All right. New game debuting on Pick a Side. So there's a lot of questions around this NFL season. We don't know what's going to happen, what might happen, what could happen. But I'm going to answer some of the biggest questions in the NFL this year, and you tell me what happens if that occurs. For example, what happens if Aaron Rodgers plays 17 games this year?
The Jets go to the playoffs. That's
Give me
it.
more. What do they
want
do in the
more.
playoffs?
Wait, what was the question?
You don't
He
deserve
said-
to know.
You don't. You should have listened.
The fuck are we doing here? That's racist.
No,
I'm doing it.
No, it's not racist. What you
tell me-
need to
tell
be
me-
doing is listening.
Tell me,
So
I was
this-
reading something.
So I am going to be giving you a statement that answers some of the biggest questions in the NFL this year.
What the fuck type of game is this?
Let's go to the trivia. I'm just joking. I'm fucking
come on.
around.
Okay, so what you got to do
So
is that if he gives you a statement, you just answer with, okay, the question was, if Aaron Rodgers plays all 17 games, what are the Jets, essentially?
Okay, cool. Let's have fun.
They're a playing team. They're a playoff team. Simple.
idiot.
They go to the playoffs.
If Aaron Rodgers plays all 17, Garrett Wilson is the top 5 receiver in receiving yards. The Jets make the AFC Championship game.
If Aaron Rodgers plays all 17 games, the Jets win the division, and they are the number 2 seed in the AFC.
Okay. What happens if the Dolphins dominate the regular season? They have the number 1 seed in the AFC, and they don't have to play in the cold.
Tua Tagovailoa will be the MVP, and if they don't have to play in the cold, they will go to the Super Bowl and they will win the whole thing.
Tua will find a way to collapse amidst of that eventually against tougher competition. So really, it's the same thing they've always been. They're going to disappoint at some point.
If Miami 1 seed, you have to travel to Miami, I think the Miami Dolphins can make the conference championship.
Damn, okay. What happens, I should ask you this, Joel. What happens if Will Levis is the best quarterback in his division this year?
Titans finish as high as
fucking
second
serious.
in the AFC South if Will Levis is that good.
You said if he's the best quarterback
best,
in
Best
finish
quarterback in
one.
the
okay,
AFC South.
they might have home field advantage in the playoffs.
Riv?
Oh, I thought you said it was only just for him.
For a game, not the one seed.
If Will finishes as the best quarterback in the division, they're the number one. They're the number one team in the AFC South.
Easily.
Not even thinking about it.
What happens if Deshaun Watson has another season-ending surgery/injury?
Fuck.
Kevin Stefanski will find a quarterback off the street, and they'll figure it the fuck out.
They start thinking about doing what Denver did to Russ and cutting him and saying, "Fuck it, we'll take the money down."
Wow. Didn't that happen already? Right now, I think we're going through that already. Deshaun was bad, but there's optimism because he played somewhat well before he got hurt. He led them on a drive. I feel like the Browns are still where they're at. There's still questions, and they're still going to keep Deshaun on the roster just because they owe him so much money.
Last question or last answer. What happens if the Dallas Cowboys fail to win a playoff game? Again.
They run it back
What
just like
happens
they
to
do every
McCarthy,
single
to
season.
Dak, to all these dudes?
They run it back like they do every single season.
Mike McCarthy gets fired. Dak Prescott leaves Dallas.
Mike McCarthy gets fired. Dak stays. And they run it back with a new coach. And Jerry Jones continues to be stubborn.
Wouldn't shock me.
Nice game, Dehls.
Thank you. Something simple, quick.
It was lit.
You don't think it was a nice game, Riff?
I just had to be a prick at the beginning. It was just low hanging fruit.
What are you going to give us, another fucking 6-person blind ranking?
Those shits are fun.
They are fun.
I cook.
They are lit.
Way better than the 5-man blind ranking.
I believe they are because fuck up over here always fucks them up, you know?
You talking about this guy right
I've
here?
been cooking with trivia today. 2-0.
He is. You're going to have to
Congrats. You
respect.
never
Tell
cook
me.
with a blind ranking?
Don't care.
Whoa,
Trivia
never's
motion.
wrong. I just watched an
I said
episode
him.
where we cooked. I'm a part of this trio.
Nah.
He's a part of this trio.
I'll give you one next time. Let's see you carry.
Okay. You're
Name
going to have to leave.
Swell. What the fuck
It was right.
It
That's all
was.
that matters, man. It was
all
right.
Summer League thoughts. Summer League just concluded. What were some of your biggest takeaways from the event?
Julian Strother. What the fuck?
Stop.
He hooped.
I want you to start.
Oh, no. I know where this is
A couple
going.
thoughts I
As a
had.
matter of fact, the trolling begins. I want you to start.
Mataz Buzelis was really good. You know,
He's like
I thought
that?
he was pretty impressive. I thought Bulls fans should feel a little bit optimistic.
You feel optimistic?
Talk about my dog?
Am I still included with them?
You tell me.
I don't know. You have a bull shirt on.
I have a lot of Bulls gear on, ironically. He was nice. Showed some flashes.
I thought Bob Carrington was really good.
Bad night.
Khalil Ware was really good. Dalton Connect was
Who's
good.
bad?
Only a handful.
I thought really, to me, after Summer League, if I have a bus meter,
You already know. I already know who he's
I
going to talk
think
about.
Alex
Yep,
Sarr
yep.
is kind of teetering on the, okay, he might be
You've
tipping
been really
the scales.
big on Alex Sarr being a bust. What's going on?
Alex Sarr, 9 for 47 in Summer League, 22.6%. He was terrible. Defensively, he'll make an impact. He's 7'1". He's a good athlete, so I think he'll make an impact defensively. But he's so uncoordinated.
Yeah.
He doesn't catch the ball well. He doesn't finish well. His shot profile is lackluster for a guy that's his size. He can't shoot, and he thinks he can shoot. There are just a lot of things with Alex Sarr that are red flags. And I think with the Wizards, you're hoping he becomes really good, but there are things about his game offensively that he has to work on. I actually think Reese Shea, looking at it now, he's just a really good role player for the Hawks. He might not never turn into a star, but I think Reese Shea will play defense. He'll be good in transition. He'll hit open shots. He can handle the ball and put it on the floor a little bit. He just fits them better. And I don't think that in this draft you were getting a star. So I do think that the Hawks drafting Reese Shea, while it was disappointing because that's a disappointing first overall pick, I don't think it was a bad pick when you look at this draft specifically.
What's Reese Shea's ceiling? MPJ?
No, better. MPJ,
He hasn't even reached his ceiling.
yeah.
That's why I say that.
MPJ is only a shooter. He's a great shooter, but he can't put the ball on the floor. He doesn't pass.
What you just described to me, like I'm just thinking immediately MPJ comes to mind.
Reese Shea can pass better, and I think he can handle the ball better. MPJ's not going to dribble much.
He said Clay to me. Obviously, he wasn't
2022.
talking peak Clay because that's a Hall of Famer.
Just looking at some forwards in the NBA right now, I think
Keegan Murray?
a little better. I think a little better.
No, I just mean like play style.
Oh, okay,
Keegan
okay.
Murray, that's one that comes to mind.
I'll be honest. I think maybe a Jeremy Grant or like
Okay.
As a defender?
no, just like
Oh.
where he would rank and stuff.
Oh, okay,
You
okay.
know, I think a Jeremy Grant makes sense
Tobias Harris?
somewhere like that. You know, like maybe a
Harrison
Kyle
Barnes?
Kuzma,
Oh, God. He's awful.
maybe like a Mikal. I think ceiling is probably like Mikal Bridges. I think that's like ceiling for Reese.
Wow.
That
Wait,
would be,
That's awesome.
yeah.
In your mind or like general consensus?
Well, this is my mind. I think, his ceiling is like, okay, if he gets good opportunity, he can maybe average 18 a year. Maybe in a certain situation, he's not gonna be the defender he is, but he can do a multitude of different things where he will have a role in the NBA where I think Alex Sarr, it's just a lack of coordination for me that I'm really low on him compared to other top prospects in the past.
That's all you had, nothing else?
You wanted me to talk about Reed Shepard and Rob Dillingham? Is that what you wanted to talk about?
I thought you wanted to do that. I thought
Rob
that
Dillingham did have 25 points, 12 assists game. Last game in the Summer League, just a perfect way to go out.
with a bang.
Really make your mark. Before that,
Really step
little
it up.
up and down shooting. He didn't stink it up.
Oh, wow.
He didn't stink it up, but he was up and down. He still played.
sure,
He had
for
some
sure,
good
for
flashes,
sure, for sure.
but he finished off with 25 and 12. So nothing after that, nothing before that really matters, right?
Type shit. I feel
I
just
fuck
that
with
one
that.
game only mattered. I
Reed
get it.
Shepard, first team all summer league.
Hey, listen, a lot of me guys was out there performing, Bub. I think we're all collectively at the table a Bub fan, for sure.
Cool. Gotta
Bub
be.
Carrington.
He's
He's
cool.
dope. Dehls will add you into that.
I fuck with Bub.
Yeah, we're here.
Dope.
Your boy, what's his name? Baylor.
Yeah, Shireman.
He played
Shireman.
well. Yeah, he played well in Summer League. Sarr has definitely been the bright spot. But another guy who's been the bright spot that they keep putting him at the bright
Alex
spot.
Sarr's been a bright spot.
Yeah,
I'm
I
sorry.
think I know what he meant. Though.
Another guy that's been a disappointment, who just like Alexander Sarr, but they keep making it such a big deal that he's a disappointment, is Bronny. They just continue to push him in our faces and try to promote him as much as possible. And I genuinely feel bad because I feel like he's not playing good. But like I saw this shit on House of
He kinda
Highlights.
cooked the last two
he
games.
did. But I'm talking about before that. Like
He was ass.
they put him on House of Highlights. His 2-point play, like it was legitimately Bronny highlights.
It's the
2
draft
points.
class.
Did you
bro.
see his chase down block in transition?
No, defense is there. The defense for him
Yeah,
is
okay.
there.
You
but
gotta think these sites, these pages, you're trying to get clicks.
It's so
Alex
bad.
Sarr isn't moving anybody. Bronny hitting a pull-up jumper is gonna be more impressive than
Yeah,
Alex
that shit
Sarr
is- it's
jumping 10 feet
honestly,
and blocking a
it's
shot.
Getting aggravating.
Bronny's last two games though were actually positive.
Yeah.
He actually was efficient scoring the basketball.
No, he was solid.
Shooting looked way better than it did in the first
This
couple
fir-
of
this
games.
first
He
couple
couldn't
games
hit one.
was rough.
It took him a couple games to make his first three. The defense is there. I think that's obviously a
He'll be in the
positive.
G League for most of the year.
But like you said, I think a lot of the criticism is unfair. He's the 55th pick. The real criticism should have been on Alex Sarr, who was horrendous in summer league.
Or Rob.
He wasn't that bad. He was not that bad.
Have you seen Stephon Castle?
He was lit.
dude,
Yo,
How many games did he play?
One?
2, 3.
Like, what?
Julian Strother, what the fuck was he on? Averaged almost 30 points, 11 threes a game, shot
Stroker.
over 40%. He was fired.
Hey, they
Maybe
need
some
him.
optimism.
They
Some
definitely
optimism
need
if
him.
What
you're
if
a
he
Nuggets
starts?
fan. Over.
Nah. Christian Brown's gonna start.
Christian Brown, yeah.
I'll tell you what. He took 11 threes in 2 games.
That's what he was in college.
11
He was a
game
shooter.
average in 2 games. That's tough.
He's gonna let that thing fly.
He heard you said that they failed Jokic, and he said, "I got to step
He
up."
said he got to fucking lock in, and I respect that.
Reed's been great.
Yeah.
They didn't fail in this offseason. They did.
Jokic.
Did the Lakers fail LeBron and AD?
Yeah.
Cook. Now, see, you're on the same page.
Yeah, they did. But don't connect. Come
been
on.
hooping.
That was a great draft pick.
39%.
He was there for the taking.
So shot 42% in summer league from the field, but 39% from
Look at a lot of
three.
open
That was
looks.
fire.
Yeah,
That's
he
what I
plays
was
for the
happy
Lakers.
about.
Playoff Bron.
Brandon Jennings, man. Oh, I'm sorry. Rob Dillingham, man. Man, this is the bet's still on, right?
Yes.
What remind me what the bet is?
It's Reed Shepard versus Rob.
Who's gonna have a better rookie season?
How are we
Okay.
defining better? I forgot. I don't know if I was here for this or not.
What
Do
is?
you want to
the-
define about who's ranked higher on the rookie of the year ladder?
I think that's the easiest way, so we don't get into subjective stuff.
We could just let him decide it. Okay, that's fair. Because we can always go back and forth and nitpick and stuff like that.
I love this energy now because when the regular season starts, it's not gonna be it.
Reed Shepard
from who?
looked good.
Oh, he.
No. He looked
really
he looked crazy.
Mark Price is tweeting, he's me. Hall of Famer. That's all I'm saying. I didn't see any Hall of Famers tweet
I
Rob.
mean, low key.
He just plays ball the right way.
He does.
Okay, well,
He just
that's,
plays.
and
he
I
plays-
respect that about him.
He does.
Plays like John.
No, he better. But yes,
Kind of looks like John.
sneaky, but no.
He's got just like the very prototypical white boy haircut.
Doesn't do too much. Doesn't really try to get into his bag. He can shoot the ball, can play make. He can get to the rim. Very nice player. So
I think
maybe
he's good.
maybe
So is Rob
Minnesota
Dillingham.
drafted up for the wrong guy. Maybe they should.
Well, Reed Shepard wasn't there.
That's true. Maybe they should have went to 3. Maybe they should have traded at 3.
They're going to trade up to 3. How could they have done that?
What you
Not for the taking.
What you got? A first and a protected. For
They were
5?
dangling the 3rd pick for Mikel.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know, man.
I guess
Should have
Minnesota.
traded Jaden McDaniels.
Jaden
for him.
McDaniels for Reed Shepard. You do it?
No, not for the Wolves.
Nas Reed or Reed Shepard?
Nas Reed still.
You wouldn't trade Nas Reed for Reed Shepard straight up?
Not right now.
trade
No.
Jaden
If I have Rob Dillingham,
No.
Brother,
no.
you don't have to.
No, you don't have him
can't
in
have
this
both.
situation.
so I'm just trading for the 3rd overall pick.
Yes.
I think it makes sense.
So
Yeah.
Nas Reed
But
for
would
the third.
you do it?
Wait, would you take Rob Dillingham or Reed Shepard at
At
3?
the 3rd pick. That's a good question, Joel.
Now Reed Shepard, but this is awful. Who's going to have a better rookie season?
I'm with you. And listen, Jalen Green, count your days.
Okay, see you later.
I think he's getting benched and Reed Shepard's going to start.
Houston's in a tricky situation because it's like clock's ticking on your young talent.
What if
Who
they
gotta
put
go?
Fred on as a 6-man off the bench?
I wouldn't hate that.
I'd love that.
Somebody
truthfully.
has to go.
They said Jalen Green was in all of those packages for McHale, KD, all of those potential
Yeah, because the
deals.
clock is ticking for this young talent. Somebody has to start getting moved and start figuring it out.
I need to see Amon develop as a scorer and as a playmaker this season.
He just played.
What do you mean by that?
He just his rookie year.
No, I know. I'm saying this in his sophomore season. I need to see him take strides.
No, yeah, he doesn't get the ball enough to be a playmaker. Last year he did.
It's tough.
So you like
what's
the
he gonna
eventual
do?
backcourt of Amon and Reed?
Great rebounder, great defender.
I don't know, but
great
offensively, if he
finisher.
doesn't
No,
have
I
the
said
ball.
last year. Last year, yeah.
Good
This
cutter.
year you expect him to have the ball more, but they got a lot of mouths to feed
So are you all in on Amon and Reed Shepard
as the
as the
backcourt.
future backcourt?
I like it. It's cool.
They're just getting younger and younger in Houston, man.
Yeah, they need to bring in somebody because Jabari's there. Tyree Eason, he missed some time last year. They got
They
him.
were trying to trade for KD.
People always trying to trade for KD,
I
man.
don't blame him. I mean, I wish the Lakers would.
Yeah, but I don't think Houston should go get KD.
You'd
I
go
don't know who
Austin
they would
Reeves?
get.
Yeah.
Okay. Making sure.
Easily. You thought about it way too long.
Way too long.
It was way too long. I don't know. Teams that.
God, 2 seconds. What is wrong with you, Drew?
I think Houston should go get Devin Booker.
That's good. He fits the timeline somewhat.
And they could Phoenix could reset real nice with all the young talent they have in draft picks.
Brother, KD and Devin Booker can get him some things. Like,
Yeah, bro.
I don't know why they're just.
Who would you
'Cause
trade
you
for
have-
Devin Booker?
If I'm like teams in
If
general,
you're the Rockets,
Who are you asking for?
I mean, I guess you could trade
So
I think
Jay,
Reed would have to be in the package. You
to
don't
make the
think?
money work. Fred has to go.
Dylan.
Or Jalen Green?
You could do Dylan. Well, Green's only at 12. I think Devin Booker's getting paid about 45.
Did
let's say
Jalen
the
Green not
package is
get,
Fred
He
Van
didn't
Vliet.
get an extension. Him and Sengun did not
Let's
get
say
an
it's
extension.
Fred Van
Facts,
Vliet,
facts.
Dylan Brooks, and Şengün.
That's not enough.
Say it again?
They want more.
Fred,
Yeah.
Dylan
They don't
Brooks.
just want one young player.
For Devin Booker?
No,
way.
and picks, of course.
No way.
I think you got to give up at least 2 of the young players.
Yeah, that's why I was giving
Are
him
any of the
Şengün.
young players off limits?
Şengün.
Everybody's
Well, that's why I
everybody's
offered
on the
him. You see
table.
what I'm saying? Like
Şengün is not on the table.
Şengün is definitely expendable.
He's
Why
not-
aren't they?
who?
Why
He's
haven't
not-
they given
he's
him an
not
extension?
not
untouchable.
expendable, but in
He's
terms
not
of to
untouchable.
get exactly
He's not
that's
untouchable.
For
that's
what
the word I'm
player?
looking for.
For Devin Booker.
He's not untouchable.
For Devin
That's-
Booker, I
yes,
agree.
that's what I'm saying.
For Kevin Durant, Alperen Şengün to me is
Yeah,
untouchable.
we're talking about Devin
I was
Booker.
talking about Devin Booker.
Sengun, it's only like 6 players untouchable, bro. Sengun ain't one of them. I promise you, he's gone.
Yeah, but think about the level of
expendable,
player
not
you're trading him
untouchable
for.
center.
I'm
Yeah,
saying Alperen Şengün for the most part
again?
is untouchable.
Expendables and not
No.
untouchable
Like if you're trading him for a top 15 player
Expendable,
that's in their
not
prime,
untouchable.
okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like
One's rude.
Expendable makes it
anything
seem like
else.
you
No,
want him
he's
all the time.
untouchable.
correct.
No, like Jason Tatum's untouchable. Like they wouldn't say no. They wouldn't say yes to almost anybody in the league.
You would say yes to Jokic.
Okay, one.
You would say
But-
yes to Giannis.
None of
Two.
those dudes are getting traded. So, like, it doesn't
Why would
matter.
you downgrade?
Devin Booker's not getting traded.
I don't think Tatum's untouchable.
Tatum's
Tatum
untouchable.
is. Because the only dude you're trading for
For
are
young-
other
Yeah,
untouchable
he is.
guys.
He is. He just won a
It's okay.
championship.
It's okay. I promise you, it's okay.
Get
Like
out.
Jaylen Brown wasn't untouchable. If Jaylen Brown's not untouchable, Sengun's not untouchable.
Jalen Brown's untouchable right now.
No, but before he was better than Sengun before. He wasn't untouchable.
If
What I'm
Sengun's
saying-
untouchable, why hasn't he got a contract extension?
What I'm saying though
trying
is
to
that
pull the
I'm
Phillies
going to answer
move.
that question in a bit. What I'm saying
I
is
look
that
forward to it.
Alperen Şengün, yes, if you're trading Alperen Şengün for a top 15 player in the NBA, okay,
Yeah, no,
he's
that's what we're
untouchable.
talking about,
he's,
though.
he's not untouchable.
If Houston-
but
if-
I told Riv, but anybody else, Alperen Şengün is untouchable.
if Miami
Yes,
said
he
we'll
is.
give you Bam, they say yes.
Yes.
They say yes in a heartbeat.
Yes. I'm
They're not
doing
thinking
that.
about it.
That's a great deal for both sides.
Sure.
Huh? No, it isn't.
Miami's rebuilding.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's what. But that's,
It is, exactly.
Miami gets worse though.
They could
They do.
rebuild soon because
100%.
Bam is about to be, he's almost in his prime. He's almost 28.
I think he's already in his prime. I think he's like 27.
So, yeah, no, he is
Think we
27.
can
He's
get
almost
Bam to the
28.
Lakers somehow?
No shot now. You have nothing.
Would you come over on this side?
If Bam's there?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. I'm following Bam anywhere I go.
That'd be imagine Bam and AD actually.
Yeah, but you have nothing. You guys actually have nothing.
Nothing.
to give.
Hold on. Let me really cook.
Just
real quick.
stop.
No.
You're gonna cook
D'Lo,
Max
Austin
Williams,
Reeves,
yes,
Max
Vincent,
Christie.
Yes.
Talk shit.
To the contract question that you asked, I think for the
Looking
for
forward
the
to this one.
for the 2021 NBA draft class, those teams paid those players early. Tyrese Maxey just got paid this past offseason, right when it was the deadline to really pay him.
They have more cap doing
Franz got a contract a year early, so did Scotty, so did Cade, but normally you get a contract your final year. And I think the Rockets are just waiting, but I don't think that Alpe should have not gotten paid. I think he should have been either the second or first to get paid out of all those young guys.
Correct.
I don't think Orlando should have paid Franz before the Rockets paid Alperen. Alperen is better
I
than
think
him.
you're really waiting for Jalen Green, though. I don't think that they that was we're not going to pay you yet. I think Sengun is more of because when I was reading about it,
They're going to pay him. It's just about when.
it was because with Philly they did it because it waiting that long for Maxey gave them more cap space.
Mm-hmm.
I think Houston's going to try to do the same thing.
Because they have cap space once Fred VanVleet expires.
Yes,
That's 40
yes,
mil.
yes, yes.
So they're just stretching it to get a player next offseason, which is
Because
smart.
the money going to come. Yeah, the
Yeah,
money.
but
Are we holding out
he's
faith
not,
on JG?
not worthy of it.
JG, how much faith do you want to have?
Let's put like 80% into it.
What?
Let's put 80% into
a
it.
lot.
It's a lot.
64.
Meet me in the middle. 71.
Brother, I got too much stock on these other
You already got
guys.
Rockets guys. Let's just add JG in there. 71%.
Fine.
Well, it's hard if you're a Reed guy. It's hard to be a Jalen Green guy, too.
And a man.
Isn't he a point
They're gonna
guard?
play 1 to 3.
Who, Reed?
Yeah.
I think he's a 2 guard.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a point
Combo.
A bit undersized though, wouldn't you say?
Combo.
Yeah, but that's why I think the backcourt of him and Amen make a lot of sense for the future.
Because they complement
They
each
do
other very well.
They
I
can.
agree.
I think that bench unit. Listen, that bench unit is gonna be fire.
It's gonna be lit.
Them two, Brooks probably starts. You got them two.
What's
Cam
up with
Whitmore,
Jabari?
Tari. I think Jabari starts.
But I'm saying, is he gonna be locked in starter?
That's another one.
Yeah.
He didn't have the greatest rookie year.
Yeah.
Had to bounce back. He had a good second year.
Solid year.
But now it's like, when is Jabari gonna step his game up? This is an important year for him too. They got a lot of
You guys,
talent.
Alpe has the highest trade value on this team.
Yes.
100%.
Easily.
Well, how many teams need Alpe?
Unless it depends on how high you are on Amen Thompson, really. I think.
I think that's the second person I would have on that list.
It's more. How many teams need him?
Alpe. It's very. We remember went over this a few months ago, and we talked about the Warriors, I think, but it was less than like 5 teams.
Yeah.
Need, I don't think need, but I still think he's a great player to build around. I think he has a really high ceiling. I don't think he.
If the
he's
Knicks had
just touched the
Alperen
surface of it.
Sengun, it's up.
Well, I would love if we got Alperen Sengun. I mean, that's a massive upgrade over what we have offensively. Defensively, we take a step back, but we got the wing defenders to sustain it a little bit.
Would you trade Randall for Alperen Sengun?
Yes. Yes.
He said it so bad.
Yes. Alperen Sengun is that good.
I don't know.
I
an
love
All-NBA
Alperen.
player.
All NBA guy, man.
Oh, I know.
All-NBA,
Oh, I
multiple
know.
times.
I couldn't
Oh,
do
I know.
that.
Oh, I know.
Do you?
He said, I know.
Yeah, I don't know. That was tricky. I probably would. I guess. I don't know.
If
weird.
I mean,
They both are not the best fit with the Knicks.
Yeah.
Like, even Randall is not. But
That's the problem.
I think offensively, we haven't seen Sengun in the playoffs, but maybe there's just more consistency with Sengun because he's going to dominate in the paint, where Randall's going to take a lot of jump shots. So I don't know. I will. Sengun is younger though. Like for sure, I think he has more value than Julius Randle across the league. I think.
all right.
And that's going to do it for this episode of the Pick a Side Podcast, episode 395. You guys can follow us on Twitter at Pick a Side Pod, on Instagram and TikTok at Pick a Side Podcast. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.